All right, so welcome to episode 10 of Your Brain on Tom.
Episode 10, woo!
And we're here with the first non-Core guest in the studio, a fucking fan who reached out, so that's kind of cool.
Yes, long-time listener, first-time guest.
But yeah, so this is kind of what I've always wanted to do with the shows, because I'm just an asshole who spent money on microphones, so might as well have people just come in and tell me what's going on with them. So how are you, man?
I am good. Should I introduce myself?
Why don't you introduce yourself? Yeah, go ahead.
My name's Jason Lang, known Tom, long time now.
Yeah, oh my god. We've probably known each other for...
10?
Over 10 years.
Yeah, over 10 years now. Yeah, St. John's, Mike went too.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. So yeah, then now we're here, being adults, doing this.
Scary, man.
It's fucking terrible.
Everyone around me graduating, becoming real people.
That is, yeah, I had realized that going to Mike's graduation that I've been out of college for 2 years.
Wow.
It's fucking nuts. I was just like, holy shit. All right, I guess I should really be an adult now.
Yeah, what are you, 23, 24?
I'm 24. I just turned 24.
Yeah. Oof.
So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I still feel super young, and everyone that it's an adult, they're like, oh, you're a child. But I feel like so.
I like hearing that still. Like, oh, you're so young. Yeah. Please keep telling me that.
Please, because I don't believe it. So how have you been, though? What have you been doing?
I've been good. Really roller coaster year. I'm coming off of where I thought I was going to leave Northeastern.
All right.
And I ended up going back, having a really good time, living on my friend's couch, but still having a really good time.
Nice.
Yeah, just a lot of drama that led me to that point of thinking maybe I was going to go to the University of Kansas.
That'd be cool.
Went there for orientation, decided this isn't for me. I was going to pay a lot more money to go there compared to Northeastern, which is a private school. Not saying public schools or private schools are better, but I was getting no aid to go to Kansas, and I was going to pay $20,000 more to go there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
What was the program you were looking for?
Journalism.
Oh, okay. Are you doing that at Northeastern?
I had done marketing at Northeastern for 2 years, and when I took ended up being a year off, I decided when I went back I would do journalism.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I looked at a bunch of journalism schools, and I decided that I was going to apply to 6 or 7. Got into Missouri, Maryland, Kansas, and I think one other one, and decided to pick Kansas, and it didn't feel right at all.
Did you fly out there to look at it?
I flew out there with my dad, and yeah, everything seemed off. It was cool. I think I could have had a good time there, but it just didn't feel right at all.
So, are they the schools you applied to? Are they good journalism schools? You just picked them because
they were really good journalism schools. Missouri, especially, they were one of the top ones. They had the most by far concentrations of journalism. Sports journalism was only at Missouri at the schools I applied to. There was 20 other options too.
What is the type of journalism you're looking for?
I don't really know if I want to do journalism. I like writing. That's why I knew if I went back to school, I would have to do something in writing. Because in my time off of school, I wrote I didn't finish any, but I wrote so many screenplays and short stories.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I decided, why not just study this if I go back to school?
Yeah. If you're doing your free time, you might as well do it. Actually learn how to properly do it. That's cool.
Yeah, I think I would like being a journalist, but I think I'd rather work in, say, PR or community relations for a pro sports team, movie studio, or anything in the film industry, really.
Right, okay. Yeah, you were just in England, right?
Yes, I was.
What was that about?
That, just typical semester abroad.
Okay.
But it's such a cool experience. So I don't want to be that guy and say, oh, well, in London or wherever, I went to so many countries. But I think everyone should definitely at some point just visit other parts of the world.
That's cool.
It is unbelievably cool, and all the history. You go to all these places that are older than the United States.
Oh, right, yeah. Just insane. A city is older than the entire country.
Yeah, and they'll contain museums with all not just stuff from around the world, but stuff from that area that's older than the United States.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I went to Scandinavia, and I tried to go to all the countries' national history museums, and just so many cool artifacts from the exact area and stuff like that. It was awesome.
That's really cool. Did you pick that in particular, or that was just a place you could easily get to?
Scandinavia, I think that was the easiest place to travel alone.
Okay.
Because it was kind of colder, so not as many tourists, and not as crazy as, say, Italy.
Right.
Or Portugal. And also, if I was going to go to Italy, I'd like to be there for a while, because there's so many places in Italy I would want to go.
Right. Are you Italian?
No, not at all. 0%.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Same.
But so I flew out to Finland, and then I stayed in Helsinki for a couple days. Took a ferry, which ended up being like a massive cruise ship. It was awesome.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
To Stockholm, Sweden. Stayed there for 2 days. Took a train to Oslo, Norway, after staying in Sweden for a couple days, and then I flew to Copenhagen, Denmark, and then I flew back to London.
Oh, that's sick.
And not that much time in the air either. It's crazy. Like
Really?
being here in the U.S. and like how many hours it would take me to get to a certain state was how many hours. You know, I think it was 2 hours to get back to London from Copenhagen, and it was 3 hours from London to Helsinki.
Wow, that's actually. I mean, like, it's kind of hard to think because I've never actually left left the continental part of it. Like I've gone to Canada, but like how connected Europe is. It's like the United States, but everything's a country.
Oh yeah,
it's just so like because you're like, oh okay, I'm gonna fly to another country, but in reality, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go to like North Carolina or something. Like it's so close.
It's the funny thing is that they view the U.S. as like different countries in a way.
Oh really?
Because I would think that traveling in Europe is so much cooler because you can treat the countries as states, but in reality, they view like the cultures of the different states in the U.S. as very different, and how do I put this? Just as cool as seeing other countries for them.
Right. I mean, they are dramatically different a lot of times. I mean, like if you go to like each spot for each one of them, because they are like just going to the South, you're like, this is not the same place. Like I'm in a different world right now.
I mean, speaking of the South, they think we all have Southern accents.
Really?
I couldn't tell you how many times someone said, "Oh, you don't sound American," when I told them I was American. Yeah.
Where did they think you were from then?
I don't know. I never asked, but yeah, it was just weird every time. They're like, "Oh, you don't sound American," like positive. Like, okay, sure.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like that's only like 4 states or something that have that, really. Like it's just like the very South, like Texas and stuff. It's not like it's that widespread.
Considering how popular like American movies and television shows are, you'd think they would know by now.
Yeah, you think they'd think we all sound like we're like from LA or like the Bay Area or something like that.
Because the Western isn't as popular as it used to be, so you'd think they'd know. But
wow, it's so, I guess like were they people that spoke English that said that to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Everyone speaks English.
Really?
Well, I'll talk about. Keep going.
I was just saying. I think it would be like if you heard like a Spanish person, you wouldn't necessarily be able to like tell like which region of Spain they're from. But I guess they all speak English. They should be able. If they watch a Spanish or an American movie, they'd be like, oh, okay, well that's what an American sounds like, not like a Southerner.
It's crazy how well they know English. Because you know how if you go to a certain place or, well, yeah, let's say like Disney World, they'll give you the directions in English and Spanish.
Right.
Not everyone knows Spanish, but in like these other countries, English will be that second set of directions, and they all know it perfectly.
Weird.
Yeah, like here, none of us know Spanish perfectly.
I barely know any other language perfectly.
Yeah, like I know Spanish a decent amount, but no way could I like have a perfect conversation, like a fast conversation with someone from a Spanish-speaking country.
Oh yeah, I would never. I barely remember any Spanish. I think I passed the Regents in like 10th grade, and I've yet to go back. I've like never looked into Spanish at all. Like I don't. Oh man, that's crazy. People like know these languages so well.
I crammed for like a week. When I went back to Northeastern, I switched to a BA to study journalism, and you needed a language requirement.
Oh, really?
And if I had a language requirement, I would not finish in 4 years. So I studied all these verbs, conjugations, different tenses. I called up Courtney Siervo because, she's been living in Spain for... And, Sabine and all that, but we won't get into that. And
is that still a thing?
Yeah, that's still a thing. They're going on like 5 years now.
Holy shit, okay.
So I get in there with just this member of the Northeastern faculty, and I had a conversation with him. He said, yeah, you're fine. You don't need to take any Spanish. I was like, thank God. Because it would have been 3 classes. Oh,
it's not even like just a good, like you couldn't just like test out. You would have to like take everything?
Yeah, you'd have to, maybe 2 classes, but the requirement is 3.
Okay.
But I placed out of all 3, so I was very happy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Did they just look at what you have done previously to do that, or did you have to do anything? Did you have to like prove that you still knew Spanish or something like that?
Well, it was a conversation in Spanish. So I sat down, I talked about like my experiences speaking Spanish in Spanish, and we just had, this sounds a little douchey, but we had a dialogue. And we just spoke probably like 20 minutes, and I didn't think I actually did enough because I was trying to sprinkle in like other tenses like the subjunctive and stuff like other besides like present and past. And I did that a little bit, but I wanted to do it a little more just to be sure. He was a really nice guy, and he said, yeah, you're fine.
Huh. I guess it makes sense because you're trying to like prove you know the language, but I feel like in a conversation setting like that, you'd almost want it to be like more, if you could get it more casually.
Oh yeah.
Instead of just being like, oh, I'm gonna prove to you by talking really formally and using these like, I'm gonna intentionally use like phrases and terms that are like they wouldn't make sense in a normal conversation, but I guess you have to prove that you know every aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't speak any languages. I know like maybe 6 words of Japanese, just because I'm a fucking loser.
That's my friend Craig. I mean, you're not a loser, but he's really into like anime and stuff like that. And he was like, "Oh, I'll just learn Japanese," but it's not.
It's so hard.
It's very
so
hard. Yeah.
Hard. There was I pulled up like a thing online. It was like how to teach yourself Japanese. There are so many fucking like versions of Japanese. There's like the formal, super formal, like kind of a casual one, like your fucking family one. Like there's so many different levels of it. So many different like words for or like different phrases for the word the. Because they don't really have. I think I could be entirely wrong because I may have not been looking at the right sources, but I don't believe they have like gendered pronouns. They just have gendered versions of the word the. So like, so the way, I could be talking to you, but like, if I was like, and like I like wrote it all down in our conversation, they would not know what gender you were until I used like a specific the. And then it would also, I think the is also determined by like our relationship. Mm-hmm. So if you were my higher up or like whatever.
Okay, like usted and to, like that. Okay.
So they have like different honorifics and different ways to speak to each other based on what our level of like, so if you're like my boss or like you're like my supervisor, we're going to have 2 different ones. If you're like, you know, like a friend or like my brother, we're going to talk differently. So it's very strange. There's different ways to do stuff. So like I think a lot of it is like you go in talking very formally and then they go, oh no, you can talk to me casually. And then you back it down.
You switch everything.
Yeah. You just switch the whole language. And like there's 3 different ways to write it. There's like a very casual one that's like, I think it was developed by like country folk, so they can just quickly like communicate. There's like the normal one, and there's a super, super formal one that not even all Japanese people know.
I mean, it's so much writing. It's all the symbols and everything. It's so complicated.
And there's like, you adding a line changes the meaning of the symbol.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at it, the one example they had when they were showing how kanji is written, it was, I forget what else it could have been. Oh no, it was how to say Mount Fuji, and it was like, here's mountain, and you put this line here, and it's now Mount Fuji. I'm like, what the fuck? If I just mess up my pen stroke, I'm saying an entirely different word. What a crazy language it is. But like, I just know like a couple of words just because like they say it a lot, or like they'll say it like isolated in like a Japanese thing, but like it's not, because the other thing too is a word will change based on like the context too. So like just saying, I forget what there's like 3 ways to say thank you. And there's like, you add extra words to it to like depending on who you're talking to and different ways you can do it. It's such a crazy language. Oh my God.
I thought I actually knew some Japanese. You remember the show I Survived, a Japanese game show?
Yes.
It was on like ABC for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And my grandparents had Japanese friends, and we went out to dinner with them. And I don't know if you remember, when the game started, they said like Game-o Kashi. And when the game ended, they were like Game-o Shurio. And we asked them, so does Game-o Shurio mean game over? And they were like, Game-o Shurio? And they're like, no, that doesn't mean anything. So we're like, great. So we were lied to. So I knew no Japanese.
Oh my God. That's the other thing too, is there's sometimes, what was I watching? I was watching something, and there's one of the words wasn't, I forgot what it was. It was something that you would think was like fictional, or no, it was fantasy game or something. Does not have a Japanese word.
Huh.
He just said fantasy game, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, you'd think they would have that, but they just don't. It's like weird words, just like they have like blatant English. They'll just use English or whatever.
Seeing some Japanese wrestling, they call the moves by their English names.
Do they really?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know any examples right after that, but you know, they're saying all these words in Japanese and they just randomly yell, shooting star press, like something like that.
Do you watch the Japanese stuff?
Not really. I watched a match from January that was supposed to be like the greatest match ever, and it was like 45 minutes long.
Holy cow.
It was really good.
It actually lived up to being the greatest match ever?
Kenny Omega, who's Canadian, but he wrestles over there in Japan. He did a moonsault from the ring off the rope, like into the crowd.
Wow.
Like past like the barrier.
Holy cow.
It was superhuman. It was amazing.
That's I don't watch a ton of wrestling. I try to keep up with like when something is the greatest of all time. Oh, I guess I'll watch that. And it seems like a lot of it comes out of like Japan, where it's like these guys are crazy, or like the Lucha Underground stuff is a lot. There's a lot of stuff where it's like, holy fuck, okay. But like I don't see a lot of people super hyping up the WWE.
No, it's starting to be a chore, to be honest. Watching the WWE, I always fall behind. I'll be like a couple weeks behind, and then like quickly watch Raw or SmackDown online in like 10 minutes just to like catch up with like storylines, stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't want to take like another hiatus from wrestling since there's so much talent now, like AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, all these like really good guys are finally there on the main roster.
Right.
And they'll easily be able to have like amazing matches, but it reminds me of like, I think it was in 2007 when I would see, I don't record it like on TV anymore, but I would see like Raw, SmackDown, ECW on the DVR, and I would just say, wow, I do not want to watch this. And it was about like 5 years. I did not watch a single second of wrestling.
Wow.
And it was just YouTube. This one John Cena video kept being on the side for like everything I was watching. I was like, all right, what can we swear on here?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, like what the fuck is this? And it was like 10 seconds long, and it was John Cena and this other guy, Wade Barrett, who's not in the WWE anymore. But I was like, all right, I don't know who Wade Barrett is. So it was just like days of watching wrestling on YouTube. It was like, I think I'll maybe watch this again. But I didn't. I watched more like YouTube videos of The Rock, because The Rock had come back like months earlier, I guess.
Oh right, he
like,
does. He like is in and out.
He like hosted WrestleMania.
Okay.
So probably like early 2012, I started watching again, and like to today, I've kept watching. But I don't know, it's starting to just. I feel like it's just not as exciting.
I kind of get that. Like, I don't know. I don't like the week-to-week stuff. I feel like their writing staff is horrible.
Oh, completely horrible.
It's like a chore to be like keeping up with storylines. Like, I don't give a fuck. You guys are so bad at this. But like you said, there are some people who are such great talents. It's like I kind of feel
if
like
they utilize them correctly.
That's the other thing too. Sometimes they just don't know how to use someone. And you're just like, all right, I guess this is just going nowhere. So like occasionally I'll like watch the pay-per-views and stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of regret missing when the Hardys came back.
That
I wasn't watching that.
WrestleMania 33 was a big disappointment just because they had all these matches that could have been great. But the Hardys was amazing. That was so cool. It was the greatest moment of the night by far. 7 hours long, WrestleMania. That is
7 hours?
We should get into that in like a couple minutes. But when Matt and Jeff came out there, it blew the roof off the place.
I could imagine. Like, especially with Matt doing all the shit he's been doing lately with Broken Matt.
Yeah,
like,
we'll have to get into that.
Oh
too.
my God.
Because, it was kind of weird, the whole scenario of the ladder match, because you have Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, who are just kind of...
I'm not familiar with them.
They're two, like, white guys who got pretty big in Japan. They came over. They're kind of like, bruisers, like big guys. And they don't seem right for a ladder match. And then they had Cesaro and Sheamus. Cesaro's unbelievable. He's so talented. He can do everything. But he's not really like a ladder match guy. And Sheamus definitely isn't.
Right, yeah.
And
He's gigantic.
Yeah, and I think the third team was... I can't even think of the third team, but it just didn't feel right for a ladder match. And then the Hardys came out. I was like, all right, now we're going.
Now I see why they did this.
But yeah, it's 7 hours.
7
hours. The pre-show started at 5, and I was in London. And I was like, if I don't watch this live, I will skip so much of the show.
Oh, right,
Because I do that. When I like check the pay-per-views, if I don't watch them live, I'll skip like an hour and a half maybe.
Oh, right, yeah. Because like it's probably just a bunch of fluff for most of it. Yeah.
So the pre-show started, and...
Was it 5 in London? Or
no, 5 here.
What the hell
5
time
p.m. So that would have been 10 p.m.
Oh my God!
And it went
the pre-show.
It went 5 to midnight, and there was so many matches that just should have been good that it seemed rushed. Like the woman last year stole the show. Charlotte.
Charlotte's amazing.
She is so
good.
Might be the most athletic man or woman on the roster.
She's amazing. Like when we saw her, the fucking NXT thing.
That was like, I think that's the greatest match I've ever seen in person.
It was amazing.
Her versus Sasha, yeah.
That was amazing. They were like, that's the other thing I do like about NXT is like, that is the one WWE thing where you can just clearly see that the people there just wanted fucking blood, sweat, and tears get through. They want to do everything. They want to give everything to you in a fucking... It wasn't even recorded when we saw it.
Yeah.
We were
in a fucking armory in front of like 200 people. And they loved it.
It was they were so happy to be there, and they were just trying their fucking hardest. And it was just like, this is so fucking great.
So last year, Sasha, I think, Becky Lynch and Charlotte stole the show. It was an amazing match because 32 was a terrible WrestleMania. Triple H in the main event. Triple H should retire. I'm sorry.
I am shocked to know that he's still.
He was the champion going into WrestleMania last year.
That's absurd.
So absurd. No, I'm sorry if I don't know if you're a big Undertaker fan. I'm not.
I was. He should not have been around to even lose to Brock. Like
No, he shouldn't
He
have.
should have retired before that. Like, that should never have happened. And the fact that he came back a second time to lose again is absurd.
Part-timers, I'm not a big fan. Besides Brock. Brock is the only part-timer because he's still super athletic and he can show up
He's a
few times a year. But one time a year, I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't care that you're a draw and people say, oh, remember Triple H? Let's watch WrestleMania tonight. Because it just stops so many surrounding storylines.
Oh, right.
They take someone talented out of a storyline with someone else who's like really talented or like still young and like is at every house show and at every TV, instead of like, oh, you're gonna work Triple H, so we're gonna have a Triple H storyline for 3 months that will only have one match and then you'll never fight again.
Yeah, that's actually horrible. Just to put everything on hold, just be like, oh, this guy has a name. It's like that.
And they give him massive entrance every year.
That's the worst.
They had like a Terminator entrance a couple years ago, and it's like always like 10, 15 minutes of just, and Stephanie's there like screaming and like saying these random speeches which are just terrible.
I was listening to something about, I think it was the CM Punk interview he did, the one podcast he did.
Oh, with Cole Cabana.
Yeah, and he was like, I fucking hate people who are part-timers. He's like, we're fucking breaking our asses over here, and then fucking someone like Triple H can just show up, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess I just don't get the fucking title shot.
Well,
I don't get
he
the
was
screen time I
getting
need.
fucked over time and time again.
Completely. That's one of the best interviews I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah. Any wrestling fans listening, listen to the CM Punk interview. Because about that part-timer thing, he wanted to see if he was working Rock or Cena at that WrestleMania, which they built up the year before, once-in-a-lifetime Rock for Cena, just to have it the next year when no one wanted to see it again.
Right.
It should have been triple threat, CM Punk, Undertaker. CM Punk, The Rock, John Cena. But instead, they have him work The Undertaker.
Right.
And in that podcast, he says, all right, so what happens after that? Well, nothing.
Right.
The Undertaker went away for a year, and CM Punk was left
because like
nowhere.
That's a big part of their job is working with the other person. Building. You have to like fucking meet up and talk about shit. But and then, like, oh, okay, I guess.
Vince said he owed him, and then he had to work Brock in that summer. Said, what's happening next? Oh, Brock's not showing up till WrestleMania. So again, CM Punk's left with nothing.
And he kept getting Rhinebeck, who kept fucking him up.
Yeah,
he
broke his like ribs and like.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that guy really got fucked over. And then of course he was gone in January just because he couldn't do it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And they're trying to say that he lied about like his MRSA and like he got that thing removed and he showed the scar. So obviously he's not lying about it.
No, he definitely had that. There's no way. Like I think they're just doing that for liability because the amount of times he had to go to them and be like, hey, can you guys check this out? Like, you're fine.
And they're still in like a legal battle.
Really?
Today. They're still in the courts.
Well, fuck, good for him because like they were really fucking him over just constantly. And he's like one of the best people to ever like, show up in the West like that. Like, he's amazing.
Oh yeah.
And it's just to be like, disregarded to the amount that he was disregarded is just absurd.
I think he's the reason I actually stayed into wrestling like in 2012 when I started watching again. Because when I had left, he was like a nobody on ECW.
I remember that.
He was just starting to get going.
He came out with his fucking hair and everything. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Like, what a terrible name.
CM Punk, I come back, he's the champion.
Yeah.
And he was just so entertaining. Like, his matches were great. He's a great talker.
That's so important, mic skills.
Very important. And even then, like, they would have his match and then the John Cena match. So I was like, this doesn't seem right. He was the champion, yet they'd have, like, John Cena versus Big Show or John Cena versus John Laurinaitis main eventing these pay-per-views. So I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So I could see his frustrations from the start.
Oh, yeah. And wasn't he saying that he had better merch sales than John Cena
He
at one
did.
point?
And then they made him turn heel.
Yeah.
Because John Cena needed an opponent.
Right.
And that was his first, I think, pay-per-view main event. So in like the 7 or 8 months that he had already been champion.
Right.
The time he faced Cena was like his first main event.
That's
just because they were giving all these main events to Cena. And I get that John Cena is their biggest star. I don't know if he is anymore just because he's starting to do like movies and stuff like that. I mean, he's still like really popular. But you need to build other stars.
Yeah, I'm surprised they put all their eggs in one basket constantly.
They are with Roman Reigns now.
Everyone keeps complaining about Roman Reigns. It's like, I don't know why. Like, you have literally because they spent all that money buying all those people from like Japan and stuff, and it's like, okay, we're just gonna keep putting money and effort into this one guy.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not the typical internet fan who's like, I want Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk every match every week, because I see like the value in Roman Reigns. Like, Roman Reigns is talented. He's definitely got the look. He's athletic. He may not be the best in-ring worker, but he still could be like one of their top stars. But don't shove him down our throats every single year.
Right.
They fuck him over by like just putting him in the main event spotlight time and time again when there's other guys that could just take that spot from him and then he could come back into the main event.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, all year, Roman Reigns doesn't have to be the guy. We don't need another John Cena that wins, for like 6 years straight and like...
Literally never loses.
No one beats him. That was the thing. another thing why I stopped watching wrestling, because Raw just basically became the John Cena show.
Oh, it's the worst.
He was champion, I think, for like a year, lost it to Edge for like a month, and then he was champion again for another year. I was like, why am I watching? Because
it's so stupid.
Yeah, and they decided that SmackDown was going to be the B show, and because when we started watching wrestling, like SmackDown and Raw were equal.
Yeah,
they each had their own unique rosters. I mean, they did then, but it felt as if they were just as good. And SmackDown was probably better, actually, in my opinion.
Definitely. Were you there for the draft?
Yeah.
That was a fucking fantastic moment. Mm-hmm. But like that, I definitely think at that moment, SmackDown did have the better roster.
Yeah, but then I'll say probably when John Cena left SmackDown, say like 05, that's when they're like, all right, Raw's the A show, SmackDown's the B show, and that's that. And they weren't going to pay as much attention to SmackDown. And sure enough, they didn't. SmackDown just felt kind of boring, and its roster wasn't as talented.
I don't know why they keep doing it. I guess because like back then it wasn't live.
Yeah, it wasn't live.
It had to be something. That had to be something to do with it, because like there's no reason to have one of your shows just be worse.
And then they didn't have a lot of talent. They decided to bring back ECW, which on the surface could be a good idea, but they didn't treat it like the old ECW.
No, they made it the pre-show.
It was like a watered down version of SmackDown. Like they already had like most of their talent on Raw, some talent at SmackDown. You make a third show, and it wasn't watchable. It was watchable for like a week.
I think the first week when Tommy Dreamer showed up, and then I think he never showed up again.
Because they had... well, when they caught Rob Van Dam for smoking weed.
Is that why he's not on the roster anymore?
No, this was in 06.
Oh, okay.
He wins the WWE title, and at first they were going to say he's going to, I think they said, they're going to rechristen it the ECW title. So that they did that, but instead they said, we're going to have both titles, which I thought it would have been cooler if he stayed the ECW champion, and like all the WWE guys from Raw and SmackDown had to like fight him to try and get their title back. Like they'd be without a title, if you know what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
But instead they had both, and they caught him for weed, and he lost both titles within like 48 hours.
Really?
Which, just so ridiculous.
That's absurd.
I mean, I guess it was a different time, but it still shouldn't have been that ridiculous then.
No, it shouldn't have happened. Because I remember I was at a friend's house. I mean, this is fucking, like, I don't know, 8 years at this point. Yeah. And we were, like, looking at the website for WWE, and RVD was still on. I'm like, RVD's still here? What? Yeah. It's just, like, he hasn't been on TV in, like, literally, like, a year at this point. But, oh, man, that's crazy.
It is. And then RVD was, like, barely there, so ECW was not watchable. You had you had two, like, bad shows, and Raw, which was just all John Cena.
What did they have for... Because I remember if you went to a Raw event, you would see ECW for an hour before.
Okay.
And then they had something for SmackDown. It used to be Heat and Velocity.
Yeah, Heat and Velocity, yeah.
And then when they dropped those two as their, like, startups, is what NXT is now, it was ECW and ROH. Did that SmackDown may not have had one.
I think it might have been ECW and SmackDown. I think because ECW was live on Tuesday and SmackDown was filmed on Tuesday. I'm not sure because I've only...
Oh, yeah, you're right, because it definitely was filmed on Tuesday. Definitely filmed on Tuesdays, yeah. And I think you're right, ECW was. Because I remember Velocity and Heat were on Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, that's like early 2000s.
That's a long time ago.
I remember that, yeah.
Oh, man. I remember seeing Goldust for the first time on Heat. I was like, oh, man, look at him all covered in paint. And I had fucking a pretzel when I watched this match. So every time I see him, I taste a pretzel.
You think of a pretzel? Yeah. He's still going.
Yeah, I heard he's still going. Didn't he have a huge drug issue? Or is that his...
No, he did. Yeah, I think like mid-2000s maybe. He got into like alcohol and drugs.
Because I watched the Jake the Snake documentary.
That really good documentary.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And he's in it and looks like fucking garbage.
No, but I think he's been clean for around like 10 years now.
Because of DDP?
No, not because just because he got his life together.
Okay.
But yeah, if you see like pictures from him from like 06, 07, he's just like fat and just looks the worst.
It's a tough lifestyle.
It is the toughest lifestyle, and people don't understand that.
Yeah. Are you on the road 300 days a year or something
300 days a year you're on the road. You're performing, like 5 times a week.
Definitely,
falling countless times on a really hard surface.
Yeah.
It is the toughest business, well, at least one of the toughest business, and they get zero recognition for it.
Oh, everyone thinks it's a joke.
They're a laughing stock.
Yeah.
It's just a terrible situation to be in.
Yeah. Because they probably put themselves through some of the most like physical like strain.
Oh yeah, injuries all the time. Yeah. And Joe Rogan is not a fan of wrestling, but he at least understands that their lives are fucking hard.
Oh yeah,
like he'll be the first one to say, so many of them get into drugs and like various painkillers and all these other like issues, and
it's nuts.
It is not a fun life.
No, because I think. What is it? What days do you have off? It's like the middle of the week, right?
I think it's like Wednesday they have off.
Yeah. And like, that's it.
That's the only day they're home, because every other day they're traveling or wrestling.
Right.
And it never stops. There's no off season.
Yeah, there's literally, yeah. Is SmackDown still on Thursdays? Or they move it?
I think it's live on Tuesdays now.
Oh, they put on Tuesdays. So they do 2 back-to-back now?
I think they call it SmackDown Live, which is ridiculous. Just SmackDown would be fine.
That would be good. We're okay with that. We'll understand that it's live.
SmackDown Live. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Just because SmackDown's been live for like 15 years, we don't need to be reminded. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, did they still do the split roster now? Did they just do that?
Last, I think, like July, maybe June, they split the rosters again. I mean, they have a lot of talent now, so it works.
Right. Well, I'm just thinking for them as a performer, you can you might have Monday off as well now. So or Tuesday, whatever it is you have to do. Because they do house shows Friday, Saturday.
I think like Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday when there's not a pay-per-view.
Yeah, right. Because I remember every time I've gone to a couple, and they're always like in the weekend. That's such a. I mean, it's a cool job. I would like to learn how to do some of the stuff in it, just just the different moves and stuff like that, and just how to fake it.
If I wasn't like a brittle ex-distance runner, I would consider it. Just because, I mean, there's nothing like it. It is its own genre. Why it exists, I have no idea.
I have no idea. It's so weird.
But it is like a stunt show mixed with soap opera, mixed with like a rock concert with like all the music and like the fire, the pyro. It's insane.
It's just that is a good point though. Like, why does it exist?
Yeah,
it's such a weird thing where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna just fake fight for, I don't know, 3 hours a night.
Well, I guess people used to think it was real.
That too, yeah.
And that's the thing that I think is detrimental to wrestling and detrimental to more people watching it, is the fact that some people think that even though they don't, and that the E stands for entertainment in WWE for a reason. Vince McMahon will be first to tell you, no, it's not real, it's entertainment.
Right, yeah.
But the thing that's detrimental to wrestling is that people think that they're trying to pass it off as real.
Right.
People don't want to feel stupid watching that and say, oh, they're trying to get me to think this is real. That's not it at all.
No.
But that's what's stopping people from watching.
Yeah, because they don't even call it sports. It's sports entertainment.
Yeah.
And they're not athletes, they're superstars. They're they call them things for specific reasons to not continue this the idea that, oh, we're duping you, we're tricking you.
I think Broken Matt Hardy was a good first step into that, and you don't have to blur the lines into people make people think it's real. Make it ridiculous.
Oh yeah, people want it to be ridiculous.
Make it more story based. Get outside the ring. Follow these characters around, like Lucha Underground does.
Yeah.
Make it much more than what happens inside the ring. You don't have to build the stories inside the ring. You can build it other places.
Oh yeah, some of those videos they did for Broken Matt Hardy were just some of the best
so
things.
Good. I mean, ridiculous, yes, but so entertaining. The final deletion. I don't know if you saw that. That was the first one.
It's the fucking best. I love it so much.
Listeners, so Matt Hardy, famous wrestler, I think he was fighting Jeff. I don't watch much at TNA, which is another wrestling promotion. He fell off a stage or something, got electrocuted. He comes back with some streaks of silver hair and basically acts like a god.
It's amazing.
Treats himself like a deity, says he's 7,000 years old.
He has a weird
accent.
Cadence, in his voice. Just oh my god. He starts talking about his son as a prince.
King Maxwell. And he just had another kid actually.
I saw on Twitter, yeah. I found out yesterday that King Maxwell has his own Twitter account.
Baby Hardy brand. Yeah, they're all brands, Jeff Hardy brand.
Yeah, because it was what did he call him after he deleted Jeff Hardy? What did they change his name
Brother
to?
Nero.
No, did he say, was it delete?
He deleted, yeah.
Delete, yeah, and then he had a black image.
Yep.
So funny.
Because all those skits with Vanguard 1, do you know that?
Yes,
that's their drone.
No, their drone, Vanguard 1. And then what do they call the boat? The dilapidated
boat, yeah.
Like a weird Norse name.
And then Senor Benjamin,
Senor Benjamin's
prepare
awesome.
the battlefield. Oh, so ridiculous. Yeah, definitely watch the Final Deletion.
Final Deletion is the whole reason I re-fell in love with the behind the scenes part of wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I don't really care about the actual storylines or and I'll occasionally watch, like I said, the big moments where it's oh, these people are fantastic at their job. But it's all the inner workings of wrestling fascinate me to no end. It's, like you said, why does this exist?
Yeah.
And yet it's this massive industry and this all these weird little things that have to go on, how these people work together. And, someone got busted for drugs. That storyline is now dead. So now how do we get around that? How do we do this? It's so fascinating how they like actually craft it. It's, oh my God.
I don't know if they'll get that because I guess there's like a legal battle with TNA about the Broken Hardy character.
Oh, I thought they got it. Did they not?
I think it's like still up in the air, but
okay.
They paid for like all the skits themselves, filmed it themselves, made up the characters themselves, so I think they should have them.
Right.
But it'd be so cool to see that like on WWE TV.
Oh, it'd be so great. Because that is something...
There's nothing like it. It's been the greatest thing in wrestling in I don't know how many years, just because it's so unique.
And because like that's the thing too, is when we started watching it and stuff, there was, fucking Kane is like some demon, Undertaker's like, a zombie. Like people had like these mythical characters. And then like by the mid 2000s, everyone was just like a UFC fighter. Like
because we got into like the realistic age, like the death of like the gimmick in wrestling. And it's cool, like some gimmicks just suck. But Broken Matt Hardy's like so over the edge and so just out there that it's perfect for wrestling.
It's perfect. Like, and the same thing with the Wyatts is like a good direction. It's like, thank you, just be stupid. Because like you said, as long as you keep it super silly, super stupid, no one can like actually be like, oh, you think this is fucking real? It's like, no, this guy's a cult leader. This guy thinks he's a god 7,000 years old. Like I think we
Have you seen Wrestling Isn't Wrestling on YouTube?
It's so good.
Yeah, it's the first 5 minutes are just everyone who says like, oh, wrestling is fake, that's their first reaction to wrestling, should watch the first 5 minutes of Wrestling Isn't Wrestling.
I love Max Landis.
He is so funny. I love him.
Oh, he's so good.
Do you follow him on Twitter?
I do.
He's like my
so
favorite
good.
Twitter account.
The thing where he does like a word and the clap emoji. I've stolen that. It's my favorite thing. Oh my God. Like he just had one that was like, don't remake The Matrix. I'm like, that is, that is so perfect. Oh my God. I love him.
People hate him for no reason.
Really?
He just gives his opinion on certain things. Like he thought Rey in Star Wars was a Mary Sue.
He's not wrong.
He said it like he made a YouTube video. He didn't say it like politely, but he said it just very like calmly, not attacking anyone.
Right.
And people just crucified him.
Really?
He gets crucified for all his opinions. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Like Max Landis hates women. No, he doesn't.
No, that can't be possible.
Yeah.
He's anything but. I would have assumed, had you told me like people hate him, and then I had to guess what it was, I would have thought it would have been he was like too liberal, too like inclusive or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd feel like to find out that that's the other way around is insane to me.
Oh yeah, people just I think they love to hate him or something.
I guess. I never saw Chronicle. I've been meaning to watch it.
Chronicle's
forever.
one of my favorite movies. I didn't know he wrote Chronicle because I saw Wrestling Isn't Wrestling, and then I found out he did. I was like, this is my favorite person. Oh my God. And then he has other great videos like The Death and Return of Superman.
I have heard about that and been meaning to watch it. Apparently, he had written a Superman comic since.
Yeah.
It's apparently amazing.
You have to watch his pitch after.
Oh, I hear it's fantastic.
He has, The Death and Return of Superman, which is like Wrestling Isn't Wrestling. And then he has his pitch for the comic he was going to make. It's like 40 minutes long. I think I've watched it like twice. It is just so good. Because he's a screenwriter, and that's definitely what he should be, because he tells stories so effortlessly. Like you should subscribe to him on YouTube if you haven't.
I don't remember if I did. I think I might have.
Because he has a couple of videos. He's like, all right, guys, I want to pitch you a movie, and I'm just like so like dialed in. I was like, all right, I'm ready for this. And
actually, I did watch one of his videos recently. It was right after Get Out. He did what do you call it? 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was like, this is such a brilliant idea. Like, what a great writing thing to do. Like, that's so cool. Like, I know he was writing that Pepe Le Pew movie.
Oh, is
that real?
I think he finished it, yeah.
Is it going to happen? Because I need it to happen.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
It's like that sounds like such a great thing for him to do. I really want to read his comic, American Alien.
Superman, yeah.
Yeah, the Superman.
I think I'll get like the graphic novel.
Yeah, that's something I'll probably do.
Like week to week when it's coming out, it's like, I don't know. Because I'm not a big comic book guy.
I'm not either.
I'm a big superhero fan, like cartoons and movies.
Yeah.
But like physically, I don't read, but but like physically reading a comic book, the only comic book I've ever read was Civil War from like 06. Like when it, like what, I mean, it was kind of
right.
Like, the movie was kind of like, but yeah. Because there were like so many, like every character was in Civil War, and everyone picked a side, and it was just amazing.
It's really hard for me to keep up with superhero stuff. Like I read I have a bunch of indie comics down there, and like that's kind of what I keep up with, like Saga and Invincible and stuff. Even though Invincible is a superhero one, but it's going to end because fucking thank God. But like it's like I'll keep with like stuff like that. I have like Sandman and stuff like that, which is pretty good actually. But I do want to try, because I had listened to a little bit of Max Landis talking about Superman. And because I had gone for years being like, Superman's the most boring thing ever. And he's like, no, wait, hang on.
Yeah.
let me convince you. And I'm like, all right, I'll give this a shot. This sounds pretty cool. Because now that I've like kind of thought about it more, it's like, yeah, there's a lot you can do with Superman that no one's doing, because like they just look at him like, oh, he's the Boy Scout, he does everything right. It's just like, no, wait, there's room for more here. Like if you're like him, or like, you know, actually want to grow out. So there are definitely some writers out there that might be able to like actually, and hopefully like give him a job in the DC thing. Like let him.
I would love him if they could. Well, first of all, Henry Cavill sucks as Superman.
Oh, I've not watched any of the new DC
I am
stuff.
not a fan of it at all. Like Zack Snyder, he may be a talented guy, but
I don't agree with that.
I'm not a big fan of his just because he made Superman like a mopey asshole.
Oh, really?
We need him to be more of that all-American Boy Scout. Like, not like to a T, like
right,
straight down the line, but he needs to care about everyone.
Right, because isn't that the thing that Max is always talking about with him, where it's he helps people because he can.
Yes.
Not because not because he's Batman and like, oh, no. I don't want anyone else to happen to this. Like, no, I have all these powers. I need to help people.
He is a boy from Kansas who wants to help people. Right. That is it. Like, Clark Kent isn't a secret identity. He is Clark Kent. He became Superman after.
Right.
And I think with Superman in the DC movie universe nowadays, he is just kind of, yeah, it's like I said before, he's a mopey asshole, and he just has this attitude about him and this negativity about him that is just not Superman.
So I have not watched any of them. I hear Wonder Woman's great. I want to go see that.
It is great. You definitely need to see it, yeah.
What I was thinking about doing is watching the first 3 movies just to get like a feel for it. Just be like, oh, there's only 3 here, but they just seem not good. Like I had watched a little bit of Man of Steel. I watched like somewhere in the middle, and I did not realize it was a Superman movie until like the end of that scene where he flew away. It was just 2 assholes talking to each other, and then he flew. And I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, like, the world of Superman needs to be brighter. You've seen like Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series. Yeah. When they went to Superman after doing Batman for a couple of years, they decided that the world needed to be brighter. Mm-hmm. Buildings needed to be like different colors, like the sky needed to be brighter. Right. Because Superman's world is a brighter world. Like, his villains are more...
They're sillier.
Yeah, they're sillier. They're more like outgoing. And right, yeah. It's fun to watch the show. More as Batman, it's like more serious. You're invested in the story like the same amount, but they're different shows. Superman, Man of Steel just kind of felt more towards like that Batman type of world, which it shouldn't have been at all.
No, because I think I want to say it's the original like director of DC, or maybe just the people who created both cities, but Metropolis is New York during the day, Gotham is New York at night. Mm-hmm. And so like as long as you keep those ideas, that's how those cities should function. Yeah. Where it's like this one's very bright, even though it's more Chicago based and everything like that. It's, you know, this is a much more brighter city. There's like, you know, like you said, blue skies, whereas Batman, everything's going to be big shadows and dark.
Like
and
grays and blacks. Right, but Superman's, there should be like oranges and yellows.
Right, yeah.
It should be very visual.
Right, yeah. No, oh, man. I am so excited for Young Justice to come back.
Me too. I am such a big Young Justice fan.
I love Young Justice. And like I when I first watched it, I had to have my the wiki on my second monitor because they just talk about stuff, and you're just supposed to know who these characters are. And you're like, I have no idea what's happening.
Did you like watch it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for like years because I watched it on like the Cartoon Network.
Oh, really?
Run. Yeah.
Wow. So you were like deep in there.
I was deep in. I've been deep in there for a while because like I watched Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, like all like
I love Batman Beyond
in their original runs too.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I want to watch. I know they have or had Justice League on Netflix.
I don't think they do anymore.
Do they not? Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to watch it because I really do enjoy like the DC universe. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I don't know. I'm in kind of like falling back on Marvel lately, but mostly because of the movies. I'm really tired of how many jokes there are.
What do you think of Guardians 2?
It was okay. Like it's a lot of like the humor was really bad. Because it was way too much. Like so many like little gags, like when they're rolling out that carpet and it gets stuck, and it's like, why is it even here?
I think that, I mean, I loved it, but I think that's more a Guardians thing, the humor. And I think the surrounding Marvel movies having so much humor kind of like gives the reaction that you got, like, all right, we've seen this a lot.
Right, yeah.
So all their movies have a lot of humor.
A lot of it, yeah.
I think that needs to be dialed down, except with the Guardians.
No, if it was just Guardians, I agree with you. Yeah. But it is because it's bleeding into other things.
Like Doctor Strange had so many jokes, it's like, all right, buddy.
Yeah,
like you're not a comedian.
Right, you're like a doctor who's in a very serious situation, and you're going to make a weird quip at someone, like... Dial it back a little bit. Like this is getting like you're watching people literally die in front of you, and you're going to go somewhere else and make a joke a second later. Like it's so, I don't know. It's very strange. Like, I guess if it was more like Guardians was like the Three Stooges, like it's trying to be, and then everything else can kind of be a little more serious. I'm not saying like everything's got to be brooding and dark, but like stop having so many jokes after jokes, especially character to character. Like I said, Doctor Strange should not be making as many jokes as he was making.
Good movie, but
I did enjoy it.
Too much comedy. And I think Infinity War needs to be a little more serious.
I would hope so.
There needs to be like a lot of stakes. Characters need to die.
Right.
Because, it's 2 parts?
I believe it's 2 parts,
I think Thanos needs to come in and I think maybe kill Iron Man or Captain America.
I was thinking he was going to kill the Guardians off, but maybe not anymore now that they're doing so well.
Yeah, because they're going to have a 3rd movie with James Gunn coming back to write and direct again. Because he did the first 2.
Right.
But I think we need to be like slapped in the face when we go and see
I would
part
hope so,
1.
yeah.
So either we end it with like staring at like Captain America or Iron Man down, because I think their contracts are about to be up anyway, if not already.
I believe Captain America's is up. I believe it's gone. I think I don't remember if it was renewed, but it definitely ran up at one point. So he might be the one to go. Oh no, you know what it was? It was around Civil War. His contract went up, so people thought he was going to die because doesn't he die in the comic?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So people thought that was going to happen because his contract had in time went out. But I think
Downey's like movie to movie now, that they'll just pay him like $40 million to come back.
Of course,
it's ridiculous.
Chump change.
So much money. But I think that we just need to leave Infinity War Part 1 just being like, what the fuck?
No, that'd be
like,
sick.
How could they do that? But like in a good way, you know?
Right, yeah. I want to leave Infinity War and just be like, well, fuck me.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, because you're right. That is what we need, because it's becoming such a formula of like, we're just going to do this.
There's no stakes anymore.
No, which is a problem when you're watching these things, because like, yeah, sure, a lot of these early ones are setting people up and learning who these characters are, but like now we're starting to establish a world. Let's start like actually taking hits at people. Let's change some stuff around. Let's make it really like, holy fuck.
Like, we don't need Infinity War to be just like a big shot of the whole group fighting this giant army,
right?
Like slow motion, people doing cool moves, and then they win. No,
yeah, especially because it's 2 parts. Something really needs to hit like hard. That'd be really sick, actually. Oh man, that would be exactly what would bring me more into Marvel again, because like it's just, and that's the other thing too, is like Marvel is in such a weird spot where they're like, we're all movies now, I guess, because like the comics are being weird now, and they're trying to kill off the X-Men because like they don't have the rights.
They don't have the movie. I fucking love the X-Men, and they're just fucking them over.
It's so weird that they're like, oh, okay, so this department that has nothing to do with the movie department is now going to be neutered because the movie department is now what rules Marvel.
I mean, animation too. They're not having the X-Men and like
fucking
other
DC's
characters.
animation department is amazing.
Oh, knock them. Like, they are not fucking close at all. Since the 90s, DC has been dominating, because in the 90s you had X-Men the animated series and Spider-Man the animated series, which are both arguably the greatest superhero cartoons ever. They're just both amazing. But after that, DC just took the ball and fucking ran with it.
Oh, yeah. They have yet to stop.
Like, they went to Superman, Batman, because Batman, the animated series, was around, like, arguably the greatest show ever, but it was, like, competing with X-Men and Spider-Man.
Right.
But after that, they went to Superman, Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited, Young Justice, and all the animated movies that they do.
Those movies are phenomenal.
Like, Under the Red Hood, Flashpoint Paradox, so many others that are just, like, amazing.
I was shocked. Once, like, Batman vs. Superman did so poorly, they didn't just make an announcement like, and the animation team is now doing everything.
Yeah.
Because, like,
they really should.
They're doing so well, but because I guess adults just look at animation as kids shit, that they're just like, leave this. You guys keep doing your weird cartoons over there in the corner. We're gonna go make big man movies. Like, I don't understand. Like, just hire their writing team. Like, that's all. Like, just keep them where. I don't even understand, because like they have just never stopped being good.
And like, I saw a trailer for the new Spider-Man cartoon that's coming out next year. It looks so shitty.
Oh, they've had terrible.
The animation
Spider-Man.
looks bad, and I'm just like, all right. You could have at least kept the Drake Bell Spider-Man, because the animation at least looked good. I didn't watch it. I watched like the first season, but it at least looked good. This one just looks shitty, and it just looks like a terrible show.
I don't know how they keep doing that. I mean, I guess I really think it is just that Marvel has all their eggs in the movie basket. They're just like, this is what we do.
Well, that's why they dropped Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Good animation, probably the best Marvel cartoon in a long time. Really good show. Then they decided, no, we're going to make it more like the movies, and that's when they brought in Avengers Assemble. And replaced it with a new cartoon, which wasn't as good. I haven't seen much of it.
I hate when they do that.
Yeah.
We're just like, oh, you know what? We're just going to replace this. It's like, no, what you have is working.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's the
Earth's Mightiest Heroes had a lot of crossovers with so many different characters from across the Marvel Universe. But now with Avengers Assemble, it's more like about the movies, and like only the characters used in the movies are used on the show, basically.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
I wish they would do, like, they would use, even if they want to have the movies be their, like, bread and butter, this is what we do, this is what Marvel is now. I don't know why they don't use the comics and the cartoon shows to, like help it out. Like, it's kind of what they do with the Netflix live action shows.
Yeah.
Where it's like, these exist in the universe, these are going to somehow play into the greater universe, however, and I wish they would use, like, the comics and they make cartoons about characters that aren't going to get a movie. Like, or get a Netflix show, like, just something where, like, I would have said Iron Fist, but they gave him a show. Yeah. But, like, just something like these weird characters that most people don't give a shit about.
I'd like it to not be connected, though, because then we could get, like, implement the X-Men into these storylines, implement Silver Surfer, like Galactus, all these other cool things, just like how it was in, like, the 90s and early 2000s.
Right, yeah.
Just no, like, boundaries, nothing stopping you from making great animation.
Yeah, I don't know what. It's so unfortunate, like, this. Because I love animation. It's probably my favorite medium. And I wish that more people would care, which is kind of why I really even pay attention to anime to begin with, is because, like, these are the only people that give a shit. It's like, besides, like, the occasional, like, once a year we get a cool, like, DC movie or something. Yeah. It's like, we're not getting shit from anywhere else.
And
like,
I hate that they're bringing back, like, this is the only problem with DC. They're bringing back shows we love, except in, like, a kiddie 5-year-old version.
Oh, like fucking...
Oh, you love Teen Titans? Here's Teen Titans Go. You love Justice League and Justice League Unlimited? Here's Justice League Action. I don't care if you use some of the same voice actors. It's not the same type of show at all.
I can't stand this fucking... Oh, God, this like, Flash animation thing they keep doing. And it's like, I get it. It's fucking cheap as shit. I can fucking do it.
Yeah.
But, like... I don't care anymore. Like, I get that and I know a lot of problem they have, and, like, the higher ups, they don't see value in, like, action cartoons.
They don't.
They're like, I don't know who would watch
Young
this.
Justice, when it was canceled, they also canceled the Green Lantern cartoon, which is actually pretty good. Different type of animation than Young Justice, but a good show. Even, like, Matt watched it with me. Good show. But they decided to cancel them both, and I'm so happy Young Justice is coming back.
I'm so happy because, like, I that was one of the last shows that, like, I don't watch a ton of TV, but if I'm watching something and, like, it just captures me completely, I just have to watch. I watch all of it and, like, literally watch, like, 6 episodes in one sitting. Go to bed, wake up, like, I can't wait to watch more. Like, it has not happened since Young Justice, and it was blowing me away. And the fact they weren't holding my hand was even better.
What was great about it is I did not think I would be a fan at first because this was, like, probably 2010 when it came back. Only a few years after Justice League ended, Justice League Unlimited, I was like, why can't we just get more Justice League Unlimited?
Right.
I don't want to see the show about sidekicks. But I was so wrong. It was so good.
It was so... And that's the thing, too, is they really... They especially in the first episode, they're like, we get it, sidekicks. Yeah. Let's establish that. And then they're going to go from there, and they're like, this is fucking cool. And the time skip was cool to see everyone, like, grow bigger, like, have different characters come in.
I was nervous about that, but yeah, season 2 was just as good, if not better.
Sick. And then I just... When it ends and they're looking at Apocalypse and just like, we're so close, and it's like, nope, there's nothing left.
Darkseid shaking hands with Vandal Savage. You're like, holy shit, how are they going to win?
Like, oh my God.
And then Wally's sacrifice.
Yes.
Tears.
Oh my God. So emotional.
And Artemis had to tell Wally's parents that he died. And then Bart put on the Kid Flash costume. He's like, I feel like a fraud. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is so good.
They do such a good job of, like, really developing these characters to, like, feel like people. Yeah. It's like, he, like, this fucking character feels like a fraud. Like, he's actually feels like he's not holding up the mantle. Like, that's so fucking cool.
And it didn't even feel ridiculous. He was the Flash's grandson from the future. Yeah. Comes back, joins the team, and it was just so entertaining.
It was so good. I just fucking love that they just talk to each other like they were other people within the same universe.
And we didn't even need the Justice League. Like, at first, I was like, all right, where are the Superman, Batman cameos? After a few episodes, we didn't even need them.
I didn't want them.
Yeah.
Because I really liked...
It was their show.
Yeah, I really liked them. I want to know what they were doing, just the different people they were talking to. The fucking Star Labs kids, they had, like, those 6 kids that they pull out, and like Static Shock was one of them. It's like, I just want to know more about these people. Like, if they got their own show, I'd be fucking ecstatic. So
yeah, because they left the team at the end of the second season. Right?
They
like,
left.
We're gonna do our own thing.
Yeah, they left, and then I feel like Young Justice was also their group was already kind of fragmented at that point too.
Well, I think they joined the Justice League at the end though.
Yes,
they're like, you're a full member.
Oh, that's right. They were because they start as a thing and they separate a little bit. Yeah, and then they joined the Justice League.
Because Mount Justice was destroyed in like the final battle.
Yes, everything was destroyed, and then who took over Robin? because there was a new Robin, right? Because he was Nightwing. Dick Grayson was Nightwing by
Dick
that
Grayson
point.
was Nightwing, yeah, and Tim Drake was Robin.
Right, they brought Tim Drake in.
But Aqualad going to stay like the leader, and I think Dick was like taking a hiatus. He was like, I need to step away for a little bit.
Right, because everything went to shit.
Yeah.
God, what a fantastic... Oh my God. You should read Invincible, because it's very similar to that, where it's a bunch of like kids trying to be superheroes, but it's also written by Robert Kirkman, who's the Walking Dead guy.
Yeah.
So everyone just gets fucked on. So like the amount of times like characters are just like people die or covered in blood, and everyone's getting like shredded and stuff like that. So it's a similar like kids trying to be adult type of superhero story where it's like, oh, actually everything's fucked.
Well, yeah, Young Justice got pretty dark.
And I like that. I love
the
that
whole
about
thing
that.
about Red Arrow's clone.
Yeah.
Well, Red Arrow was actually the clone, and the real...
Right, yes, Speedy or whatever.
Yeah, what's his name? The real Roy Harper was actually, frozen on ice for years,
Yes.
and like he didn't have an arm because they took the
it off.
DNA from the
Yes.
arm to form the clone.
Oh my God, what a show. I'm so excited. When is it coming back? I need to... Oh my God.
I heard a rumor that they were going to do like a Warner Brothers streaming service, and it was going to be on there.
Oh, it's a heartbreaking news.
But I hope it's just on Netflix.
I thought Netflix bought it.
I'm not sure, because I think they want to do their own streaming service, like for cartoons and stuff like that. But I hope that doesn't happen. And they're
I hope
just like,
it doesn't.
yeah, Netflix is here. Let's just use that.
Because, like, I get wanting to, take a piece of Netflix's pie or whatever, but I just want, like, it's so established that I feel like it's almost better to just, like, I don't know, maybe they have to work a deal out to make it, like, actually beneficial, but it's just, like, I don't want to keep going. I mean, if that's all it is a Warner Brothers animation, like, streaming service, yeah, I'm paying for it. But, like, I just don't want to. I'd like to just have the one thing I already pay for. Yeah. And, like, everything, a lot of it is already on Netflix. I guess that would make sense, though, because they're bringing Animaniacs back. So maybe they would. Oh, yeah, they are. Maybe they would actually do that. That would make sense, is actually, if they do an animation Warner Brothers thing. I've been recently rewatching that. That show is fucking brilliant.
Animaniacs?
It's fucking brilliant.
I remember loving it, but I haven't seen it in years.
It's
solid video games with Animaniacs.
Yeah. I was just putting it on, and like I've been watching a bunch of Power Rangers, so like I enjoy just having like nonsense to put on while I do other things. And I was like, oh, let's put on the Animaniacs. You can't do that. It's visual gags up the ass. It's fucking every episode is like a song too. And I forgot about that. That's awesome. And it's so brilliant. I was like, I can't believe people don't like. I know people talk about it, but like, I'm surprised this is not like that at the Bugs Bunny level that it, like it seems to have wanted to be, or at least it's like parodying. Yeah, it's so impressive. Like the writing staff on that is fucking holy shit. It's so good at their job. Because like I know John Kay, the guy who did Ren and Stimpy. Yeah. Fucking hates Animaniacs because it was a writer's show, and he was more about like the animators do everything. So like because he's an animator, so he would they would like basically make it on the storyboard. The storyboard artist and the animators would put the episode together. That's why it's fucking nonsense. So like shit just happens because like they got up, went to lunch, and came back and just started over. Like they just don't care. Yeah. So he doesn't like Animaniacs, and actually had like an alias in like a magazine where he would write like shit on like story driven cartoons. Yeah, he's kind of a crazy person. Fucking brilliant. And that's why you got to be a little crazy to be like as good as what you're doing. But like. Yeah, he used to shit on it all the time, and I kind of see where he was coming from as it being a story-based show, but that doesn't make it fucking bad because it's fucking amazing. Yeah. It's so clever, and like, oh my god, some of the songs, like I'm shocked, like that, like the fucking one where Wacko sings every country in the world. Like
that's the one I remember. Yeah,
like that one's really impressive. Also, super dated because there's a reference to East and West Germany in there. They're like, oh, Germany as one now. You're like, oh my god, this is Bill Clinton is in the theme song.
Really?
Yeah, when they're talking about like it's what is it? Wacko yaks, Wacko does snacks, and Bill Clinton plays the sax. Huh. So he's just in the theme song. Wow. It's a dated reference. Yeah. That's just like, I mean, it's kind of still relevant, but like, do kids today know that Bill Clinton played the sax? Yeah, even know who Bill Clinton is. So it's kind of like, but I don't think that show's for kids anymore. Like, I think it was kind of for like our age group when we were that younger, and now that we're older, we can kind of look back and
get
like,
everything.
Yeah, because I remember just enjoying it because it's very much like trying to be like a modern Looney Tunes, which is kind of what Spielberg wanted to do. Because he's like, I just fucking like cartoons, so we're gonna make a show now. And now, like as an adult, you can look at it and be like, oh, okay, this is just adorable. Like every reference and stuff, and it's a pretty sick show. I'm gonna probably jump into it even more than I have been because like I just kind of put it on randomly. I'm like, oh man. I forgot how great this is.
Did you see the new Power Rangers movie?
I did.
What'd you think? I didn't see it. What'd you think?
It's dumb as shit, but it's Power Rangers, so it's fucking awesome. Like they have a moment. They do the one thing that you want like a reboot to do, and it's play the fucking theme song.
Oh, they did?
They fucking play the theme song.
Nice.
And that's all you fucking need. Because, like, you know, you watch Transformers, you watch Ninja Turtles, and you're like, okay, like, just everything's kind of dark and looks kind of gritty.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing. It's that kind of, like, aesthetic, but, like, they kind of just understood that, like, this is actually dumb as shit, so let's just have fun. And it's a good time. It's a good time. I saw it in a theater completely by myself, so I kind of feel like, yay, and cheer and shit. But it was a lot of fun. I don't think it's going to have a sequel because I think it did poorly in China.
It did not make that much money, yeah.
Because I think they were banking on China, and then when it went over,
China saved. Was it Warcraft?
Did they?
Warcraft made nothing here. It made so much everywhere else.
I did enjoy that.
So I think it might be getting a sequel.
I know it saved Pacific Rim too.
Yeah.
So that's coming out. I have the fucking poster of the first one. I love that movie.
I never saw it.
It's the same thing. It's like, if I say it's a movie about giant monsters fighting monsters, if that doesn't sound like a nightmare to you, then fucking watch it because it's exactly that.
Wow.
It's a dumb fucking movie with like dumb, the story doesn't matter, but then a giant robot comes over and punches a monster in the face. It's fucking rad. And like there's one point where like they're fighting, and it's like the third fight, and then the robot pulls a sword out, and you're like, why the fuck haven't you been using that? But who cares? Like, it's just fucking silly.
I'm surprised to hear that the Power Rangers movie would be dark, because it really is for little kids. I know, like, a lot of things I'm into, like, people say for kids, but they're really not.
Right.
But, like, Power Rangers, I think I looked up, like, a bunch of the different versions of the show when the movie came out to, like, find out when I stopped watching.
Right,
Because I knew when I stopped, it was, like, something about ninjas.
Oh, Ninja Storm.
Yeah, and it was like in 2003.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize I stopped watching Power Rangers that early.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's the feel of the show is very weird.
It is really weird.
Yeah.
It's not like dark tonally. It's just kind of like aesthetically, it's pretty dark. Like everything's kind of dark and like gross looking. It's that I don't know. It must be one CGI department that like some production company that makes all these things because everything's got like this weird grime to it. Or like it looks weird. It's not like totally dark like tonally in story. It just like looks that way and like there's like literally like less lighting.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun where like they're training and stuff. I think like 2/3 of the movie are them out of the suits.
Really?
Yeah, like it's like a main plot point is them learning how to enter the morphin grid so they can access their suits and like take control of all the powers. It actually they give a reason to why it's dinosaurs, which is kind of cool.
What is it?
So the movie opens with Zordon and Rita, who was the original Green Ranger, which actually also gives reason to why Rita would have the green coin.
Yeah.
Being on Earth back in whatever the dinosaur era is. And they're fighting or whatever, and she's killing him, and so he takes the power coins and buries them. And then when the kids show up and go to the cave and find all that shit, they're like, whoa, it's dinosaurs. And Alpha's like, yeah, they take the form of the strongest creature on that planet when they get there, and at the time when we showed up, it was dinosaurs.
Oh wow!
So everything
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. They give like a reason. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And like I don't really like the Goldar is like the big villain in this one, but he's kind of just like a mindless monster, and he's just made of little
Goldar's
gold.
Like
he's the big gold like cat thing.
Yeah.
And he's the main like monster of this one, but he's kind of just like a monster. He doesn't talk at all.
Okay.
He's not like
doesn't have that really like annoying voice.
Yeah, he doesn't do any of that. He's just like Rita builds him out of literal gold. Like she goes around and like takes gold out of people's teeth and like breaks into a jewelry store and steals all the gold, and then does whatever. And she makes this big melting gold monster. So I don't like his design that much. And the Megazord is okay. They actually don't have it so everyone goes into one room. Do you remember how they do that?
Yeah.
You stay in your mech at each body part.
Okay.
So if you're
I guess that kind of makes sense.
It makes more sense. Yeah. So if you're the leg, you sit at the kneecap and whatever. So like so they changed a few things there, but I mean they still do everything where you're like, I hope they get the power sword. And it's like, oh hey, we need the power sword. They're like, fucking awesome. Like they do everything right, and they tease Tommy Oliver at the end because they actually the one major
Tommy's
change,
the Green Ranger, right? Yeah.
So the one major change from the movie to the show is in the show they're all fucking Boy Scouts. They're the fucking best. They do all the charity events.
They're really nice.
They're nice kids. They all meet in detention in the movie.
Oh, like a Breakfast Club,
like a Breakfast Club thing,
okay.
yeah. And so at the end of the movie, as like the stinger at the end, they're all in detention, and the guy running detention is calling for Tommy Oliver, and it pans over a desk with a green jacket.
Oh, nice.
And you're like, fucking, let's go.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's gonna happen because Guardians came out the same week in China, so I don't think it did well. So we might not actually see a sequel, which is unfortunate, but. I mean,
at least it got a movie.
At least it got one thing, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I know people were talking about, like, it's kind of weird. Like, when I originally heard about the movie, I thought they made, so Billy is a black kid in this one, and he also has autism.
Oh,
so that's why he's like the smart one, because he's just very like zoned in on that. And then I had heard they also made him gay, and I was like, oh, it's because the guy who plays Billy in the original show, is gay.
Oh yeah, didn't he get like made fun of on
He did.
set?
That's actually why he quit.
Yeah,
he was like really bullied by it, but actually it wasn't the case. It was actually Trini, the Yellow Ranger, was kind of gay. Maybe there's one conversation.
Or like bi?
Kind of, maybe. There's one conversation where, like, they're sitting around the campfire, like, hey, we need to know each other better. And so at one point, like, she's talking, she's like the loner, so da-da-da. And then Zach, the Black Ranger, is like, oh, who's Asian in this one? He's like, oh, so boy troubles, and she looks at him, she goes, girl troubles, and she looks at him the same way again, and then they just move on. But a bunch of people flipped out, like, oh, Power Rangers is gay now. Oh my God, everything's the end of the world. I'm like, this isn't like, who gives a shit?
Everyone could be gay, and I would not care.
But like, also, this is like the least amount of like effort put into like, oh, they're gayifying a character. Yeah. It's like, it's not even like 100% confirmed.
She didn't clarify.
Yeah, it's like, why would anyone be mad at this? It's mostly because people just want to be mad, I guess. Just, they want to hate something.
Yeah, people, man, they get mad at everything nowadays.
Everything crazy. It's crazy. No matter what side it's on, like, if one thing is not even like different, just like, oh, we're going to do a thing, and then this side just disagrees. Now it's up in flames.
Yeah, yesterday, J.K. Rowling went off on some guy who called Theresa May, who was she, like, the Prime Minister of the UK?
Yeah, she won. Yeah. She's the Conservative candidate, I think?
Yeah, I guess someone called her a whore, and, like, she went off on this guy, like, with, like, 10 tweets.
And I can imagine everyone went off of her, because that was a Conservative.
People are going off on her, and, and she's going off on... And it's just, like, everyone needs to calm down.
Everyone does need to calm down. It's just... nothing anyone's getting mad at actually matters.
Yeah.
Like, if we can just all, like, none of it matters. Like, does it hurt you directly? No? Then we can all move on.
Chris Pratt, who's the nicest guy on the planet.
Nicest human being.
People attacked him because he decided that something about subtitles on Instagram, and people said he was attacking the deaf community or something like that.
That's a stretch.
Because
that's a little bit of effort.
Because he didn't... in the video, he said, I'm just waiting for you to play the video because I'm not going to let you listen to read the subtitles. I want you to listen to me and talk about, like, Guardians or something like that. Something, like, just a little funny. And people like, how dare you, Chris Pratt?
That's insane.
And Anna first was like, guys, Chris feels really bad. He didn't mean to. Yeah.
See, I love those two so much. Have you seen movie 43?
That was, I think I have, and it was really bad.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, okay,
but man,
that's with, like, skits, right?
It's a bunch of skits, and they have one together.
Oh, is that with the cat?
No, that's with Elizabeth Banks.
That was fucked up. I did not.
The one with them, they start. I think they start dating. I think that's how it starts. And she asks him to shit on him. And he's like, I don't know about this, man. And then they're at the barbecue, and the one guy's like, "Hey, she asked me to shit on her." He goes, "She fucking loves you. You're going to crap on her. You shit on a prostitute." It's just, oh my God, I just love those two so much that they would actually go through with that.
Did he shit on her? I don't. remember.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
It's a mess.
Was the one with Hugh Jackman was like he had testicles on his throat.
Shit. Yeah. And then they had the scarf or whatever. That's how the movie opens. So that sets the tone nicely.
I'm surprised he did that.
I'm surprised everyone at all did that.
Like Halle Berry, like with the giant like fake boobs. Yeah. Like in Guacamole or something. She like puts them in something.
Oh right, because they're
daring each other.
Yeah, they're daring each other.
Like Stephen Merchant.
Yes. That's what a fucking. That is the weirdest movie to ever exist.
How'd that get like greenlit?
It seems like they just paid for it themselves. Yeah. Because it's all really famous, really wealthy people that I think just were like, fuck it, we'll do it ourselves.
Let's just make this.
Yeah. Or like, at least go to a studio and be like, so everyone here wants to do this. You're like, we can't argue this.
It was over years, too. Like, I don't think any of them were filmed in the same year. It's crazy.
It's and everyone hates it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. Like, it's exactly the dumb movie, like, I remember
being really grossed out with the cat one.
The cat one's pretty intense.
Like I think I shut my computer and like I had to go for a walk. That was just
I just love Elizabeth Banks in everything she does. So I'll sit through everything. She's what an angel. Oh my God. Have you seen what's that movie called? Dirty Grandpa? No, Dirty Grandpa.
With De Niro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually shockingly funny.
Really?
It's actually
I didn't like it that much.
Oh, really?
I thought it would be better because I like Zac Efron.
Yeah.
De Niro was obviously great. I don't know. I thought there would have been more to it. I guess.
Yeah, I went on with probably the lowest expectations possible, and was like, wow.
I could see you like.
I was like, okay, this is actually not the worst thing ever. Like, what's the guy from The League? What's his name?
I
forget his
shit.
name.
Yeah, I forget his name.
But he's in the movie as Pam. Fucking kills me. Oh my lord.
Yeah.
I was shocked at how entertaining that movie was.
The girl from that was also in Why Him with Bryan Cranston.
Oh
James
my
Franco. You
god,
see
yeah.
that?
No, how was that?
I saw it on a plane for free, so it was okay.
Okay, that's
But
probably the best way to see that movie.
what the Bryan Cranston movie I really want to see though was Wakefield. Did you see?
Which one's that?
I think it just came out on demand. It had like a limited release in theaters.
Okay.
He's like a big time lawyer in New York City. And he's married to Jennifer Garner, has a family, like a good suburban life, like he's happy. But again, he's also not happy, and he feels like something's missing. So he moves into this like garage across the street from his house so he can like see in and see how his family's doing. And he stays there.
Wow.
So his wife files a missing persons report. Everyone comes over to the house and like talks about him, and
Oh, weird.
like we have to find him. And this goes on for a long time. I haven't seen the movie, but
Right.
in the trailer,
Yeah.
he like has a giant beard, like so much hair, because saying that he's been there for a long
Right,
time.
yeah.
She starts dating because she thinks he's dead.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I might like rent that tonight.
That sounds dope as fuck.
And I was like, why are you staying in there? your wife is across the street.
That's a very interesting premise.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because it's not like he hates his wife.
No,
he
just
loves his wife, but he
right.
just feels like my life is not what it should be right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just saw a trailer for the new fucking Tom Cruise movie, not The Mummy, called American Made, and he's like a really good pilot that gets hired by like Pablo Escobar, and he becomes a drug runner.
Wow. That sounds really good, actually.
I was shocked.
I'm a big Tom Cruise fan. I know many people aren't. They're like, oh, fuck Tom Cruise. No, fuck you. Tom Cruise is an American treasure.
I am like just weirded out by him.
He is a weird guy.
He's a weird dude.
He's definitely a weird guy.
And like the Scientology thing is kind of whack, but yeah, I was just like I was just more surprised that he would do a movie like this, because I always feel like Scientology like weirdly protects him, and like
yeah, it's a cult.
yeah, it's a cult, and like everything he does is like in the name of L. Ron Hubbard, and like it's like, so I was surprised he'd do like a drug movie and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is interesting, because like he's like not a good guy. But he's always playing like, he's always the Boy Scout character. He would be like the Superman if he wasn't 5'7". Like, he's
pretty short.
he's that kind of like person, and that's kind of what like the Scientology people do with him, and they build him up and all this. I was like, but the fact that he's doing this movie was like interesting, and it seemed pretty fucking rad. Where he's just like a really sick pilot, but like is hired to just like move drugs and shit, and like it looks interesting. I don't know when it's gonna come out, if it's gonna be like a limited thing.
He's had a solid string of movies. I know The Mummy's not doing well, but Edge of Tomorrow and then Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible, both really fun movies.
I hear all of the Mission Impossible movies are really good.
I've only seen Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation, so I'll have to go back and see 1 through 4. I think there's 6, or 6 coming out.
I think 6 is coming out. I feel like it's 4 and 5 just came out.
So Ghost Protocol and Rogue. I've seen those
4 and 5.
two, and I enjoyed both of them. I thought Rogue Nation was a lot better, and just like he had that stunt when he's on the side of the plane.
Oh,
For
right,
real.
yeah, right, yeah.
For real, Tom Cruise was on the side of a plane at whatever 1,000 feet or whatever.
That's pretty crazy.
So badass.
He does that shit all the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's fucking cool that he does that shit.
They did it for The Mummy too.
Did they? Yeah, makes sense.
I think there's like a plane crash, but he was like, all right, before the crash, let's do it for real at like 0 gravity.
Oh, right. I was just watching a thing on that. Yeah. He was like, they went to the 0G plane thing. And I was watching that same thing, and he like threw himself down a hill, and then the DP walked over to him and like, you're literally the only actor who will be able to find his frame mid-air 3 times in a fall.
Yeah.
Like, you're amazing at
Bad.
this. You're so good at doing your own fucking stunts. This is amazing.
Rumor has it he's topping them all for the next Mission Impossible.
What do you mean?
The director, they haven't said what it is, but they said this one stunt, Tom Cruise is just bringing his A game like he
Really?
never has before. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that dude has been like at the tallest building in the world.
Yeah. Like in Ghost Protocol. Yeah. He was on the side of the. Oh my! I could not do that. I would be like spazzing out.
Oh,
just
yeah,
like,
I
get
would-
me
I can't.
inside.
No, I can't. No, I fucking those drop fucking rides where that, like these, I can't. Like, and they always like sit you up there for like just too long, just a minute too long. You're like up at the top. You're like, when the fuck is it going to happen?
High places, people like go over to the edge and look down. Not me.
Oh my god.
Okay, I will, but no one can be around me. For some reason, I just think someone's gonna push me off.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but even like by myself, I'll look down. It's like, oh my god, something's gonna happen.
It's like I kind of like a picture from over the edge.
Yeah,
and like that straight down. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, I can't do it. It's too much. Like being in like a garter or whatever those fucking things are called.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be able to do that. You see those videos of people doing that shit, like fucking with the hoverboards on those things. Like you are fucking insane. Please stop. Oh man, yeah, I can't do that stuff. It's too like I don't freak out too much like watching other people do it, but like I could never do that. That's just oh my god, that's way too much. That's like you're asking to die. You're requesting death. It's fucking.
Are you a fan of the old monster movies? Because I know this new Tom Cruise mummy movie's supposed to like reboot that universe from like the 40s.
I like some of them. I mean, my favorite monster movie is Nosferatu, which is the first one from like the 20s.
Oh yeah, that's like the first. That wasn't even like connected. That was like the first one. Yeah.
So that's like the only one I really like incredibly a lot. Mostly because it's made in like the 20s and they do everything right when they had no reason to like have known how to do it right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that movie almost never ever came out because Bram Stoker's wife was like, we own vampires, fucking give me everything and destroy it. And the wife of the director of Nosferatu was like, fuck her, and collected a whole bunch of the tapes, and it's the only reason we had that movie.
Wow.
Because it was almost destroyed. And I like it a lot. I like the Creature of the Black Lagoon and stuff. Like I do like enough, that, yeah. But like I'm not like attached to any of these movies.
Like Frankenstein, Wolfman.
I don't really care that much. So I'm interested in like everything.
I would love to see them build a universe around it because I'm a pretty big fan. I hadn't seen them in a long time, but in my year off from school, I was home for Halloween for the first time in a long time, and I just watched like all of them. It's just like these are actually entertaining.
Yeah.
The cool thing is the set. Everything happens on this very small set. They don't. The budget must have been like really small, but it doesn't seem it. You know?
Right. Yeah.
There's a simplistic value to them that I think is missing with all like the CGI and.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I will say the one thing the Force Awakens did get right: real sets.
Yeah. That always just feels better because it's easier to not like if something looks like a CGI thing or like a big thing that a lot of like actors don't do, or I guess it's really a director's fault, is they don't like direct the actor where to look properly. Yeah. So like something's down there, but you're gonna look like at the top of its head instead of its eyes, so it looks weird. So like a lot of times that happens with CGI like creatures. That happens a lot in the prequels when people are like, talking to Yoda and stuff. They're not looking at Yoda's face. They're like looking at like his forehead or like above him or something like that, and it just looks weird because it's not lined up properly. And I'm sure that was like early 2000s. Yeah. That technology wasn't really figured out, but that happens a lot where it kind of takes away and makes everything feel like even if you're not paying attention to it, it looks great. It all of a sudden just feels fake.
Well, with the Ted movies, they actually had like a stuffed Ted just there.
That's cool.
And like I think they had Seth, because he directed them too. Yeah. So he must have been like off screen, like saying the lines.
That's
and like
awesome.
Mark Wahlberg would just talk to this bear.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's exactly how you need to do it. Because then if you get like if someone like something super funny, you get like a real reaction and shit. Those are great movies actually.
Teds?
The Teds are really surprisingly good.
I think the first one's better, but the second one's fun.
Yeah,
you'll have fun watching it.
I fucking love what's her name?
Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah,
yeah. She was Sam L. Jackson.
Oh God, yes, that's so funny. Oh my God.
And they see her, she's really, and she's like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with you being my lord. She starts smoking and like, all right, I'm very comfortable with you. Let's get started.
She just like starts smoking a bong in the middle of the office. Yeah, it's all. Oh my God. I forgot how good that movie was.
Yeah, they let Ted drive. Yeah, he goes into a bar.
That's the only part I ever think about with that movie is like him driving into the barn and then they're like hanging out smoking weed as a group.
I mean, that's a far drop. They land at like the top of the barn.
Yeah, that
like, well, you should not have let me throw. Yeah.
That barn had to have been like the bottom of a cliff for that to work out.
Yeah,
that's like, oh man, that was actually a really funny movie. I forgot how entertaining that was. Oh man, but yeah, I hope we get the Monster Universe to actually give it a shot.
I'm guessing a shit ton of people will still see The Mummy because like Tom Cruise is a god in like other parts of the world.
Oh yeah,
he's still as big as he was in like the 80s.
Yeah, I feel like this will kill overseas because like you're right, he's just such a big deal like in China and stuff. I would like to see some of the other ones like the Wolfman one. Fucking what's his name? The guy who was in No Country for Old Men. the Spanish
Javier
guy.
Bardem.
He's Frankenstein.
He's Frankenstein,
which
yeah.
is fucking awesome.
And Johnny Depp's Invisible Man, I think perfect casting.
That's a good, yeah. Why does everyone hate Johnny Depp right now?
The Amber Heard stuff, I think.
Oh, I thought that wasn't 100% confirmed.
I think that's like inconclusive because there's like drama on both sides.
Right.
Me, I don't try to like get a solid opinion in those situations. I just say, listen, we don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I can't be adamant. Oh, how dare he do that to Amber Heard? And I can't be adamant. Wow, Amber Heard's a bitch.
Right. Yeah.
You can't go in any direction because none of us were there.
No. Yeah. And I know like a couple people who like know him. They're like, he would never do that.
Yeah.
So it's like, and like looking at him, it's like, you think this guy's gonna hurt anyone? Like he looks like he's going to die at any moment. He's like practically anorexic. So I don't know. It feels.
And every relationship is different, so we can't say because he didn't hit one girl, he wouldn't.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You can't go in either direction.
It's weird. Yeah. I'm always surprised when I hear that people are like, with something especially like this, where it's like ambiguous. Everyone's just like, oh well, fuck him. It's like, all right, I like his stuff.
People jump off the deep end, and especially nowadays, like PC culture and stuff like that.
That's pretty crazy, the PC culture stuff.
It is. I know one girl who I won't mention kind of embodies that.
Really?
Yeah, it's just
I've never met anyone who's actually like that.
I see her Twitter, and I just think, wow, what a time to be alive. It's in like a sarcastic way, just that people think this way all the time.
Is she like that in person, or is it just her online personality?
I don't see her that much.
Oh, okay.
But just to be so offended all the time and not give anybody the benefit of the doubt, or just you're looking to be offended.
Right, yeah.
You're looking to find the wrong in what people say, and you shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't go into a conversation negative. You should look in to find a negative meaning in what someone's saying to you. Just calm down.
Right, yeah. No, because that's... Like, I used to just get, like, mad all the time about, like, movies and shit. Like, this shit's fucking horrible. But, like, lately I'm just like, well, if it's garbage, it's garbage. I'll just, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just move on. Like, I don't care that much. Like, a lot of times, like, in college and stuff, I really hated, like, Zack Snyder and all his work. Granted, it's all horrible. But, like, like, I feel really bad that, like, his daughter committed suicide and all this shit. It's like, well, this just really fucking sucks. Like, sure.
No one deserves that.
No one, like, nothing, like, he doesn't deserve this. I feel really bad for even, like, having, like, disliked his work, even though, it's separating art from the artist. Like, that's... it's so much.
I try to take a step back whenever I get like a negative opinion. I know it's not easy sometimes to. It is easy to just go off and be like, oh, fuck this, fuck that.
Right. Yeah.
But you just really need to be like, is this really important?
Right. Yeah. Especially
9 times out of 10, it's not.
No. Definitely. It's a complete waste of time to just be like, I'm gonna lose my mind right now. It's like. And it's almost more fun to be super excited about something and like super in love with something. It's like, this is the best feeling, as opposed to like being angry actually feels like garbage.
You don't need it in your life then. If you don't like a certain movie, TV show, or certain celebrities, just don't follow their news or social media feeds. And because
like it's so, and that's, like there's so much, like you can easily get like follow and see what's happening with anyone. But if you hate them, it's just as easy to not know they exist.
Yeah.
Like, the amount I do not know about the Kardashians is probably staggering, but I know zero about them because I just don't keep up at all.
I mean, in the NBA Finals game last night, Jeff Van Gundy, who's former coach, now a commentator, kind of went off on the fans saying, don't attack Khloe Kardashian because she's dating one of the players on the Cavaliers for going to these games and saying that she's the cause for his bad play. Shame on you.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't deserve any of that, and you should feel ashamed. And they really should. You shouldn't attack a woman for cheering on her significant other.
You shouldn't attack anyone
at his job.
Just because,
just praying that, he'll do a good job. She's there to root for him.
I don't even know, like, that, like, that's crazy.
I've never been a fan of any of that. Like, when Jessica Simpson dated Tony Romo in the, like, mid-2000s, and the Cowboys weren't doing too well, they'd be like, get Jessica Simpson out of there. It's like, it doesn't fucking matter. If he can't play because one person, a certain person is in the crowd, then, he shouldn't play.
He shouldn't play at all.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's not, and that's the thing, too. It's sports that's weird. It's like, that's their job. Like, they don't have other responsibilities.
Yeah.
So it's like, there should be, and, like, it's especially to the point where they're going to play so much that I feel like they're just going to go on almost like an autopilot, hit the zone where it's just like they're not paying attention to anyone else around them. Like, it's surprising that like one, like that's such a crazy idea that you'd even think that, where it's like one person out of the 10,000 people in the crowd is going to distract this guy from performing. Like, that's
all the shit that like away fans when they're not home say to them. And you think they can't handle a person like in a press box rooting for them?
Yeah.
You think that's the reason they're not playing well? I mean, it's just stupid.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's just like they don't care.
No.
Also, when you get them fat checks, you ain't looking at shit. You don't give a fuck.
Not at all.
Like, you don't care at all when you buy your third Lamborghini. Like, it's just... Yeah, but that's so nuts, though, that people... I mean, people get kind of crazy with, like, sports and just... Because I guess it's kind of like... Almost like war for us right now. Because, like, nothing really happens seriously. So it's like, oh, well, I'll just pick my side, and then I'm going to shout at the other side. Like, I went to a... My one roommate in college is a Bengals fan.
Yeah.
And we went to a sports bar, and we were just, watching one of the playoff games or whatever, and he was just like, oh, here, just wear this jersey, and I was just wearing a jersey, and there was a guy sitting next to me who, like, started shouting at me and, like, shaking me, and, like, what the fuck is happening? And I realized because I was wearing the jersey, he was the other opposing team, and it was just like, oh, so now I'm the enemy, but I don't know shit about what's going on the screen, but, like, I guess just because I wore these colors, therefore, I need to be, like, harassed. It was very interesting because, like, I'm just so not in that world, but I guess that must happen all the time.
I mean, I'm very invested in sports. Like, I have a team for each sport, and they're the only team I've ever had.
That's cool.
I'll only insult you if, like, I'm your friend and you're rooting for the other team. That's when you can, like, take it really serious and, like, have fun with that aspect and, like, shit on each other.
Right.
But if I go to a bar wearing a Dolphins jersey and I see, like, a Patriots fan, I'm not going to go off on them.
Oh, right, yeah.
There's no reason.
It's insane. And, like, that's why I thought it was so weird that, like, I don't know this guy. He's, like, a stranger in a bar. He's going to...
Yeah.
Going to rough me up.
Because you like another team in a child's game.
Yeah. A child's game. Yeah, it's such a foreign world to me that it's just like... But I guess it kind of makes sense. Like, everyone kind of... I mean, people pick sides in literally everything. But,
you are a part of the team. I know some people, like, go off on fans saying you're not a part of this, stop saying we did this or we did that, but without the fans the leagues don't make any money. Without the fans they have nothing,
right?
So I feel in the NBA, the fans are the sixth man. In the NFL they're the 12th man, and the fans are an intrinsic part of every sports organization, and if you don't recognize that, then you're just naive. You don't get it.
No, that makes sense, because like, you wouldn't have the sport unless people gave a shit and showed up. Like, fucking, there's a reason cricket is not big over here. Yeah, people don't care. So, like, that makes sense that, like, if you you're paying for a bunch of shit, you're watching the game, you're going to it or whatever. That would be kind of fun though, going like an NFL game, like live.
Oh yeah,
I've never been, but I bet that would be pretty intense.
I've been to a preseason game, but I'm sure it's nothing like the like the thick of it in the regular season.
Yeah, because I just can't even imagine what it's like to see that many human beings in an area. Like, that's just gotta be crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Just to watch fucking, 24 grown men run into each other?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's just... Like, I guess it's kind of like the wrestling thing, where it's like a bunch of people in an area. But I feel like those stadiums are so much smaller than a sports arena.
Well, the football stadiums are the biggest by far. Okay. That's why... for whatever how many years they've had WrestleMania in a football stadium. Because arenas fit 25,000 people.
I think that might be what it is.
And these football arenas can fit 70,000 plus.
Holy shit.
And the WrestleMania mostly fills. So I know some of the upper areas aren't always full, but they'll just turn the camera and say that they are.
Right, yeah, of course.
I don't know why they lie about the numbers. Have you heard about that?
No, do they really?
Yeah, in wrestling, they always say that they break the attendance record and they throw out a number. But I guess it's never true. It's like a storyline number.
Really?
Like, they talk about Hogan and Andre, WrestleMania, whatever, getting, 90,000 or whatever, and it was actually, 80,000 something. It's like,
really?
What's the fucking point?
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was just, another bullshit
thing. I know they have, fed in, cheering.
Oh, yeah.
Like, something went wrong, so everyone was, saying, fuck you or something into the crowd, and so they just... edited in crowd noises so that you couldn't hear it.
Oh, they do that well, they used to do it when SmackDown wasn't live. They did it all the time. If they wanted a guy to be a popular babyface, they throw in cheers during his matches. But nowadays, it's just kind of to drown out the boos for Roman Reigns. It's pretty funny because have you heard of Botchamania on YouTube?
I have heard of it.
It's a compilation of botches and mess ups. Okay. And the Botchamania guy always points out when they're dubbing over the boos.
Oh, okay.
Because he'll be all right, notice here how how the sound changes a little bit. That's because they're trying to just make Roman Reigns seem like the dominant good guy that they want him to be. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I guess they put, I don't know, I guess it goes back to the idea of just why are you putting literally everything into one character? But yeah, that's, I gotta say, the fucking behind the scenes, the production side of wrestling is the best part of that.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cool. Like the fact that they do that, like, and some of it's kind of
trucks
live.
and trucks of equipment.
Yeah.
So much goes into like the TV tapings. Well,
Yeah.
and the live shows too, but like the TV, it's unheard of how much like the production value of what they do.
Would you want to work for them if you wanted to get in like film and stuff, or would that be kind of a weird thing?
I think Jim Cornette. Do you know who Jim Cornette is? He was like into wrestling in like the 80s and 90s, like a manager, whatever. He said the only people that get into the wrestling business are crazy, and if you're not crazy, you will be crazy by the time you leave it.
Wow. Okay.
I just feel like there's a lot of bullshit in the wrestling business.
Okay.
Not trying to be like a typical internet fan, like
Right,
fuck the system, but I just feel it wouldn't be the healthiest environment, if you know what I mean.
Would it be? Is that just for the WWE or just wrestling in general?
I think if I would ever work in wrestling, it'd be the WWE.
Okay.
Just like whether it would be PR or
Right. Okay.
maybe the writing team, but those jobs are so expendable.
Right. And they clearly don't give a shit. So,
No.
where would you, if you went to like pursue writing for like a television or a film thing,
Yeah.
what would you want to like goal? What would be your ultimate goal in getting into?
For writing,
Yeah.
I'd say probably. That's such a hard. Okay, writing a movie and like being brought on through the production.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of screenwriters out there, and they sell their scripts and they don't hear anything, and then the movie comes out and 50% of it has been changed.
Right.
They still get credit, get paid for it, but it's not like their vision exactly.
That's what happened with Max Landis with the I Frankenstein movie.
Oh yeah, like it was. I heard it was one of like the best scripts in recent years.
Oh really?
So many people loved it. Daniel Radcliffe said it was the greatest script he'd ever seen. But then after the movie comes out and it's getting negative reactions, he says the script was a little too Max Landis.
Wait, is it what Daniel Radcliffe said?
He said, yeah, it was a little too Max Landis. So it's like you changed like so much of it. The cool thing about Max Landis is he releases all his scripts.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He says, read my version, and he posts a link.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm not a huge Daniel Radcliffe fan. I
actually saw him. I saw him in a show in London.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I saw him perform some Shakespeare thing.
Okay.
It's actually really good.
I just dislike the fucking. Did Mrs. Hartnett ever show you My Boy Jack?
No, what is that?
It's fucking atrocious.
Daniel Radcliffe's in it?
Yeah, it's
Is he a kid?
No, he's a little bit older. It's the guy who wrote The Jungle Book, Kipling.
Yeah.
Roger Kipling.
Yeah.
It's him trying to get his son, who's Daniel Radcliffe, into World War I, but the fucking antagonist of the movie is the fact that his son wears glasses and he can't get into the army, and then that's the movie.
That sounds like a really bad movie.
It's like fucking Daniel Radcliffe wears glasses, so he can't bring honor to his household, so he can't fucking join the fucking military. So it spends the first like act trying to figure out a way to beat the system, so then he joins the army, and the second act is him preparing to be in the army, but his glasses are getting in the way, like it's raining, he's got to clear his glasses. And then the third act is, or I guess the second act ends and Daniel Radcliffe dies. And then the third act's like, oh, shucks, I killed my kid. And then the movie ends.
Wow.
It's fucking horrible.
Sounds horrible.
It was one of the worst movies. I looked it up. It's like an hour and a half. But when we watched it in school, I could have sworn it was 4 hours long.
Well, yeah, that takes a few classes to get through. And if it's really boring, yeah.
It was so long. It just felt like it never ended. Just like literally scenes on scenes of like, so how can we have him not wear glasses? But it's fucking, 1910. So that's not possible. It was just like the dumbest, like, oh, what if we had it so he can clip his glasses onto his nose? Let's try to develop that. Like, these are scenes in the movie.
Wow.
So bad. Oh my God, it was so boring. I was like, just like, I can't believe, and I looked it up, like, I cannot believe this movie's an hour and a half. Like, this is endless. Oh my God. It's, no one's ever heard of it, because it's just like this dumb little thing. Oh man. But I'm actually thinking about, because I've been like, I've been finding that I really enjoy video editing. And I've been doing like commercials, like promos for like Smash events. Yeah. Because like Malcolm's like, hey, these people need one. I'm like, sure. So I just finished one yesterday. And I think I might do like some kind of YouTube thing, just because like, well,
that's awesome.
This is fun. I might as well just do this, and I can just bitch about fucking My Boy Jack for 2 hours.
You could get like how Joe Rogan has the video companion to his podcast.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that too. Now that actual people that are not, because like I've been using Mike and Ben just mostly test shit, because I'm like, well, I bought this, I don't know how to make this work, so I was like, but I might do that too, just because like I really do enjoy just like fucking video editing is like really fun. It kind of comes to me mildly naturally.
Do what you enjoy, man. That's what
I've been kind of finding. Yeah. It's like we were saying in the car, where it's like these little cliche things like are 100% true. Like when people say like, oh, just do what you love.
You will be
like,
miserable if you don't.
Yeah. Or like fucking just do it. Like when people just say that, you're like, that's crazy. But like this all came together because I was like, well, these chuckle fucks can fucking make a podcast. Yeah. Like I can.
There's a lot of podcasts out there.
There's a lot of them.
Well, a lot of morons too. Yeah. You can definitely do it.
Yeah, like one of them I listen to. I'm like, this guy's a fucking idiot, but I listen to it every 2 weeks or whatever, whenever he puts them out. I can figure this out. Like it's not gonna be that hard. Like he like all of them are like, oh, I can literally put it in 0F or whatever. I mean, there's the efforts on the beginning part, like the setting it up, coming with the name, making the logo, finding the equipment, doing all that shit. But once you get all that rolling, it's literally like, you take something, you put it somewhere, it's super easy. But yeah, it's crazy how like everyone when you were a kid telling you the same shit over and over again, you're like, that's stupid.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah.
Is 100% true. As long as you're just like that's the one thing I've been shocked about, where it's like as long as you just do it, it happens.
Well, if you don't, it'll eat away at you. Yeah. That's why I know at some point I'll have to pursue acting, just because I think about acting all the time. It's kind of like a curse.
Oh, you should definitely do it then.
I've been thinking about this since like 2nd or 3rd grade, but in 2nd or 3rd grade I was really shy. I was pretty shy probably till like junior year of high school, and I could never imagine myself like performing in front of people. But for some reason I just always felt I was an actor. Watching a TV show, a movie, I just felt like, not for fame or anything, I just felt like that's what I'm supposed to do. And I didn't know why. It was really weird. It was just like this weird calling from the universe or something. I don't know.
That's cool though. You should definitely do it. I don't know anything about acting or how to start it.
I'm going to look at probably drama school after college. Okay. And if I can, I'll probably just apply to like really good ones, because I feel like it would just be a lot of money if I go to like a bad one or like a lower tier one.
Yeah, see, that's the one thing too, as I've always heard. I mean, because I tried, like, I've done animating and stuff and like that, and like, you look into it, it's like, should I go to school for this? And everyone who has, they're like, no, just you can teach yourself. Yeah, and it's shocking how much you can teach yourself online. Oh yeah, like I've done 2 of these Smash promos for different people, and both times I go in knowing practically zero. I'm like, I have a vision. And then I just look up stuff. And sometimes it takes me, like, I had to find a song yesterday. It took me 2 hours before I found it. And then I still had to like crop it and chop it up and try to like fuse it together so it didn't sound like it was a cut. It's just like, as long as you just like think like, I can do this. Like, you just look it up.
But because nothing's guaranteed. No. You can go to whatever film school or whatever and you can get nothing.
Right, yeah, you can get nothing. It's great, yeah. And like I kind of feel like that way with when I went to school. It's like, the classes that I took the most out of were like, the fucking video making one, the filming one I did, that kind of stuff. But it's like all the psych stuff, that stuff's kind of like, I remember some of the big names, some of the big concepts, but like the real nitty gritty stuff of that, I couldn't really tell you. Like, I don't feel like I was any more prepared. Like, I kind of felt like I read a encyclopedia or a psychology Wikipedia page where it's like, all right, I know like big ideas and like, maybe some smaller studies, but like realistically, I don't feel like
I didn't retain that much.
Yeah, and I just don't. Even graduating, I don't even feel like I had the right to be like, oh, I can be a therapist to you. Like, I don't have that qualification. Even though it's probably, it's definitely a different thing that requires more studying and stuff. I just don't feel like I had any kind of qualification to like have earned the degree or whatever. Because it just felt kind of like in a weird spot. So college is definitely weird, and it's just like, it's surprising how much you can teach yourself, but it does 100% require you to just be like, I'm just gonna figure this out. That's the other thing too I noticed too is because when I made the first one, I'd be like, oh hey, can you just get me this clip or whatever, and they would just be like, I don't know how to do that, and I would just literally Google it and then send them the Google. It's just do this, and it's like, oh, if at any point you're thinking to yourself, I don't know how to do this, and then don't immediately figure out how to do it, and you probably don't want to actually do it. No. Like, you should probably just go find something else to do.
Yeah, you're just looking for a way out.
Right. You're just like, you just choose to be defeated. Because, like, it's super simple stuff where it's just like, sometimes it takes 2 hours. You don't know what it's called. You just know what you kind of want. So you're like, all right, well, I kind of want to figure out how to do this. And you're just Googling around, doing whatever. But, like, yeah, it's pretty crazy how much we have at our hands right now. Like, what we can learn to do, what we can figure out how to do and stuff. But I definitely think, if acting is something you want to do, you should probably just, even if you do something as small as like just learn how to do a YouTube video or whatever, just figure, do as much you can for free before you go and pursue.
Oh yeah, definitely. No,
because like, I know Mike and Ben do it all the time. I don't know what they do locally, but there's probably places you can look at and try stuff out.
back in sophomore year, I did something through a theater in Boston.
Oh, cool.
And it ended in like a talent showcase or whatever, and I performed.
Nice.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I did. You know the scene when? Have you seen The Social Network?
Yeah.
And when Eduardo finds out that he's basically been fucked over, then he says, "This will be like I'm not a part of Facebook." That whole speech, I did that.
Oh, nice.
And then I did a speech from a random play, so I had 2 scenes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was really cool. Yeah, I don't know if I want it as a career, but definitely, in a way, just pursue it. Because I know that I would enjoy, like, PR or community relations or whatever, whether it be, like, from Marvel, DC. I mean, the dream would be Pixar. I've applied to a Pixar internship every year for, like, the past 4 years. Didn't get it, but that would be, like, the dream place to work. Because, you know, it's hard to describe Pixar movies. Just that feeling when the lamp comes out and, like, you know, stomps the eye. It's just... It's not necessarily nostalgia. It's just, I don't know. Like, I just kind of that Pixar feeling. I guess.
I get what you're saying. They're a tough place to get into.
One of the toughest.
That's one of the big advantages of being in a school is a lot of places will not accept an internship unless you're a part of a school.
Yeah, that's
like you
true.
can't just be like, oh hey, can I try this? They're like, no.
Who are you?
Yeah. Like so you kind of that's a nice so that is something if you were going to do certain stuff like that, definitely picking certain schools will help you get into certain places. Because I kind of wish I pursued that a bit more, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So
yeah, I think I would have one more shot because I think they take recent graduates too. So next summer I think would be my last time.
I know that's what they do at Disney. You can go do your 4 years and then work a semester at Disney right after college. Yeah. So that would be probably good too if you can keep that going. Try for something like one extra semester a year. I don't know. Probably changes depending on what place you're at. But that would be pretty cool working at Pixar. I hear they seem like a swell group.
Oh, I followed their recruiting on Twitter, and nice. Just the campus looks so freaking cool. They have like the giant Pixar ball and giant statues of the characters.
Are they? Is that office in LA?
It's
I know they have in Canada.
It's in Northern California. It's in Emeryville, right outside San Francisco.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know I forget what city. They have something in LA or Canada. I want to say it's like Toronto area. Or something.
They could have like an office, yeah. But like the main hub is NorCal.
Yeah, a lot of production stuff happens in Canada because it's cheap as fuck.
Oh, Vancouver. Vancouver is filming so much shit nowadays.
Vancouver films a bunch of stuff. Like, there's a bunch of video game companies in Montreal because it's just cheap.
All the DC CW shows are filmed in Vancouver.
Oh, right, yeah. Have you ever seen that video on YouTube where it's Vancouver never plays itself?
No, what is that?
It's like it's a guy. It's kind of like a video essay where he's talking about like here's literally all this shit filmed in Vancouver, and none of these movies or TV shows take place in Vancouver.
Yeah,
they always make Vancouver as L.A., Chicago, New York, because it just looks like a bunch of different shit. And then with CGI you can change and add landmarks and shit, but it never is Vancouver being Vancouver.
They filmed the first Avengers in Cleveland. That was supposed to be New York City. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Cleveland. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy because nothing is filmed over there.
No.
I wonder why they picked that.
I don't know.
That's probably a cheap thing, too.
Yeah.
I know a lot of stuff was filmed in Texas because they got a bunch of tax cuts.
Atlanta's become a hub.
Yeah, Atlanta's huge. That's where Cartoon Network is.
Yep.
And I think AMC is also down there.
I think half of the Marvel movies, if they're not being filmed in London, they're being filmed in Atlanta.
Yeah, they call it the Hollywood of the South now.
Yeah.
It's like actually huge now. Because, you get a bunch of like
growing
free shit.
Massively.
Yeah, because I know Texas lost that tax cut. And so like... what's his name? The guy who does Lucha Underground. What's his name? The guy who did Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Same guy. Rodriguez or whatever.
Robert?
I think. Is that?
He's the guy that did Spy Kids, right?
That guy, yeah. He was out of Texas. They cut that thing, and he's like, I think he's in New Mexico now.
Okay.
Because they were just like, well, this is fucking not going to work. So, like, it's a lot of... But, yeah, I actually considered moving to Atlanta just because, like, I feel like that being a new bubble...
you definitely need to be there. Whether it's New York, LA, or Atlanta, because that's how you get a job. You just somehow you meet someone, they say, "Oh, I could use some help," and whatever. Especially in like tech, they always need more people.
Yeah, I'm shocked how much people are just like, "Oh, hey, you know how to do this?" I'm like, "Kinda."
Yeah, if you know how to work and like do whatever you need to do, then that's perfect.
Yeah, I kind of just like right now for like editing and this and stuff, the podcast stuff. Just kind of like, oh, hey, I kind of do this. And surprisingly, people just kind of go like, oh, hey, I kind of need that to happen. And so it kind of can happen. So it's kind of cool. Kind of building a small resume.
I mean, because there's not an unlimited amount of like people like set supervisors or whatever, tech
Mm-hmm.
people, like the same people are getting the same jobs. If you can just get in,
Right, you're good.
and then you can just work movie to movie forever.
Right, because I know what they do too is when a project ends, they'll like hand a spreadsheet of like, here's everyone that worked on this and what they did.
Yeah.
And then companies will look at it and be like, all right, we need one of these. So
Yeah.
they'll just grab
we
it off
need,
that.
we need these jobs done like next week. Yeah.
So all right, well, here's a sheet of people who are not working right now. We'll take these people, and then you just keep getting work, which is kind of cool. But I heard recently in an interview with Adam Sessler, who was on G4. Did you ever watch that as a kid? X-Play, the video game review show.
Maybe like once or twice. It sounds a little familiar.
Yeah, he's like an old famous like video game like journalist guy.
Yeah.
He was just talking about how he, if you are what do you call it? A predator, a producer, editor, you're like fucking gold. Like fucking everyone's looking for that. Like in this, and like the journalism, the online industry thing, because everything's video now. Everything is like got these extra different aspects to it. So it's not just like if you're a journalist in today, you're not just writing articles. You got to help make a video.
You got to do a lot of shit.
Yeah, do all
multimedia.
Yeah, this whole multimedia thing. So he's like, if you can learn how to be a producer, editor, a predator, is like they call it in the industry. It's like you're fucking golden. People are looking for that. I don't know what a producer actually does, but like, seems
a lot of talking. I mean, have you seen Entourage?
No, I hear it's wonderful.
Entourage paints like a great picture behind the scenes of Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
Like the whole aspects of like getting an agent and like producing and stuff like that.
It's the Marky Mark story, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's like based off Mark and his
entourage.
His entourage. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I hear it's really fun to watch. I feel like it's not like
it's a pretty easy watch.
Yeah, I hear it's
like
an easy
7
watch.
seasons.
You can just kind of like
by fast.
Yeah, you kind of just put it on and like hang out with the guys. I hear the movie was pretty fun too.
The movie, I wish a little more happened. It just kind of felt like a long episode.
Okay.
But the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty funny.
Is it just like, is it like a continuation of the story?
It is. It continues right after the show, actually.
Oh, okay.
So, like, even though it had been 4 years, it had really only been like a month in like the timeline of the show. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so that's like that's kind of rare. Usually it's like we're gonna do something. I mean, mostly because things are being rebooted 20 years later, so we have to come up with a reason. Like Blade Runner, it looks dope.
Yes, it does.
I'm super excited for that movie. I just like Ryan Gosling. I think he's a swell dude.
What'd you think of La La Land?
It was okay. I feel like everyone kind of blew it out of the water.
Yes, thank you. I was not a big fan.
I'm like, it's a musical. Like I don't understand.
It was a musical, and the songs weren't good.
It was pretty much one song played differently like 8 times.
Yeah.
And like it's not a bad song, but like I don't really care that much.
Like the John Legend song, I could see myself listening to one day, but everything else was just a lot of ugh. The first song was terrible.
Oh, it was awful.
In the cars.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I was in Scotland. I had nothing to do, and I was watching La La Land in the theater, and I thought about leaving.
Wow.
I was like, this song is really bad. I made a mistake.
And it's especially because it's right after like the minute 1 that happens.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this going to be the rest of the movie? Because I might leave.
Yeah.
I totally agree. If I wasn't with someone, I would have left. Because I was like, this is stupid. And I've never walked out of a movie before.
No, neither have I.
I came really close to walking out of Don't Breathe. Did you ever hear about that? The horror movie?
Like last year? Or?
Yeah, it was like late, like December last year.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was early this year. It was about 3 kids in Detroit want to make big. In
Blind Guy?
The Blind Guy. He's a blind war
that's
veteran.
a sequel, I think.
That movie's awful. That movie is so bad. I was shocked. I went in, all the people who saw it earlier were like, this is a great horror movie. This is so awesome. I'm like, all right, I trust all of you. I'll give this a shot. It was so bad. Like, granted, I saw part of it could have been the fact that I saw it with people who thought a movie was also a roller coaster, so they just cheered and shouted and started. So a guy literally stood up and was like, "Can you guys shut the fuck up?" And then everyone else in the room, without speaking, decided, "Fuck that guy. We're going to shout louder now." So people everywhere started cheering and like,
what the fuck?
It was awful. It was so bad. But the movie's not good. It's just like, and the problem with it. It's supposed to be a horror movie or a thriller or whatever.
Suspense, thriller.
But like, it's just a guy. But he fucking...
He's just a blind guy.
He's just a blind guy. But shit happens where like, are you supposed to be Mike Myers? Because you should be dead right now. Or like, there's no way you got out of that locked room. How the fuck? Like, at one point they lock he's just him and his dog. And like, they trap the dog in a room. They board the door up or whatever. They lock... There's no fucking way that dog's getting out. And then they're about to leave the front door and they turn around because, of course they do. and the dog's sitting in the hallway. It's like, how in the fuck? When did this dog get superpowers and break out of the fucking door? How did that happen? And like the guy like falls down, and you're like, okay, he's dead. And then, oh, he's actually right here. It's like, what? He's a like 70-year-old war veteran. He's like can't see. He's like practically dead, and he's just going to stand up. It is so dumb. One cool thing is in that movie where they're in the basement and they shut the lights out, and so like they shoot it kind of cool where it's like everyone's blind.
Yeah.
But like it's so dumb. And I literally almost got up, and then they find something in the basement. And I'm like, okay, where's this going? It was like a woman strapped up, and it was like, okay, it's weird. And it was like she hit his daughter, and he kidnapped her, and it was like, you're going to get me a new daughter, and took fucking he has like his cum like in a fucking cabinet, and he takes a turkey baster and puts it in there, and it's a fucking stupid movie.
Jesus.
And they trap him, and they fucking chain him up, and then they took the turkey baster and put it in his mouth, and everyone goes, yay! I'm like, this is the dumbest fucking movie. I'm so angry I'm still here. Why am I still here? But I didn't walk out, and I saw the whole thing. Another thing, too, is the movie starts with one of the end scenes where he's dragging the main girl by her head down the street. And like, well, obviously that's going to happen, so she's not going to make it out perfectly okay, so I'll just sit here waiting for that moment to happen. And so there's like all the suspense is kind of lost because it's going to happen. It's a very dumb movie, but everyone loved it. And I'm like, I can't believe this is getting a sequel. Like, this is not worth our time, people.
I haven't seen many bad movies in theaters, but Age of Extinction, I saw at the drive-ins. The first Mark Wahlberg Transformer movie.
I think I saw that like in the background at a party. Someone just left it on.
It was the second movie the first one I think was like the Planet of the Apes with Gary Oldman. The second one, which was okay.
Okay.
But that was so bad. And you mentioned how that one movie felt like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
This movie felt like 6 hours long.
Really?
Well, it was actually like 3.
Oh my God.
And it was just awful.
That's excessive.
Because
that's way too long.
It was just like how far they had fallen. Yeah, the second one's named Revenge of the Fallen, but whatever. Like the first one was Shia. Good movie. Second one was Shia. Okay. Yeah. You can watch it and like you can have a good time.
Yeah.
Third one, really bad. Shia leaves after that movie. Fourth one, so shitty. And yet, for some reason, the rest of the world is like, this is awesome. Let's go see it. And it makes like $1 billion.
They're making 13 more of those.
What?
They have 13 more scripts for Transformers movies.
Stop it.
13.
Is that a joke?
That is a real number. They're making a Bumblebee movie where it's like just his standalone movie. I don't know when it takes place because I
heard about a prequel on Cybertron. That's the name of their planet, right?
Yeah.
I think I've heard about that.
Fuck. That is a rad idea.
That could actually be good.
That would be a cool fucking... I would see that. Does Bumblebee actually talk? I have only seen the first one, and he doesn't really ever talk.
He gets like the voice box thing and talks through like...
the radio.
Radio, yeah.
Forever?
You know what? At this point, it's all kind of a blur. Because 3 and 4 were so bad.
I have no memory if he actually talks. Yeah. So when they're like, "Oh, Bumblebee movie," I'm like, "That sounds awful."
I think he wasn't in one of them. I don't even fucking know at this point. Because I see all the trailers for this 5th one, and Mark Wahlberg's like, "I trusted Optimus Prime." He's like, he's one of the good ones. Is like, how could you do this? And like Optimus is like, oh, I'm sorry, and like takes out that sword, and he's like, no, and he's like trying to help Bumblebee, and I'm just like, this looks like the worst fucking movie
I can't believe it's
ever. And they have a random little girl saying, "I'm here to fight." I was like, what? Did you see Logan? You're like, let's get a little girl in our trailer.
Little girls are hot right now.
Yeah. Out of context, that could sound really.
Oh, good Lord.
But yeah, that movie looks like I thought 4 was the biggest piece of shit. This looks like it's even bigger.
I'm just shocked there's another one, and another one after this, and then potentially 13 more. I don't even know. How many stories can you tell in this universe? I don't understand.
Maybe they'll have 2 and 3 with Mark Wahlberg. They'll recycle and get another actor, and they'll just keep doing that.
Just keep doing it over and over again. Just what male actor's the new hotness? Yeah. What can we put in here?
And they'll just, I think at the end of 4, Megatron's mind got inside a new body. And they just, now they just won't, because it was a mistake to kill him in the first one.
Right.
That's the biggest villain. So they just won't kill off this new Megatron, and he'll just fight Optimus Prime forever.
This is...
So, oh, God.
I know they kill off a bunch in the original cartoon, but really all they do is just, like... the same role is filled. They just change it with a new guy with a new name and a new coat of paint. But like, it's not. I forget what do you call it? Ratatron? No, I forget what his name is. The guy who replaces Optimus. He's like Rodimus Prime. That's it. I think it's a hot rod.
I don't know.
I think it's a hot rod, I think. But like it's something stupid. But they're like, hey, new toys. But I don't even think like the problem with these Transformers is they're so hideous. I couldn't imagine a child wanting a toy of these things.
It's just so much explosion, and the story takes a back seat to the action, which should never happen.
No. I definitely see that. And like design-wise, like they have like their core pieces of metal, but then underneath it's like a million gears just like churning at once.
Yeah.
So everything just looks like an endless like I don't know, it's probably like 300 frames of animation just have an idle animation. Like that's just insane. Like they're just moving constantly, even though they're just standing there talking to each other.
Like the first one was simple. Sam's grandfather's glasses had the directions to the cube, which had all their power, and then Megatron came back alive and they fought. And I was like, it was fine. And then, but they kill Megatron, and then they just
he never comes back from the first one.
No, they make Starscream like the main villain.
Oh,
and then I think the Fallen's the main villain in Revenge of the Fallen.
Oh, that's a person.
Yeah, that's like an old, like, I think he's like a really old, like, not I don't think he's Autobot or Decepticon. He's just like really old from Cybertron.
Oh, okay.
And then I think the third one's Optimus's like family. I don't even fucking know. It was like another Prime that they thought was good, and then he was bad.
Okay.
And then the fourth one is the new Autobots that they created with Transformium.
Of course.
The new element or whatever the fuck.
Wait, why would they even add that? Because the cube brings things to life and turns them to...
But no, they made new Megatron with Transformium out of Megatron parts, but then he just became Megatron.
I am shocked it took them 4 movies to bring Megatron back, because at the end of the first one, they make it seem like he's immediately going to come back. So like, oh, we're going to drop him in the trench.
Yeah.
But like, he's a robot from space. I think I don't think he's going to be defeated by a hole.
He didn't even fight he like ran away in the fourth one. From what I remember, I mean, I kind of block it out, but I believe they realized that they created Megatron and that he was just gone. So now he's like on the loose.
For the 5th one here?
But it looks like Optimus is the villain in the 5th one from the trailers.
Yeah, I feel like
and like, what the fuck does the last knight mean? None of you are knights. You're from a planet with no knights. You're fucking robots from space.
I mean, he has a sword. I guess that counts.
He does have a sword.
He has a sword now, so therefore he's a knight. I don't even understand. Is that a point? Does it like make sense to him have a sword?
I don't even know, because they showed the dinosaurs in the trailer for the 4th one. Like, that was their campaign for the 4th one.
Right, yeah.
And they're in like the last 10 minutes.
Oh.
That was what like my dad and my brother and me talked about. It's like, all right, shittiest movie ever, but the dinosaurs were at least an exciting part, like the build-up in the trailers. And they don't even have them in there for like 90% of the movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. I've only seen, like I only said the first one, and I'm pleased that I have, like, not. That just seems like it's just a nightmare. To even just be a mild, like, I have a shred of hope that they're not going to just, like, stab you in the eye with these stupid movies. Yeah. Like, that's crazy. How did this... It can only be doing well in China, right? Like, there's no way this does well anywhere else.
Because nothing's memorable.
Yeah.
Thinking back to, like, these other movies, the first one, I remember, like, all the plot, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, the Australian, Anthony Anderson.
Oh,
like,
right.
I remember, pretty much everything. Like, the Hoover Dam and everything. Mm-hmm. Second one, I remember he was at college, because it, like, wasn't that good. But it was okay.
Oh, that's the one where his parents eat brownies or something?
They're on, like, a tour bus, and, like, Optimus dies, and Sam brings him back with, like, the cube or something. And, like, they're, like... It's something like that. And then the third one, I remember Josh Duhamel is, like, the white guy soldier.
Okay.
They were, like, flying through with, like, cool flying suits. I don't remember anything about the plot, about, like, what the Autobots or Decepticons were doing.
That's the Fallen one? Or that's the second one?
That's the second one, Revenge of the Fallen.
What's the third one's
Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, my God, that's right.
Mr. Stevens from Even Stevens is in it. I was like, oh, a little reunion. Because Shia was also in the movie.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that was the title of that movie. Wow, they're really bad at this.
They're really bad. They're
so forgettable. And how does this...
I don't even know if what I'm saying is right, considering they're so forgettable, but I believe yeah.
I know Age of Distinction is the fourth one, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. I think. And I remember watching that one, and they were in a building or something. It was like a big metallic building.
Her boyfriend had like a fake accent.
Oh, that's right.
I think he was like from Ireland, and his accent kept fading out. I was like,
hilarious.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
But of course they're not going to reshoot it, because we got 13 more of these to do. That's amazing.
Every second costs like $200,000 with all our effects, so we just got to keep going.
What a fucking horrible... Oh, my God. That how I. And they can't be cheap. They cannot be cheap.
No, they're very expensive movies.
And they just keep happening.
Yeah, that's Chris Pratt on the set of Guardians was doing like pew pew with like his laser gun. He's like, Chris, that just cost us like whatever. It's like, all right, you can't do that anymore.
Oh yeah,
actually, those
actually,
movies are so expensive.
That's who. Do you know what they do domestically? Because everyone seems to shit on them over here.
I think they do okay, but like
I guess
globally, they're just like. It's like the Fast and the Furious, except the Fast and Furious made a lot here.
Right.
For some reason, Paul Walker died. I mean, that's terrible. But everyone's like, oh my God, we have to go see these movies.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen any of them. I know most of my friends haven't seen any of them.
I know.
What about you?
So I have a bunch of friends who are big fans of them. And I've only seen the 7th one. And when I went to see the 7th one, I saw it with some friends who are very familiar with it. And they were like, I'm like, well, should I have seen the other one? They're like, no, we'll just explain the plot to you in the car ride there. And they did. And I was fucking, like, things happened, and I knew who these characters were. And it was a lot of fun.
Was it good?
Yeah. It's not, like, amazing. It's definitely like a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
And what it really seems like is they sit down in the writing room, and they're like, okay, so we have this car for this scene. What can we do with it? And they just write scene to scene. So there was like, okay, we have this car in this house in Dubai. We're gonna drive this car through the buildings, just like down. I
remember seeing that, like through the skyscraper. Yeah.
And then like the next scene after that, they're like in some building and they're fighting down a staircase, and it's just like this cool fight scene. So it's like they just like wrote different action scenes and like, all right, let's stitch this together.
The Rock falls out of a building and lives, doesn't he? In the 7th one,
he was in the hospital for the most of it. So maybe that was
I heard something about that, like he had like a big injury or something.
But then he just life?
No, but he just comes back fine, like starts kicking ass again.
Because in the 7th one, he's 100% in the hospital, like most of it.
Oh, okay.
I think
because he gets in like a fight with Jason Statham and
something like that. Jason Statham apparently is the big bad or something. Because they're both in the newest one. They're both in prison together, and The Rock's not wearing sleeves. And then they're like, we're friends now, or something. I don't know. I can't really keep up with what's going on in these trailers.
Nice bod, Rock.
He is a tank. Oh my God.
45 years old, and he's a monster.
That dude has the shoulders.
Hardest worker in the room.
Oh my God. He's insane. Like when he did Moana, he like was so concerned that he was not going to do a good job.
He cried at D23 is like a conference where they show like upcoming Disney movies, and he talked about like his culture and how much it meant to him to be in Moana, and he just broke down.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love him.
I love him too.
Because he was like, I remember hearing about him, like all these voice actors, like he is so dedicated to this. He's like asking us tips. He's like he's sending us takes. Like, did I do this right? Am I okay? Like he's so concerned with a role that like most people would just fucking show up and leave.
Yeah,
and like. No one would give a shit.
And he promotes so much of all his movies, too. He is so invested. I mean, he's become a producer now, but even before that, he really cared more than anyone. He's
just such a delightful person. And, like, I'm just so happy that he's doing well.
I know.
'Cause I remember hearing, like, him talk about, like, his past. He was like, I wasn't doing that great. Like...
Before, I'll say Fast 5 made him a star. Made him an action star that just catapulted his career. But before that, you know... He was not a laughingstock, but people didn't treat him seriously, you know?
Because he kept trying to go by Dwayne Johnson. Everyone's like, fuck you, you're The Rock.
He lost weight. He was doing stuff like the Tooth Fairy and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Tooth Fairy is actually not the worst movie. I've seen it, and The Rock's like very charming and charismatic. Like
I love The Rundown. I love The Rundown.
Sean William Scott, right? Yeah.
I love that movie.
The Rundown's really good.
Like, it's kind of weird, and, like, pacing is a little off, but, like, fuck it. It's The Rock punching shit.
The Rock, he fucking kills it. Yeah, it's awesome.
He's awesome. Like
he's good in Get Smart with Steve Carell.
Oh my God, yeah, that's right.
Like he had a solid run up till Fast 5, but Fast 5 was when the rest of the world was like, okay, this guy is serious.
Yeah,
and then he just took over the box office from there.
Yeah, isn't he the highest paid actor right now?
He is.
That's insane.
He beat RDJ last year.
Oh, was he the top? I know Johnny Depp was near the top for a long time.
The Rock was number 1 last year, but I think like Robert Downey Jr. was up there like past couple years.
That makes sense. Because
even if he pays him so fucking much.
He's like in at least a cameo in all of them. Does he do other things?
Well, he was in The Judge with what was it, Robert Duvall, like 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago? I thought it was years ago. Oh, you're right. That was recent.
I enjoyed it.
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, kind of sad, but then I don't know what else. Because he doesn't have a lot of time, because he's taking up a decent amount of time. These are long shoots.
Yeah, and he is in, like, even if he's just showing up for a second, he's in most of these.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, not as much lately. Like, he wasn't in Doctor Strange, and no one's in the Guardians movies, but it's because positionally they're in space.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man.
Yeah, I am too. Just, it's so different than any other Spider-Man movie before.
Yeah.
Just because I know he was in high school and both other, like, versions of the franchise, but
yeah.
This really, like, focuses in on that he's a kid.
Right,
And, like,
yeah.
well, how would a kid react to meeting the most famous superheroes in the world and, like, fighting with them, but then you have to go back to high school.
Right.
And act like it didn't happen.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually, yeah. I'm so glad that fucking, what's his face? The villain there?
Michael Keaton
has a job now. He's like a career again. That's so cool.
It is really cool. Just how Birdman, he shows up.
He just did Birdman. We're like, that's a great idea for him.
This guy's still really good. And then he was in Spotlight.
He's in The Founder.
Yeah, did you see The Founder?
It was great.
Loved it.
It was so
really good movie, yeah.
I was shocked as like, because I knew his name, but I didn't know why or like what he did to McDonald's. And
Ray Kroc?
Yeah, Ray Kroc. I was like, I know that name, but I don't, because like if you go to some McDonald's, like there's like plaques with his face on it and his name and a little description of what he did to start this thing, and like I didn't understand why I knew him or like why his name wasn't McDonald.
He built an empire.
But that was crazy. It was a great movie. I was shocked. I was like,
and like they try to paint him as a bad guy, but he donated like all the money he made to charity. You saw at the end, like the picture of him and his wife, who was married to the other guy in the movie.
Oh, this dude's a closer. He was just like, oh, I would like to date you, and I'm going to take your company, and goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm a bajillionaire. That was crazy. Just like, oh my God. But
I saw the name, I had to have it, but you don't have it. But I do. He's just so savage.
Yeah, it was so good. Oh my God. And I thought that was such a great end scene where he's like, you still don't know why I want the name so badly?
Yeah.
I was like, that is really smart.
That scene in the bathroom.
Yeah, fucking so good. Where he's just like, that's such a great, I love it when movies do that well, where it's just like a good like end point where it's like, here's the period as like who this guy is, like what's going on, like this, we're just gonna like hit you with this last hit.
I had to have it, he couldn't have a burger stand named Croc. Who would want to eat at Croc?
But like McDonald's, such an American name. It's like his whole speech is just so good.
Yeah, I was like, wow, Michael Keaton is nailing this. As I was watching, I was like, wow.
I'm just so glad he's like back, because he was gone for years.
Yeah, he had a role in The Other Guys in like 2010.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
That movie, he's great in that movie. I love.
I feel like everyone is phenomenal in that movie.
Like Mark Wahlberg saying, "Oh, you don't think I can do this shit?" He, like starts dancing. Wow, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, this kid used to do ballet. We learned to make fun of him.
You learned that sarcastically.
That was so funny. Oh my God. The whole desk pop thing. I love that so much. When did you have a last desk pop? September 08.
And then how Will Ferrell is just drowning in it. And he's like, she was a little chubbier back then. Heather Locklear. You're telling me you dated Heather Locklear?
I love that movie so much. Oh my God.
And he has no idea how hot Eva Mendes is either.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I love Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I'm so happy that he's just around. I never saw the movie he did in Spanish. What was that called?
Casa de mi Padre.
Yeah.
I did not see it either.
I imagine it's kind of funny.
I mean, I think he can do no wrong.
Oh yeah.
But his new movie with Amy Poehler, though, I don't think it looks that good.
The House or something?
I don't think I'll see it.
I might. I just enjoy everyone involved. That guy from The League is in it again.
Yeah, he is.
And I like him a lot. He's really funny. So I might see that. I do like Amy Poehler a lot. I saw Sisters.
My mom went to Sisters with her sisters, actually.
Oh, really? That's adorable.
They like never go to the movies, yeah.
I went with Ben and my mom.
How was it?
It was pretty good. It was, I like both Amy Poehler and Tina Fey a lot. And it's just them kind of being hilarious. John Cena's in it.
Yeah, he's like the drug dealer.
Yeah, he's a drug dealer.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. He's covered in tattoos. Monster of a human being.
I mean, his career is blowing up now.
Yeah, it really is.
Movie
he does a
after
lot.
movie, yeah.
I mean, he's mostly like the joke of the scene. Like The Rock, people like take seriously now. But like John Cena's like in what's that movie with Amy Schumer? Trainwreck. He's the
that movie was a train wreck.
It was bad.
Yeah,
it was not good. I don't like her anymore.
I feel like sometimes with her stand-up or like when she's talking to people on talk shows, she can be pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like, well, yeah, what you're saying, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Just my feeling towards Amy Schumer are getting to be more negative.
Yeah, me too. Like when she first did her first special, I was 100% on the Amy Schumer train. Like, this chick's hilarious. She's so good. I love everything she's doing. And then, like, as things have just kind of like rolled out, it's just like, you're not that, like, it's the jokes that you're telling are kind of getting a little old, and like
have you seen the stolen jokes compilation videos?
Those are crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, yeah, when I first heard about that, I'm like, all right, this might just be people getting a little crazy. And I watched a couple of those. I'm like, holy fuck.
Because I mean, there's only so many things you can talk about, and like certain premises will be talked about with the same comedians. Right. But it's like the same delivery and everything.
Same word for word at some points. Like, it's like one of the Patrice O'Neal ones she did. I was like, this is the same joke.
I was like, why would you do this?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's just like, especially because and she like kept it going even though she was getting bigger, and like I don't know. It's, have you seen the Carlos Mencia thing where Joe Rogan like blew him out? Yeah, that was amazing.
Joe Rogan fucking.
That was, but like that I didn't even understand the kind, like the level he did that at. And then I was hearing Joe Rogan talk about it, and he was like, yeah, he would fucking do your closer and then call you up on stage.
Yeah, you'd have to follow him.
And you got to follow him after he just did your set. And you're like, well, fuck me. Like, that's dedication to being an asshole.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's crazy.
No, fuck that guy.
Apparently, he has like a small career again. Like, he's kind of.
Mencia?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad to hear.
He's like kind of. He's not like he'll never be what he was, but he's like, people are like seeing him again. He's touring again. But like, whatever. He's kind of a scumbag. Like, I'm not gonna. It went a little like. To just like steal jokes out of like more like an anxiety or like a fear thing, I kind of get. But if you're doing it out of spite, like, you're kind of just like,
if you're a prominent comedian, you should not steal jokes.
That too. If you're the level he was at, you should never be doing that.
Lower tier mom and pop places, like, do what you want.
Yeah, it's just like, and apparently that's like that was a whole big thing. Back in the day, like, you would just take each other's jokes and just do whatever, and like, honestly, obviously, no one's gonna be able to see it because it's back then or whatever. And like, I know, what was it? It was Robin Williams. He saw a guy he did a joke, he took it, did a whole thing on it, like a special, and then sent that guy a check. He was like, thanks.
Wow. I mean, Robin Williams was awesome.
He's an awesome dude, yeah. But like, he just kind of like felt like, he was like, no, this is your writing. But I just kind of took it and spun it a little bit, and it was a big thing for me for a little bit. But like, I'm done with it, so here's some money. And like, I'm sorry.
It's not enough of that. Not a lot of giving credit where it's due. I mean, we spoke about like screenplays earlier.
Yeah.
So many people give their ideas to like certain celebrities who are in the business, and then like a movie comes out without them attached, and they sue them in court. It's like, why not just bring that screenwriter along with you?
Right, yeah.
You don't even have to pay him like a shit ton of money. Just pay him like, enough.
Right, because they're making zero.
Yeah.
So they'll take anything.
They're a random screenwriter. They're not getting a percentage of the movie. They're not big enough.
Right, yeah.
So why not just like give them that recognition? Because you're already like in the business. The recognition of writing this movie won't make you any bigger.
Right, yeah.
Because like 9 times out of 10, it's not like an Oscar movie. It's just
right,
like,
no, it's just like a small like comedy or something. It's like, oh, here's an idea. It's like, all right, we're going to run with it. I mean, fucking plagiarism is happening so much now. Like, fucking half of Twitter is plagiarism.
Yeah.
Where it's like, there's like some tweet that like people, it does well, and then there's like 6 Twitter accounts that take that exact copy and paste.
My cousin Steven, this guy, I think, he was getting the death penalty, and he actually was. Like, he wasn't on death row anymore.
Okay.
His name was Lidl Lee. And so he, like, had the picture... He had the picture, zoomed in on the name, circled it, and, like, had the picture of Patrick doing, like, the Lidl Lee. Yeah. And then this, like, not huge Twitter account, but, like, big enough with, like, a decent amount of followers, like, had the exact same picture that he made.
That's crazy.
And then the tweet blew up, and Steven, my cousin, was like, I should be Twitter famous right now, but
it doesn't matter.
But that's not why he does it, but it's still fucked up.
It's just, it is. Because, like, what was his name? The Fat Jewish or whatever's that guy? He's like some Instagram guy, but was doing that a lot. Where he would just take something he saw online and just post it as his own, but he's this massive guy. Like, he's this big deal. And, like, people are like, hey, this is, like, literal plagiarism. And, like, now he's, like, starting to actually quote it and stuff. But, like, for years, he was getting away and literally built a following just by stealing people's shit. It's like, this is kind of weird. Like, I don't know about that. Like, maybe you should, I don't know. But I also kind of feel kind of weird, too, with, like, quoting, like, even crediting myself. Like, I was making these things, and, like, as I sent the last, like, final edits, I should, all right, cool, do you want to, like, put your name on this? I was like, oh, I guess I should do that. Like, I didn't really think about it. I was just like, I just want to do this thing. Like, I know I made it, but, like, I guess I should somehow, like, not necessarily watermark it, but do something where my name shows up or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of, it's kind of interesting that like I don't know, but I also don't like totally disapprove of like piracy that much, but I also don't use it like negatively. I'll I'll pirate something, and then once I like it, I start buying it. So like whatever, like Invincible, like I had pirated that whole thing, and I was like, this is cool, and I read like half of it. I'm like, all right, I'll just buy the rest of it. Like I know I like this. I'll support them now. So like I kind of use it as like a test period, trial period, whatever, as opposed to like I know some people are like, I'm just gonna pirate everything. It's like, all right, well, that's a bit much.
Yeah, I don't want to lower my quality for like certain films. I don't care if the whole thing's online. If it's even like 5% worse quality than what I would see like in the movies or like on demand on TV, I'm not gonna watch it.
Oh right.
I want to see how it was intended to be seen.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And yeah, I will not do anything for lower quality.
No.
Especially in a movie. It's like if this movie is even like I used to I haven't done it in a while because I started using my PlayStation for it, but I would just rent movies on Amazon. But because the way my computer is set up or something, it wouldn't let me HD stream it. So I was like, well, fuck this, and I would just go to YouTube and it would. But like I just won't. Like even though I paid for it twice. I'm not gonna watch this in lower quality. Like I need to see. I'm fucking paying for it. I want to see it the best it can be, and like I still go to the movies whenever every chance I get. My favorite thing to do.
I love the movies. People talk about raising the price so you can watch them at home.
Oh,
fuck that. No. I love being in there, just like the smell and everything.
Yeah. If I could pay extra to go and have a theater by myself, I fucking would. I'd love it. I just like being there. Like I
like being there. Yeah, it's not like the people talk about the comfort of their home. No, I love walking in, getting the ticket, seeing. I don't usually buy something from the snack, but just like seeing it there and like walking through, seeing like the other doors to the other movies.
Yeah,
just the whole thing. I love it.
Yeah, me too. Like I go by myself. I'll just go in, just like when I saw Power Rangers. I was literally by myself in a theater. I was like, this is so great. I'm just watching the thing, and like I kind of do like going by myself a little bit more sometimes because like I don't have to rely on another person. Like I get both armrests. Like it's delightful. I like the environment of it. Like I don't necessarily need to go like see it in 3D or what's that new thing called, RPX or whatever.
Yeah, with like the moving chair and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's whatever. I saw Get Out that way.
Get Out had like the moving chair thing.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was the only showing like right after my job, and I'm like, well, I can wait around for an hour. I can see it right now.
What'd it do? Like what happened?
Nothing. The screen's huge. That's it.
Oh,
it's really big.
Your chair, it didn't like move at all, or
if it did, it was really unnoticeable.
Huh?
I didn't notice. And like I usually try to sit in the middle, and even that was too close to that screen. So like if you ever see an RPX, like back of the room because it's really big.
Huh?
It was almost like when you're sitting on the floor and you're like looking up at the screen. Like it was kind of like that, where it's just like holy shit, I am like way too close.
I've yet to see an IMAX movie.
I've seen like the documentaries they have at like theme parks or whatever.
I saw at the Boston Science Museum. I saw something about like Mars, but that's it. That's the only IMAX
I've ever seen. I've never. Do we have a real IMAX theater around here? I see like it's advertised on Crossgates, but is that like a real theater?
I think somewhere around here I think we do because I know Steve when his dad used to get all those free movie tickets. Right, he might still get them, but I know like this was in high school and I think him and Nick went and saw Tron Legacy in like an IMAX.
Oh, right.
I'm pretty sure that was around here.
Okay, because I know like the building of Crossgates has like the IMAX thing on it, but I don't know. And I think it's the first theater, like, when you walk in, but I've never gone in there. And I don't know if it's, like... Because, like, when you go to, like, those, what you call it? It's, like, the museum showings of IMAX. Like, it's like a dome.
It's massive.
Yeah, so it's not, like, something you can just, like... Oh, this is an IMAX theater now. Like, you just change the camera or something.
No, it's a shit ton of seats and a giant screen.
So I don't know if that got completely rebuilt or if there's, like, a part of Crossgates Mall I just don't see when I'm outside of it that, like, that's where the screen is. Because it's literally got to be almost like its own building.
Yeah, let me look that up.
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure, but I actually recently found out the reason 3D movies were such a big deal for so long, and like I've kind of stopped being a thing, is they wanted to force a bunch of theaters to switch to digital projectors.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
And I'm like, that makes sense, but also fuck you. Like
some theaters like boycotting it.
Yeah. And they're like, well, we're not going to show your movie or give you your movie until it's in that. But now much movies doing 70 millimeters, so people want both, I guess.
Crossgates.
It does have that? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like, it's got to be... I can't imagine. Like, I mean, we're not, like, a real city or anything, but, like, we got to have... Can't have nothing.
Yeah.
We're not in the middle of nowhere. We're just kind of like a half city.
I mean, we're not farms like people in New York City think.
Right, yeah.
It's crazy.
That's so... Yeah, it's so weird that everyone thinks, like... Either people think all of New York is a giant city, like fucking Coruscant, or, like, people think everything outside of New York City is a farm. And, like... Sure, there are large stretches of farm in upstate New York, but like it's not all.
They have no idea how big it is either. They're like,
too,
you're near Buffalo. No, 5-6 hours.
That's really far away.
Same with Rochester. Syracuse is 2.
Yeah. It's like really everything is like really spread out.
Yeah,
and like that's the other thing too about it. It's really weird. Is upstate New York is like there's like these pockets of civilization and then just nothing.
Yeah,
forever. And you're just like if you go, like I drove to Montreal with a bunch of guys, and it's just like 2 hours of trees, like just no human beings, and it just gets like thinner and thinner. And then you're in fucking Canada, and there's people again. You're like, it's just like a weird drive, where it's just like there's nothing here. I don't know. For me, I am far more afraid of like country folk than I am like an urban area.
Oh, me too.
I don't know why, but like I would rather be like in like a really shitty part of like New York City than I would want to be like in the middle of nowhere with like on like a weird farm.
What's that movie? The Strangers from like 2008.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
No, but I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
When we would go to like Luke Chico's house, it reminded us of The Strangers. Just looking out the window, and just all this like nature stuff like that. It's like people are coming to kill us.
Yeah, I know. I used to listen to a podcast called Lore, and it started out really fucking cool. It was like where the idea of like vampires came from, like how that inspiration came with like tuberculosis, people coming back from the dead, all that shit. Like, this is really cool. And he ran out of that idea. And he had to just start doing like fucking like murder stories. And it was always like, guy shows up, kills whole family, and leaves. We've never seen him again. It's like, that could literally happen here any moment. It was like, I'm like, anyone could just show up at my house, murder me, and no one would fucking know. Because we live like practically in the middle of nowhere. Like, I have like a neighbor like right there. But like, if they don't happen to see, like, oh no. And it was just like, I can't listen to this anymore. This is too scary. It's like, this is too intense. It's just like, I hate living in the middle of nowhere. Like, I don't know. And like honestly, like I guess what was that case? I forget what it was called. It's pretty famous. It's like it was like an apartment complex and there's like a courtyard in the middle, and a guy raped a girl in the middle.
Oh,
and all the people saw it, and like they were like, someone else will call the cops.
Yeah, she was screaming. Yeah, and no one helped her.
It was like 100. No, that might be exaggerated.
I had to write about that freshman year of college. Yeah,
but there's like a whole bunch of people saw this, and like it's like a huge psychology like case study. Where it's like, why the fuck did no one do anything? And so, yeah, I guess that kind of happens. The more people you add, the less people are likely to act and, like, maybe help someone. But, like, I just feel safer with more people around.
Definitely, me too.
Because it's just, like, once you get in the middle of, like, nowhere, like, it's just fields everywhere. Like, this is weird.
Plus, you got to have, like, a long drive to get everything.
That's
groceries,
the worst thing ever.
Stuff
it's
like
the
that.
worst.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, oh, you know what I'd really like right now? It's, like, just to get this, like, one thing. Oh, it's 15 minutes in any direction? Fucking awesome. Like, great. I guess I won't. And like, that's like too, like if I'm like trying to find something, like I kind of plan everything around like, well, I'm leaving work at 4:30, so if I want to get this thing, I guess I'll have to do it then, get home at like 5. It's like I have to like plan everything, or like, oh, I'm gonna go see this movie, but like it's only playing in like the Spectrum, which is like 35 minutes away.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. All right, well, now I'll leave early, I'll get something to eat, I guess. I'll try to make a trip out of it, because like it's so far, but although the Spectrum's been kind of shit lately. Apparently, they got new management. They don't show like weird indie movies anymore.
I haven't been there in a long time.
They used to have like cool indie stuff, and they just put out anything. But like, they just haven't been doing it. I guess they got a new manager, so they're just like, all right, we're just gonna do this. Occasionally, they do like documentaries.
Yeah,
like I saw the Frank Zappa one, which was like, it was just a bunch of clips of Frank Zappa talking. That kind of like, it was like what he was like as a person, but like through his voice, and says, instead of like normal documentaries where like other people talk about him. So it's kind of a neat idea. But actually what I did see, and it wasn't there, was at Madison Theater of all places.
Where is that? No.
It's on Madison Street. It's right by, it's literally like almost on the campus in quotes of St. Rose.
Okay. Yeah.
Like if you stand from like one of their main buildings or whatever it is, because St. Rose is like literally just like a city, like scattered out. But if you stand from it, if you just look right, you see this like little movie theater. And usually they just play like Layers of the Lost Ark or fucking The Goonies or something. They'll play like a movie like on a random day. And then they randomly had the movie Tickled. Have you heard of this documentary?
No. Oh, wait. Yes, but remind me.
It's about a guy is like writing for his New Zealand newspaper, and he writes about like weird sporting events, and he finds competitive tickling.
Yes, okay.
And then he starts reaching out to ask questions about it, and the guy this woman emails him back and is really fucking like aggressive about it, and is like, we don't want you reporting this, because he's like bisexual. And he's like, we don't want your gay media to start reporting on this, and it's like, whoa, all I wanted to get was like one quote about your little event, and so he started like really digging into it, and it is a fascinating story. If you can find Tickled, it's fascinating.
Well, I'll have to watch
It's
it.
like, it's just like, you cannot believe that this thing is real. Like, it seems like it's all fake, but it's like, it's just these things keep playing into it, and they find all these people, and like people whose like lives were ruined by doing this because they're like broke college kids. They're like, maybe they're like on a sports team or something. So they're like, oh, I could use an extra $1,000 because you get paid to go, and it's all the sponsorship and shit. It's like, I can get paid for this. And then if you try to not do it anymore or like talk bad about it, they have like all these fucking websites of like your name gay porn or your name doing this, and like they just flood like Google.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. Such a fascinating movie.
Wow.
It's so fascinating. And he goes and talks to a guy who does like tickle fetishing like as like his job. And he's like, oh yeah, I love it. And he like shows him all the stuff. And he's doing all this stuff. And he's talking about it, like in all this positive way. And then they go to this other mysterious figure who's running this organization that's like fucking like, no, this is not sexual. This is da da da. It's like, it's a really fascinating like whole setup. It's pretty cool.
So how do you win?
I don't know. I think it was you don't laugh the longest, I think.
Huh.
I forget. Everyone's clothed too, which is really weird. So it's totally like not porn in quotes, but like, I don't know. It just keeps happening. It's so fascinating.
Wow.
And it goes back like years. So they start talking to people. Like they find like records of like early internet chat rooms of like someone reaching out like, oh, I just really like tickling. I just want to like, let's say like in these weird chat rooms and stuff. They find like logs of it and stuff. Really, and they can like backtrack it and like do IP address like checking and like figure out where people were located. Like, it's fucking really cool, really fascinating documentary. Because it's just like, this shouldn't have been like, there's no reason for anyone to investigate this, but this one person wanted to be a piece of shit and like really like attack this guy, and it's like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna go real hard in the paint. Really fascinating.
Wow.
It's a pretty.
Is it still going on? Did they?
As the documentary ended, yes, and I think it was like 2 years ago when they stopped filming. Maybe I think I saw it like early or late last year, so it was like a year after that movie had ended. Stuff was still happening.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a really cool, fascinating documentary because you wouldn't expect any of this to happen.
Money, sponsorships, like getting blackmailed. That's
it's
intense.
crazy. Yeah, it's really, and like that's just the surface of it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure there's much more.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's a really fascinating documentary. I also saw a documentary called The Red Pill, which has been pretty fascinating.
The Red Pill. What is that?
It's a woman, like a woman feminist reaches or like discovers like the MRA movement. And like her journey into like that side, like the poster is like Alice falling down the rabbit hole, and so it's that kind of like idea of like it's her journey into this rabbit hole of like the MRA, the men's rights activist movement.
Yeah,
and it's like it was a pretty fascinating documentary. It kept me thinking for a long time. Where I was like, I don't really know where I stand now, because I always just assume like you just read shit on Twitter and you're like, all right, everyone that's an MRA is a piece of shit, but like they're just a bunch of dudes. Like, hey, we just kind of want people to look at the few issues that we have, and everyone's like, fuck you, you don't have issues. It's like, wait a minute, like custody rights, that kind of stuff. So it's like kind of talking about like that side of stuff, or like custody rights, or like, whatever. And it was pretty fascinating because like it's coming from this person's perspective of like, she was like an actress and she was always the hot blonde, and so she's always like, but she always worked toward, and then she started working toward like feminism, became like a documentarian and everything like that, and it's like, so she found this other cause, and like, I'll make a movie on this, and then like she talks to both sides, and she'll be like, she'll talk to some people, and like, and the really fascinating thing, she talked to one person, and she was like, yeah, if their cause is about like custody rights or like, death on the job and that stuff, we'd be on the same side, but it's fucking not. They just hate women. And then you talk to one of the MRAs and like, no, all we really want is just to have these few things like looked at by, greater people and try to fix this kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, everyone's fighting the same thing, but they just took their label and they're like, okay, we hate this label, we hate that label. And it's a very fascinating. Like, wow. I kind of want to see, I would like to see where like all that kind of ends up as an outsider who doesn't give a shit about either side, but it's fascinating that like people just take that, like they just want to be mad at something, so they take this other side, like my team hates your team, because I guess not everyone can be into sports.
No. Did you ever talk about the Green Ranger shit?
The guy who tried to assassinate him?
Yeah.
I talked about it a little bit last episode, but I've read up on a little bit more. It's pretty crazy.
What a psychopath.
Oh, yeah. He was pretending to be the Punisher.
He actually thought he was the Punisher.
Oh, yeah. He was coming to kill cops.
Yeah.
The security of the event.
And then, like, he wanted to, kill the fucking Green Ranger?
I don't know what. I forget if he actively said he did, but I remember.
Didn't, like, a calendar
said kill,
his initials.
His initials. Yeah. Which is, like, very distinct, but, I mean, maybe that wasn't. I don't know. We can't. I don't remember exactly. I mean, he's a fucking crazy person, so, like. Clearly, he has no train of thought, like just taking cosplay way too seriously.
There's kind of like, was it The Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises?
Oh,
like,
that guy,
thought he was the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, that was That was all he. I mean, this guy, like, I guess he went to a con with weapons. Like, oh no, I'm just cosplaying as the Punisher. But then, like, they were like later looked into it and like, oh no, wait, you're actually
because he came in with real weapons.
Yeah, like it was really weird. It's such a weird thing to be like, because like he's such a guy. Like the guy who played the Green Ranger is so in his own world. Like if you don't remember that he's a person, you would never remember to think of him because he just goes to conventions, talks about being the Green Ranger, and everyone loves him. That cares about that kind of thing. Uh-huh. So like he's such a in his own bubble. Like for him to be targeted is such a weird thing. He's not like super prolific. He's not like making crazy claims about like different causes. Yeah. He's just like, I'm the Green Ranger. I'm gonna ride this till my grave. Like it's just
because when CM Punk got to the UFC, like he made the news a little bit saying because he's like I guess really into MMA.
Yeah, he's super.
He trains people in karate. Yeah. He's like
super into MMA, super into Jesus.
Yeah, and he's actually like very skilled in like mixed martial arts. And he's like, you know what? I'm kind of a name. I'll fight him.
Right. Yeah. And he's like kind of retired. He's a little bit older than like the peak age of fighters.
I think he's like 40 something.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, sure, I could fight him, and it would be this guy who's kind of getting into it, and me who has been but is older. Like it would make sense, and it'd be a really fucking cool match. There's like these two like top people.
Did you see Punk's fight?
I didn't. Did it go poorly?
He got fucked.
I could imagine.
He came in hot, which big mistake, because Mickey Gall, the guy he fought, is like a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, been doing it for a long time. Mm-hmm. He comes in, whiffs, or like a right hook. Okay. Mickey Gall takes him down. CM Punk never gets up.
That makes sense.
It's 2 minutes of Gall just beating the crap out of CM Punk.
That's the big thing about jiu-jitsu guys. It's like they just know how to keep you on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what was it? Isn't that Ronda Rousey's issue? She's not as into jiu-jitsu?
No, Ronda Rousey's thing was she tried to be a striker.
Okay.
Like, they would have all the promotional videos for her fight with Amanda Nunes, who really fucked. Did you see that fight?
Was that the New Year's one?
Yeah, that was in December.
Yeah, so I was in a bar.
Fucked her up.
I was in a bar and I saw that. I'm like, oh my god! Like we walked in, we ordered a drink. I sat down, the match was over, and they were talking about like what happened. I was like, holy fuck!
Mercilessly destroyed.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, and all like the promos and stuff like that, they were showing Ronda like boxing. Mm-hmm. Just straight up striking with her hands. That's not Ronda's game. Ronda's an Olympian in judo.
Oh, she is?
If anything, you should show like her jiu-jitsu or other aspects of judo and like her submissions, her arm bars.
Right.
Not her punches. Ronda will never be that type of fighter. Well, she's probably retired now.
Right, yeah. She's probably pretty done.
She comes in and she's not going to outstrike Amanda. And Amanda outstrike the fuck out of her.
That's... So do you want... I feel like the ground game is so more important in UFC. Because I feel...
It's all important. I mean, you're going to face someone who's more of a wrestler. You're going to face someone who's more of a brawler, a striker. Mm-hmm. There's so many aspects to mixed martial arts that, it doesn't really matter which one's important. It just matters which one you're talented at, which one you can thrive in, and utilize that.
Okay. Because I feel like the only reason I say that is I feel like most matches end up on the ground.
True, yeah.
So if you want to, you should at least know how to deal with stuff like that.
Jiu-jitsu is very important.
Yeah, because I can't imagine CM Punk is going to be able to keep up with someone who's done it for years. No. As soon as you're on the ground, you're done for.
He's done it for like 2 years now, but he started when he was like 35.
Yeah, he was pretty old.
Yeah, so it's just too late.
Yeah,
I mean, I get he made like $1 million from the fight.
Oh, so. Yeah. There's no reason he should have not done it.
People say, he should have went somewhere else first. No, because he should go when he still has a name.
Right.
And make as much money as he can.
And probably now people probably don't care. Unless he wins his next one, people won't give a shit. Yeah. But if
he gets a next one.
If he gets that too. But this is definitely the time to do it because people are like, oh, hey, CM Punk, I would like to see him. Even if people are just going in to be like, I want to see this wrestling guy get fucked up, fake wrestling, all that shit. Yeah. People are going to want to see a bloodbath.
Even now, his stardom is fading. Even now, it's a little later than it should have been. If he fought right after the Cabana podcast, that it would have been so much bigger.
Oh, it would have been huge.
Just the bad blood that was surrounding him, the WWE.
Yeah.
Because it still had a lot of pay-per-view buys. The fight, it was in October or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it could have been a lot.
Oh, it could have been a lot more, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much he was in training then. So maybe.
Yeah, he wasn't at all. He just started after the podcast.
That probably would have been unsafe for him to do that.
No, he would have gotten wrecked.
Yeah, even though he got
in a perfect world, that's when it would have been.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that definitely would have been. Man, I like him a lot. I mean, even his name on Twitter is not CM Punk anymore. It's just Coach or something.
His handle's CM Punk, and it's been Coach for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how much of it the moniker he wants to keep going, because I don't know.
I thought he should have been Phil Brooks when he fought in the UFC.
Oh, he didn't.
No, he fought as CM Punk.
Interesting.
Because I get the money value is in the name CM Punk, right? And he owns it, and that's fine. But he's Phil Brooks. He's not
Yeah.
CM Punk.
I mean, that's tough. That's a tough call because if it's your first entry into something like that, how do you get people to know that it's
Because people
you?
don't know Phil Brooks.
Right, people would know it's Phil Brooks.
It
And it was
could've
in Phil. I actually would not have remembered his last name.
He could have been Phil CM Punk Brooks,
right.
like when he got announced.
Right, that would have made sense.
But I don't know.
Yeah, that's where The Rock was smart. Because now, like, obviously everyone's just going to call him The Rock still, but, like, if someone says Dwayne Johnson, I know who they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because that's where he tried, even though he tried to do it first, but now he's, I think can literally be billed as Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which is smart. People know you as one thing, so just keep, don't lose it.
Orientation in college, actually, we had to tell 2 truths and a lie. Mm-hmm. And one of mine was, I'm in love with Dwayne Johnson. No one knew who Dwayne Johnson was.
Really?
Yeah, I was shocked because in 2013, he had Fast 5 was in 2010?
Yeah.
So he had been one of the top stars in the world for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And none of them knew. They said,
Really?
oh, The Rock?
That's
And
fascinating.
I would have thought it'd be the opposite.
I would have thought it'd be the opposite, yeah.
Yeah, if I said The Rock, they would have
Interesting.
been like, oh, Dwayne Johnson?
That's fascinating
Yeah.
to me. Huh. See, yeah, I would have definitely thought it was the other way around. Now, I would probably see it as, I don't know. That's a good question. See, I never know what, like, the normal person thinks of, like, certain things. Where I'm like, oh, that's such obvious. Like, what was it? Like, I always joke that when I go to trivia, I'm just waiting for, like, a Pokemon trivia question because I'll fucking kill it. But, like, it would be something, to me, super easy, like, what number is Pikachu on the Pokédex? Which is
I don't know
Which
that.
is 25. And I've known that for 10, 15 years. And, like, I think it's the easiest. Like, I wouldn't even have to think about it. I probably could get, like, it's just, but, like, that, in my mind, that's the easiest question in the world, but no one knows that. And every time I would ever, like, come up with, like, oh, that'd have to be the question, people would be like, how would you even know that?
Yeah, I mean, that's like it with everything, really.
Right.
Just people know certain things more than...
Right. And, you just kind of forget that. You're like, oh, right, people wouldn't know this small thing, like The Rock's name. Just like, oh, right. Like, even though, to us, we've been following him for, most of our lives. He's been, like, this superhero character in real life.
Yeah.
But, like, to some people, it's like, what? The guy that faked fought? Like,
yeah.
Why would you care?
Like,
That's
when they said,
okay.
how old is Rock? And I'd be like, oh, 45, born in 72. It's like, how the fuck do you know that?
Yeah, it's like, oh, right. Not to everyone is he, like, this mythical character.
Been following him my entire life.
Right. And, yeah, it's exactly, like, that's such a... Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, he is, like... Wrestling is kind of the superheroes of, like, real life.
Oh, yeah.
So I can kind of see, like, people, like, sticking to certain people and, like, like, The Rock will never stop being The Rock to us.
No.
Like,
Same with Steve Austin.
Right, same
He'll
thing.
be Stone Cold forever.
Right. I saw some BuzzFeed video or something where it was like, Stone Cold tries, like, fruity drinks or something.
I saw that.
Like, this is delightful. And he just ends it with, like, nothing more than a beer is all you need.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're the best.
He has his own beer now.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. I'm not a beer drinker.
Yeah.
And even if I am, like, this is gross. It's all gross.
I don't know if you can, like, buy it many places.
Oh, okay.
I think it's called, like, the Broken Skull IPA or something like that.
Well, IPAs are gross, but that's a fucking great name.
Yeah.
That's a great name. Oh, I just love it when people embrace their thing. Like, the Green Ranger is just like, he's like, all right, fuck it, I'm the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Goes
just
to
gonna-
every Comic-Con. Yeah.
as just the Green Ranger. He hangs out with he brings the helmet around and all that kind of stuff. And, like, his Twitter is always him, like, getting new Green Ranger merch and shit like that. And it's like, I'm just glad you enjoy this thing that, like, made you really famous and you're sticking with it forever. Or, like, The Rock is like, I'm just gonna be The Rock now, who cares? Like, that shit is just, it's nice. It's nice to see people, like, not be like, fuck, like fucking a lot of these Disney character stars are like, fuck, I don't want to be Hannah Montana anymore. I don't want to be known for that. And it's like, well, now you're just weird. Like, everything you do is weird now. So
Well, she's kind of toned it down now. With
She
her
did,
new
yeah.
stuff.
yeah. She definitely has,
She kind of went off the deep end for a couple of years. Yeah.
but it just came off as weird.
Oh,
It's
it came
just
off as very weird. Twerking in front of Robin Thicke.
Yeah.
Ruining his marriage. And
That actually happened.
well, no, he ended up like, people were like, oh, that's a little weird. I wonder how Paula Penn, his wife, felt. But then we found out that he, like, cheated on her.
Oh, no
He
shit.
made an album, like, begging her to, like, an entire album begging her to come back.
wow.
She said no.
What a scumbag.
Yeah.
That's,
R.I.P. Alan Thicke, though, who I think he died this year at some point.
wait, that Alan Thicke?
Alan Thicke is Robin Thicke's father, yeah.
No shit.
Yep.
Oh shit. Huh. Well, that's crazy. Yeah, I think he did die.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize. I mean, how many of them could fucking have that, like, that seems like something that they would be, like, related, but, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same with Adam West today. I mean,
That blows my mind still.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, like, once you're like,
88,
yeah, he's like 88. I'm
that's
like,
a life,
yeah,
but
that guy's been around for a while, but, like, He's definitely comes off as one of those people who's just immortal. You're like, this guy can't die.
Yeah, I was like, he's gonna be voicing Mayor West forever on
Right.
Family Guy.
He's just Mayor West.
Yeah.
there's no difference. That was my favorite thing about Adam West's like late career is he just played himself.
Yep.
Like in Family Odd Parents, he was just Adam West as Catman.
TV's Adam West. Yeah.
I love
I
that.
tweeted about that today.
I love when he would do that stuff where he's just like, I'm just...
TV's Adam West. And then he walked out.
Oh my God. That was the early years of Fairly Odd Parents were hysterical.
Really good, yeah.
They were so good.
People forget sometimes since it went on so long with Poof and like, isn't that good?
And the dog now, and I think he shares the fairies with a girl.
I
his
haven't
neighbor.
even seen anything with the dog. And I guess that was a couple of years ago now.
Yeah,
And now the girl's sharing the fairies.
I think the dog has just been written out. I don't think it's referenced that often. I think.
I will say the creator, Butch Hartman, very cool guy.
Very cool guy.
He has like a YouTube channel. I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, he's super into God.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. I didn't like. It's only shows up on his Snapchat, which I follow as well.
I have a Snapchat too. Yeah.
And it's the only place it really shows up. But like,
that's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing. I always find it fascinating when someone really is into it still. I don't know why. I feel like I guess just in my life, it's just like this is like a non-entity. But like, I don't know where you stand on that kind of stuff. Is that
kind of indifferent.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Where I'm like, it doesn't really affect my life. Positive, yeah. But I'm always like, oh wow, so you're still into it. Okay. I guess that's kind of like a Catholic school thing. I found out most people that were at Catholic school are kind of just like. I'm kind of tired of this. Like, I've done this enough.
Like, I still believe in God and stuff like that, but I'm not as... I don't even know how to describe it. I'm just more like go with the flow kind of thing.
Right. Do you go to church every Sunday?
No.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people from Catholic school are just like, you know what? I'm going every Friday. I think I'm okay.
Yeah, my family, we used to go every Sunday. My mom still tries to go.
My dad still goes,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not... I forget, like it's not really, I don't really do Lent or anything like that.
I got rid of the 11:32 and it's at like 9:30 now. And
yeah, why wake up?
Yeah, so you'd have to leave at like 9 or whatever.
Right,
actually, 9:25 since it's like a minute from my house.
You're super close to it, yeah. Yeah, for us, it's like, well, we got to get up like half hour
yours
early.
is a haul,
I'm like, you know what, I don't need to go. I mean, we have one across the street that's not Roman Catholic, it's something else. Ben always makes jokes about like they're fucking some weird thing, I don't know. I don't know. My dad goes there though. It's like, fuck it, I'll just walk. Like, he might go twice actually. He might go there and then later St. Paul's or something. I'm not sure, but like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Actually, when I was driving to pick you up, I noticed that I drove by St. Luke's and just realized how fucking close all of those schools were to each other.
It's like a triangle, yeah.
Yeah, because like, as a kid, playing like CYO basketball, like. You could not be more further from each other. Like in my mind, like St. Paul, St. John, St. Luke, St. Helens, whatever, these schools were like different countries almost, like different states.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like these are the further, and like, you find out someone went to another school, like, whoa. But in reality, they're like 10 miles apart. You could drive to all like 5 of them in like 10-mile distance. Like, It's crazy. It's just like, oh, okay. Like your world's so small as a little kid, and it just starts to grow and grow, and you're like, oh, okay, this is all like next door to each other.
Speaking of like not understanding the world as a little kid, driving.
Yeah.
As like a 5 or like 4 or 6-year-old, I would have nightmares that my parents weren't in the car and the car was going and none of us knew how to like stop it or like do whatever.
Right.
And like I'd like have the wheels like I don't know what the fuck to do.
How does this work? But like now it's like whatever. You drive though, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But yeah, it's just like I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. Like driving is like that's one of those things where like you as a kid you're like, oh my god, never once.
Like how does this work?
Yeah, and like distance wise too. You're like this. Like I remember driving around with my mom and she would be like, oh yeah, it's like over here, and then she would just get there. I'm like, how did you do that? How did you know? She's like, I don't know. I just know the area. And now it's like I'm the same way. Like sometimes I like to have the GPS off just to see if I can like remember it or like I wonder if I can figure this out. But like, it's so. It's just not. I don't know. Driving is so. It became so like a non-issue. I'm just like, oh well.
I don't get to do it too much, going to school in Boston and like Matt having a car. So if we go, Matt just drives.
Right.
But like I drive to the chiropractor, just drive wherever I have to go. But yeah, it's just, I mean, I love it. Just put the radio on. And,
right. Yeah. Super easy.
But like looking back to like when I was a kid, it's just I did not think I'd be like, oh, I'm not gonna have to.
Yeah. that'll never happen. That will never be me. That's also something that's super weird. Is like when you like start looking at stuff that you're like, oh my god, I'll never be able to do this, and now it's like, oh, why would I have ever thought that? This is maybe the easiest thing in the world. Like sometimes I drive to work. I get in the car, and then I wake up, and I'm at work. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I just fucking autopiloted my way here. Like, it's just, I just started thinking about something else, and then just, my body just knew what to do. It's like, it's so second nature. It's not any concern of my brain doesn't have to focus on it at all. Right? It's like every once in a while I'll be like, oh, right, I'm driving. Like, I blanked out and just thought about something else for like 15 minutes. And now I'm here. Like, it's so weird. Because I remember when I first started driving, it was intense. I was like, I'm going to die. Things are going to go horrible. But now it's just like, oh, well, I can just do this.
People just got to realize no one's trying to kill you around you. They don't want to hit you just like you don't want to hit them. Yeah.
That's the thing, too.
It'll be a mess for everyone.
I've noticed that with everything. Is as long as you realize that no one else around you wants to cause a problem, then everyone is okay. Yeah. Like, sometimes you'll walk people and I'm like, oh, I don't want to, like, I don't know. People are going to think I'm weird. It's like, no one's thinking about you. Like, everyone's worried that they're looking weird or like they're doing something weird. No one actually cares.
Yeah. If you're on a highway, everyone's like, all right, we got to take this fucker out.
Right.
Like,
yeah. No one thinks that. No. At the most, you'd make a mistake and they go, well, that was dumb. And then they move on. They never think of you again. Like, no one actually cares. Like, everyone's trying to just be themselves and just work down their river and not, like, try to make as little human contact as possible in their day-to-day. But, like, it's so like, I remember being a little kid and being like, I don't want to fucking talk in front of the class. This could be terrible. But, like, everyone is also sitting at their desk being like, I don't want to talk in front of the class. Yeah,
that book reports and stuff like that as a little kid, that was a little stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I would know, like, when it was, like, 2 weeks out, I'd be like, oh, God. I don't want it to happen.
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, you just, like, it feels like the end of the world. I remember, like, certain, like, Regents tests being like, I'm never going to survive this. I'm going to die. And then you finish them, and I'm like, some of them I don't remember. I'm like, I think I took, like, all of the history ones, maybe. I have to have, but, like, I don't remember them. Like, it's just such like a second nature thing. Like, not second nature, but like that's just like it's such a non-entity in your life. But like at the moment, you're like, fuck me. Like a lot of college stuff too. You're like, this is gonna make and break my life. And it's like I use 0% of stuff I like actually did in college.
Oh yeah, so much stuff that I've done so far in college. You just know, oh, I'm never gonna need this.
Like as soon as you finish it, you're like, I will retain 0 of this. Like I'm gonna flush the tank. It's like the fucking SpongeBob thing where they like burn everything.
Oh yeah, we threw out his name.
That's kind of what it is sometimes. They're like, okay, I took the final, and I'm never worrying about this again. It's just, I don't know. I feel like we, as just a human race, we like worry about things in weird ways. Mm-hmm. We like focus on things that's like, oh my god. It's like actually it's fine. Like you'll be okay.
You need to relax.
Yeah. Oh god, so helpful. Like I do everything now where I'm just like, people are like, hey, want to hang out? I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess. Like I don't plan anything. I plan everything like at the most a week in advance. It's so convenient. Where it's just like this. I was like, this is like the most excited I've been for something because I planned for it. I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be exciting. Like everything else is just kind of like, hey, do you want to do this? Yeah, okay. Oh wait, I have to do the other thing. Sorry. All right, I guess I'll do that now. It's just like everything's just like day to day. It's very, very relaxing.
Where are you guys thinking of moving? Albany?
I think Albany. Yeah. But like I said, I haven't really talked to Mike too much, so we'll see.
Mike, if you're listening, comment in the comment section below.
Yeah, please talk to me. If we want to do this, we should probably talk about it. But like, yeah, I got a bunch of weddings I gotta go to, so I gotta like plan for that now.
Anyone I know?
Kevin Aves.
Really?
Yeah.
Getting married. Wow.
Yeah, he got that girl knocked up. Yeah. And so now
what's their son's name again? Jackson.
Jackson Cooper.
Jackson Cooper.
Gotta say it all.
Gotcha.
Can't leave out a part there. Yeah, he's working at Google, making that fat Google money.
Yeah, he is.
And
good for him.
Over in San Francisco, and now they're gonna come back. I believe in Connecticut. The wedding is.
Okay.
And so Malcolm's in the wedding party, and then I'm just going. And
You're not in the wedding party?
No, he's got like his brother, couple of college kids, and like I think a couple, maybe one Google kid. Malcolm was telling me who they were. I forget.
Yeah.
I just remember the only person I knew personally was John. He'll be in it, and then. Yeah, it's just they're gonna do that, and then that's in Connecticut in like mid-August. And me and Malcolm are flying down for our internet friends' wedding in Atlanta.
Internet friend?
We have internet friends
from like a Smash tournament or something.
Well, I met him through my roommate. So we played StarCraft 2 in college, and then one of the kids in our hallway played, and he was very good. And so he had a team that he like played with.
Okay.
And he saw us playing and walked in. We became friends and. Have you heard of Tristan? Have I talked about him?
Tristan, yeah, that name sounds
so Tristan.
familiar.
He and one of the kids on his team was this kid Scott, who's this wedding we're going to.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he would hang out, and then he stopped playing StarCraft, and they all started playing like Counter-Strike together, and he would play again. And then what happened? And we all played Smash again together, and he was like, "Oh, I'll just come up to New York." He lives in DC now, so he just like drove or flew up or took a bus up to New York or something, and we all hung out. And I met him for the first time, and we added him on Facebook or whatever. And then when this game Overwatch came out, he posted on Facebook like, "Oh, hey, if anyone wants to play, here's my like username." And I was like, "All right, sure." So I added him, and then I played a game, and then we play like every day now. It's fucking awesome. And now we fucking went to PAX together, which is down in Boston. So he flew up for that, and now we're gonna fly down to his wedding. And it's just like, oh, I guess we have internet friends, and like a couple of the people that I've played with and met online will be at this wedding, and it's just like, oh, this is interesting.
It's pretty funny.
Like my mom was telling one of her like she works with like older people and was like explaining that, and like these like 80-year-old women are like, I don't understand. Like, why is your son meeting with someone that they've never met in person? Although I had met in person at the time, but she was just like, this is like just like a weird like little thing. But I'm very excited.
Wow.
I go like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with an internet friend in Atlanta. So I'm gonna take a flight.
And you and Malcolm are going?
Yeah, we're gonna fly down. I gotta buy my ticket. I was going to buy. It was like, because flights are stupid. Apparently, I didn't know this. They can just fluctuate randomly.
Oh yeah.
So like he was like, oh hey, it's $230 round trip. I'm like, awesome. I got home. It's like, no, it's $283. What the fuck? So I guess I'll check. I was reading stuff online of like when to buy tickets, and they're like, oh, tickets might be they might be more on Fridays, but then go down on Saturdays. So I might just try today, and if it's less, I'll buy it. If it's went up, I guess I should just fucking nut up and I'll just
Bite
buy
the
it.
bullet.
Yeah, just whatever it is, because I didn't think it would go up fucking $50 in 6 hours. So, but maybe if it's that volatile, I can go down. So I was like, I'll just wait a second, but whatever, I'll just do that. But that'll be exciting. So that's it. That's all I planned for. Just most of it's just flowing. Don't even plan for this. Just fucking. We fucking did 3 hours. We just fucking sat
3
here.
hours?
Yeah, we're at 250 something.
Wow.
So it's just.
If you're still listening, thank you.
Thank you. God bless.
Are you familiar with movie fights, Screen Junkies on YouTube?
I've heard of them. I never watched it.
So the title will be like one of the things we'll talk about. It's like rounds.
Okay.
Topics brought up, and you try to win, and like first to 3 points or whatever wins.
Okay.
But in the comment or like the info section of the video, they have timetables for what they talk about.
Okay.
And I think that would be really helpful with your podcast. I don't know how hard that would be for you.
I usually listen through it once through. I guess I could do that. People have asked for that before. I might do.
Yeah, if you have like minutes of like the topic we talk about.
Right. Yeah.
And so people could just like, oh, I know that.
Right. That makes sense. I should probably do it. A lot of people have asked for it. I might as well just do it just because people are asking for it. Because like criticism is always like a weird thing for me because I'm always like, well, I don't know. Like, half I should trust everything everyone says. But if everyone keeps asking for it, I might just do it because it's like, it would just be easier. Most people. It
depends on like how it is for you because I think it would be helpful.
It would probably not be the hardest thing. I generally listen to it once through just to like make sure like for when I first started a lot, the dog would like try to get into the room or he'd like sit on the bed and I'd like try to edit him out and like stuff like that. And like, so I generally listen through once just to make or maybe like while we were talking, something just happened and it's like, oh, okay, I should probably just cut that out. Or like someone went to the bathroom or whatever. You know, that was good here. But so sometimes like I will generally just go through once more. So I guess I could just write shit down as it pops up, like time code and what happened. But yeah, it's not it shouldn't be too hard. Like I might as well do that. My only concern with doing that is I feel as if I'm not doing my job as a host if I was having to do that because like I should be entertaining from start to finish.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the only reason I kind of was hesitant to do it right away. So I'm like I should like Joe Rogan doesn't.
Joe Rogan does not, you're right.
But I listened to all 3 hours of his. Yeah. I don't really, at no point I'm like, oh, like even if he talks about fighting in like in a real like esoteric way, I'm like, I don't really know how to follow this. The way he's talking about I'm still fascinated by it. So I feel like maybe for now I should do it, but I feel like I should ultimately goal to not doing it. So that like, because
I see that, yeah.
Because I feel like as a host, I should be able to like be entertaining all the way through, and so I shouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna talk about this thing, and you're like, well, I don't care, and then skip through it. The whole thing it should be what you're looking for. So
true.
I might do it for this one and start doing it for a little bit just to kind of like...
It could be like a preliminary thing.
Yeah.
Like just once you get like a solid following of people who are like, all right, Tom, when's the next episode?
Right, yeah, that makes sense. That'll probably do that. That's a good idea. I should figure out how to actually promote this. I don't know how to do that. People have like...
Podcasts are hard to like get off the ground.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a celebrity or...
Yeah.
Or I don't know, like... Because I know Ariel Helwani, do you know what that is?
No.
He has the MMA Hour, which is like a really big MMA podcast. And he would just like wait outside like the events and like beg like the fighters to get on his podcast. I believe so, yeah.
Huh. I mean, I've heard of people who are like nobodies that just kind of made a thing. You know, they have a podcast now, but like, I don't know. I mean, there are a couple people I know who do like kind of like creative stuff, but they're not like, massive people or anything.
Yeah.
But I guess it kind of leads from like one to the next. Because I've kind of noticed that as long as you're kind of, that's another one of those fucking cliches I keep hearing, just be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So if people start noticing like, oh, hey, yeah, you just do this thing now, people will be like, hey, I want to be on, they'll reach out or whatever. So as long as you kind of prove to someone or just prove to people that like, oh no, this is the thing I'm doing. It's not like a lot of times that when I was younger and stuff, I would be like, I would just kind of start something and then never finish it. Or like, I would just kind of do it and just be like, well, I did it like 3 times and now I'm going to move on to the next thing. But like if
you're consistent and keep creating content, that's all you need.
People will be like, well, even if this one's not good, there'll be one next week, or whatever it is, however people want to think about it. So I have noticed that now that I've been consistent with it, and like actually I've literally never missed 10 weeks. People have been like really quick to be like, people like I've had like the people who did like the that gaming thing I was talking about with Laura. Yeah, they were like, hey, if you want to promote your thing on our stuff, like go ahead. I'm like, all right, cool. Like I wouldn't have expected. Like when and that wasn't the first time I had been doing it and hung out with them. They would just happen to notice like, oh, actually he's doing this. Like the thing is going to happen. So, hey, we can help you out or like whatever. And like when I went to PAX, which is a convention in Boston, I went to like a podcast panel and they were like, oh, do you have a show? And I'm like, no, I'm just kind of thinking about it. And so I got a bunch of people's like info and like, oh, hey, hit us up and let us know what you're making or whatever. And I was always like, well, I feel kind of weird, but now I feel like I might actually be like, oh, hey, yeah, I actually do it. And I want to put it on iTunes. I looked up recently. It's super easy to do. I just, the only thing I need is iTunes on this computer, and I don't have that on my computer. So I just have to like do that. So it's like not super hard. I just have to like
download it,
and you just upload it. The only thing I have to figure out is if my, SoundCloud counts as an RSS feed, which is like this fucking esoteric, super old system that like computers used to use, but like, it's still kind of relevant, but not really. Like most like websites can kind of do it. So I'll see if that works out for it. But otherwise, it's not too bad for how to do that. And then I'll just reach out to people and be like, hey, I actually do this thing.
Do you have any social media accounts for the?
I just use my own Twitter. Okay. Pretty much. Because again, just one dude who spent money on microphone equipment. But yeah, this will be. I'll probably get this up tomorrow. Because I'm gonna probably listen to the whole thing tonight and then just sleep.
Now, would this part of us describing the podcast be in it?
Oh yeah, I'm not cutting shit. Yeah, the only thing I would cut is like if there's like people getting up to go to the bathroom, my dog, or like if we just wanted to start just saying racial slurs. No, that's never happened.
You see Bill Maher?
Yeah, I don't think everyone should blow up as much as they did on him.
For one thing, it's just not funny.
It was just a poor joke. It just didn't like Joe Rogan. I'm gonna keep bringing him up because I want to fucking just be him, I guess. But like he always talks about like if someone's just trying to be funny, they're not trying to hurt you. Yes. Like that's not like. I was kind of having this argument recently where it was like, is it the interpretation or the intent that's more important in an art piece? Mm-hmm. And I think the intention is more important than interpretation. So if you make a shitty joke like that, he wasn't trying to hurt anyone. He was just trying to be entertaining. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you think it's racist should be trumped by the fact that he was just trying to do something that, sure, it failed, but everyone's going to fail at one point. We shouldn't punish someone for trying something, even if it was stupid, and he shouldn't have done it to begin with by saying something like that. And he's in the moment, he's in a live show, he's just going to say something, and that's just who he is, so that's why that came out or whatever. I don't think he should be like crucified for that. Whereas like you're gonna create something and like and sure, that's not to say that intention doesn't have a place, or not intention, interpretation doesn't have a place for in art. Like something like David Lynch makes, he goes out of his way to say it's up to your interpretation. And so that at that point, your interpretation means more than his intention because he wants that to be the case. Yeah. But I feel like in a lot of things, especially like comedy, I think it's more important for the intention of the human, of like the artist, than it is your interpretation of it. And sure, you could be bad at it. Like the fucking Kathy Griffin, whatever her name is. Yeah. The intention was, oh, we're trying to make this thing that, is like about the comment about bleeding from her, whatever. But like when I look at it, I don't get that. So your intention was poorly done.
It just wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny.
Really stupid.
But I think like her intention wasn't necessarily to hurt someone. It was just like, oh, we're making this comment about him against women. All right, well, your intention failed. Like you did a bad job. That doesn't mean like you're immune to criticism. But I feel like her intention should trump the fact that it's like, oh, she's trying to kill Trump. It's like, well, she just tried. I mean, maybe she was. Maybe this is just her backpedaling and like, but whatever. She failed to make her point clear. So I feel like that should be so. I don't know. I don't think we should crucify Bill Maher. Like, I don't care about Kathy Griffin that much, and I think what she did was actually pretty stupid, and it just didn't make any sense. If like her reasoning of what it was supposed to be and then what it actually turned out, they didn't match up at all. So like, it sounds kind of more like a damage control, but like I don't know. Like Bill Maher's thing, it's just like he was just like in the moment, just trying to do a thing.
I know he had Ice Cube on like the other day, and I don't know what they said exactly, but I just know that Bill Maher needs to understand that that'll just never be funny.
Oh,
that's
right,
not
yeah.
something he should ever say. And you don't have to attack him for it, but if you can just say that and like just have like a conversation about that, then I think that's fine.
Oh no, like the context of the joke was not funny. Like fucking Louis C.K. uses the N-word all the time.
Really?
But, oh yeah, all the time.
I didn't know that.
All the time. But the way he structures it, he like leads into almost like, you know, different forms of absurdity in like, you know, people. Like, a big thing he talks about a lot is like why like one joke that he has is like when someone is talking on the news, and or even like this Bill Maher thing is a perfect example. So when I say like the N-word, like he's like, why would you say that? Now I have to say it in my head. Now I'm like, we all know what this word is. I'm now saying it in my head. So like he'll do stuff like that, but he'll say it like he'll say the word, but like the context of that, like I'm saying, like, he structures it in a way where like it's not aggressive. Even though I don't think Bill Maher's thing was aggressive, it's just kind of like it's there's a craft to being funny, and Bill Maher may have just missed how to do that side of it, and he was better at. You know, as Louis C.K. would be way better at using a word like that.
Oh yeah,
and like, you know,
I
don't know. It's a tricky spot. I mean, I honestly kind of also think that we might put a little too much value on like what words can do. Like I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's the only way we can show intention to each other.
Most swear words people overreact to, like they're just words. But I think that word, I just think no one should say it.
I agree. Like
just the negative connotations, the history behind it. I just feel like, why can't we just never say that?
It definitely, I don't even know why. All of a sudden, what was I doing? Oh, you know what it was? I was watching a video, and a guy, like he was trying to get like a drop in a game, and the word had like, it was like something started with an N, and then like, I think dagger was the second word. And it just like, it was like, I want to say it was like something digger or something like that. They used the word digger or something. And it just blended together all as one thing. And he accidentally said it. And I was super, super uncomfortable by just watching that. And like after that, like just the word just felt weird. Like in the new Gorillaz album, there's a rapper who uses it. I'm like, this just doesn't feel like the Gorillaz should be using this word. Like it just feels weird. Yeah. And so I've become very like averse to the whole word in general. And I don't know why, like, because like for a while I was like, it's just a thing. But like lately, it's just been like kind of like I've been kind of like skeeved out by the whole thing.
I've personally never said it. It's just something that I feel like it's not my place to ever say. I don't think it's as I said before, it's not. I feel like there's just not a place for that word to be used.
I don't definitely like some words like cunt. I'm a big fan of. I wish it would have less gender. I just wish it didn't have like a target. I feel like
England.
What?
I think it's England. They just throw it out there.
I like it a lot. I think it's a decent like just fucking whatever. But but like that had time to like that was really bad. Like I remember being a little kid and like people would freak out and whatever. But now it's like people say it all the time. And I like, but that word just hasn't had that won't have that like renaissance. Like I just feel like that's kind of where it's not going to that, like you said, it's got that like such a history to it that I just don't think it has any place to be, messed with or just used.
Like
at all.
Every other word is just like it's a word, like bitch. Well,
right? Yeah.
I just thought like certain words, like today like PC and everything, people say like, oh, you should never call anyone a bitch,
right?
And I don't know. I just feel like there's not like a history of the origin of the word bitch isn't like
there's not violence behind it.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
There's a lot of violence behind the N-word.
Yeah, a lot.
Whereas like a lot of other words, like cunt, to some extent, kind of has a little bit of that, but like I think most of that is just like the actual like structure of the word, like the hard like K sound and that like T, like There's a reason fuck is so fun to say. It's got that hard like
just
C or whatever. Yeah. So there's certain words that just that sound sharp. But like the N-word,
it's like the darkest time in our history.
Yeah,
like
it's not good. It's just not a good word. It's just. And I was actually watching another video where a guy was an Overwatch pro, like something happened and he just freaked out and just said it a whole bunch.
Oh my God.
For like a minute and a half, and I could only watch like 10 seconds of it. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, you one, just ruined your career on the stream, and two, like, what the hell is going on? Like, nothing, like, not even like calling the guy the word over and over again. He just kept saying it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And just like, you're not helping anyone. Like, you just sound like a crazy person. And it's just like, I don't know. But I mean, some people some people have crazy moments. I don't know. Some people just lose their mind for a moment. And I just don't think you should be branded as like, you shouldn't be destroyed by making one mistake.
No.
Like, I hope Bill Maher does he still have a show?
I don't think he was fired. I think he still has the show.
Okay, good. Because I don't think they should fire him for that. Like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like HBO is in a good spot where they can kind of be a little on like, the edgier side of things, but like, they don't have to be like super PC or anything because you pay, personally them.
Yeah.
But I hope he kind of rebounds and just kind of understands like, oh, okay. And like Bill Maher's not one to apologize, and apologized within 24 hours. He was like, okay, I really fucked up. And that's good. I think that's,
yeah.
But I think if someone, like that realizes that, like, as long as you realize what you did wrong and you're not just some like piece of shit on like, a fucking city bus just calling people, crazy words, you know, I think you figured it out. You learned a little bit, and you can maybe go from there. Because everyone's going to make a mistake. Everyone's going to be, especially in today, where like you make one mistake and then you're crucified on Twitter.
Filmed.
Yeah, everything's filmed. So if you just do one thing wrong, you're murdered. Fucking everyone online is going to kill you. Like, you shouldn't be. That shouldn't happen. I think everyone's going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
I've made plenty of mistakes. Where I'm like, oh my god, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, as a kid, I just you do something stupid or whatever. Just like, okay, like nothing like it's gonna damage a person, but like you just maybe. Whatever. I don't even know. I can't even think of an example, but just everyone's gonna fuck up sometime. You shouldn't be that should not end your life because you made one mistake. No one's perfect, so. No, I don't know. I hope. Well, we'll see what happens. The PC thing's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I think. I don't even want to say this. There's really. I guess there's some justification in certain scenarios.
Oh yeah.
When people just Bill Maher's and. Like an extreme example, but like when people just shouldn't say certain things, like it's not really the place for it, like in an informal way, kind of.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely some room for like shaming, but like when you lose your mind over something like that, where you're like, hey man, that was really not cool, like that was really fucked up, that almost like and I guess I don't know if it would have the same punch, but almost everyone acting like a disappointed parent as opposed to like an equally as crazy person.
Yeah, because fucked up's a different thing. Like Bill Maher fucked up.
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's a lot of situations with certain celebrities that aren't fucked up and are treated as such. And I just think we need to like lay off a little bit. Yeah.
Like I definitely think the Bill Maher thing is different than what the fuck's his name? The guy from Lethal Weapon? I can't remember his name all of a sudden.
Mel Gibson.
That was that was clearly like you were using those words because you probably hate people like that. Like it's to the extent you were doing it, like that came out of a place of hate, whereas Bill Maher came out of a place of like attempted you're trying to entertain. Yeah. So like I feel like that's different. We should treat that differently. We're like, fucking Bill Maher, all right, you fucked up. You were trying to do something. All right, let's just not do this again. Yeah. Whereas like Mel Gibson, it's like, I'm surprised this guy still has a career. It's like, no, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he did Hacksaw Ridge this year.
Yeah.
He still has a career.
Yeah, he's still acting. It's like, well, I mean, sure, you should definitely separate the artist from the art, but like, that's just, I don't know. It's crazy. Like what he was doing was a lot more. That was far more worse than what.
As you said, it came from a place of hate.
Right. Yeah.
That's just there's no place for that ever.
Right. Yeah. You should if it's coming from so it's I don't know. It's definitely case by case for stuff like that. Where it's like how much you should crucify a person and like like for a Mel Gibson thing, if the PC was as big as it is now, that would have been warranted because like that was crazy.
Oh yeah.
But like if you're going on a 16-hour Twitter rant because Bill Maher made a comment, it's like all right. There are people that are actually like fucking killing kids in Africa. I mean, we should, redirect our fucking anger and our attention. But if you're going to be this much of like a fucking knight for your cause, maybe make a cause that actually is like, harming people. But it's fucking easier to just sit on Twitter on your phone, just making comments as opposed to like going outside and changing something.
True.
So,
I mean, Twitter nowadays is just like a war zone.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, it's just a fucking constant war zone. Constantly people just, fucking flinging shit at each other. Like a fucking Pokemon tournament. That actually happened.
What is interesting transition here, but what is that Magic card game?
Oh, Magic Card Jump?
What is that?
It's basically the closest thing to an interactive clicker. Have you ever heard of a clicker?
No.
It's basically just an automated game. So you Basically, all you do is, for the Magikarp game, you fish up your Magikarp, you feed your Magikarp berries that fall in the water, you then take it to training, and then you make it train up its jump power, and then you go to the jump tournament, and you see how high your Magikarp can jump compared to other Magikarp.
It's like a training thing? Like you try to make your Magikarp stronger?
You make your Magikarp stronger, but he can only go so strong. So, like, say, I think when you start, he can only go to, like, level 11. So he gets level 11, you beat your... You go as far as you can in the tournament. As soon as he gets beaten, he goes into retirement. You then fish up another one. That one now can go up to like level 12 maybe because your trainer levels up. And so once your trainer level is, whatever your trainer level is, times 10 is how high your Magikarp can get. So like say you leveled up twice training that first Magikarp. Okay, now he can get to 13. Now he can go further in this tournament, and then you repeat. But so it's like clickers are very similar in that way, but most of that's automated, where it's like you set up, like the big famous one was Cookie Clicker, and it was just a cookie that you clicked on a whole bunch, and then you could buy more clicker pointers, and you could buy like little factories that would make cookies that would pop up, and then like so you make it so you just raise the number higher and higher, and you exponentially build bigger and bigger and bigger, so the number gets higher and higher and higher, and that's all you do is just make your Magikarp bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just jump higher and higher. It does have an ending though, like you can beat the gym system or whatever the equivalent of that is, the tournaments or whatever. There's 6, I think. I don't remember. And so there's a way to beat it and like be done with the game. I've only played it for like a little bit. It's cute. It's very cute. You can straight up get your Magikarp murdered.
What?
Yeah. There's like random events that can happen. And one of them is you're walking home from your training and there's like a berry tree. And like, it'll be like, oh, it looks like there's a berry tree here. Magikarp might be able to reach for this, but sometimes it's pretty dangerous to jump for the stars. And if you say, go for it anyway, your Magikarp will jump, and a Pidgeotto can come, just swoop him up, and he's gone. Magikarp's dead.
Wow.
And then there's apparently, Ben's playing a little bit too. Ben's playing a lot more than I am. And he was saying that you can, if there's like, you have like your pond that your Magikarp lives in, the berries show up, and you can get like other little Pokemon to show up. Like I have a Pikachu and a Litten that show up, and they can give me extra jump points, and like a Piplup who can refresh one of my training points. But when you go to the Litten and the Pikachu, they're not in the water, so your little Magikarp has to like stay at the top of the water, and you can look at them and stuff. Apparently, if you bob up and down fast enough, a Pidgeotto will come and kill him right in your pond, and you can just lose your shit. But it's cute. There's different like skinned Magikarps. Like there's just like the standard Magikarp, and there's like the golden one, which is the shiny one, and then there's the it's like different like colored ones. But yeah, it's a cute game.
A Magikarp game. Who would have thought?
It's not the best game ever. Yeah. It's stupid, but it's cute. I played it for a little bit. I probably won't finish it, but because it's just to finish it is going to take so. I cannot imagine that my playthrough and your playthrough would be any different because like we can only really go so far, and like I can't play any better than you because it's just like the only way I could get further than you because like the Pokemon that can like hang out at your pond sometimes will come with you to the tournament, and they'll like randomly like cheer on your Magikarp, and they'll give you like percentage bonuses somewhere between like 5 and 20%.
And can you not become a Gyarados? Is it strictly
you can, and you immediately lose him.
Oh, it's kind of like a graduation type thing.
Yeah. So like as if he died or retired, he'll become a Gyarados, and then it's like, well, the tournament's only for Magikarp, so goodbye Gyarados, and then you have to start over.
Wow.
There's a lot of cute like little things that are in the game. Like I was on Cerebi, which is a very popular Pokemon website. It's not for like I've been using it for years, but it's a very old internet style of like website. It has not been redesigned at all, so it's very hard to use for a first timer. So I'm surprised it's still as popular as it is. But it was on there and looking at the different events that can happen. And it's got a lot of cute little things that can happen, like a little like the Gyarados thing, or like I think at one point you can trade them. I think you can fish up a Dratini, and when you're trying to fish up your Magikarp, but like. You can only use Magikarp, so like stuff will happen, like, oh, this is cute, but you can't use it. And so like there's like small little events like that. But I don't know. It's not phone games aren't the best thing ever.
Yeah, like Pokemon Go. You play any of that?
I did for a little while, but like it was really bad. It was not great. When they fucked up the tracking thing, or the tracking thing broke and they took it away, I was like, well, I don't even understand the point of this.
You need to play in a big city.
Yeah.
Like me living in London and Boston, like the game thrives there. So many Pokestops and different types of Pokemon everywhere.
Right.
But if you're just home...
Oh, I can't. It's useless here.
No Pokestops. The same, like, 2 Pokemon are going to be around you all the time. You can't, like, utilize any of the events because, you know, you're still home. And
if I can't play a Pokemon game on my bed, I don't want to fucking play it. That is where Pokemon is played right there. So, I don't know. It's it was fun. Like I used to go to Malcolm's because he lives right about Stockade, and the Stockade was bumping. It was nice. There's fucking shit everywhere. A bunch of people out playing. He had a stop right in his fucking room, so you could just hang out in his house and he could reach one. So it was like I was like, oh, okay, so this is how this game should be played. Where it's like, oh, okay, I'm in walking distance of other people. We can walk around and do stuff, but I'm in the sticks, so I'm not gonna bother. Like this is stupid. So it's whatever. But it's definitely a cute idea, and I wish it would not be. I wish it was better for those that were not in cities.
In cities, yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you enjoy it? Do you play it?
I do. Not as much when I'm home here.
Okay.
But like, in London, I was playing all the time. I actually got a Gyarados because there was a river right by my apartment. Fucking Magikarp everywhere. So I think you need like, was it 400 candy to get in? It's a shit ton.
It's a fucking
load,
load,
I got one.
Didn't they change that system so that candies were easier to get or something? You could make a Pokemon your partner, and then they would...
Yeah, you can walk, but it still takes a long time.
Right,
it's like certain Pokemon, you have to walk 1K to get one candy. Others, you have to walk 5K to get one candy.
Oh, boy, that's a lot.
I think, like, Dratini or Dragonair, it's like 5K to get one Dratini candy.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. They added more, right? They added the Gen 2 Pokemon?
They did, yes.
That's cool. Is it all of them, or they just had a few?
It's most of them.
Would you know? Am I asking for that weird esoteric question? I can pull it up,
because are there, like, legendary Pokemon in Gen 2? Like, like, what was it, Entei?
Entei, Suicune, and Raikou? Raikou?
It's coming back now. I don't know if they're in it yet. It might stop at, like, 2, whatever.
Did they ever add the legendary birds?
No, I think they will this summer.
Okay, because I remember people talking about, like, oh, that's sick art. They were talking about adding that.
Yeah, I don't know what number I'm at right now. My dad, I think, has a couple more than me. My dad's actually...
Oh, really? Yeah. That's awesome.
He's pretty into it.
It's a really fun thing to do with, like, people. So I totally get, like, why it, like, picked up. Like, the most fun I had with it was, like, hanging out with Malcolm and another Smash Kid friend of ours, and we were just running around the stockade with, like, all our people were there, like, oh my god, there's a Gengar over there. And that wasn't true, but like, Ghastly's over there, and like, oh cool, we'll go with that. People driving their car, there's a fucking Tauros over there. Like, oh my god. Yeah,
let's see. It goes right now. It goes up to 248.
Okay, that is all of them. I think. Am I right? That is most of them because that added. Let me see here. Yep. Okay, yeah. Oh, it looks like most of them. This is the correct order. So if maybe because you don't see past what you've unlocked, right? So you wouldn't see past Tyranitar.
Correct.
Okay,
no one passed Tyranitars in the game yet.
Oh, this is the whole Pokédex?
Yes.
Even though, okay. Because I know in, like, games, like, if you just saw Blissey, it wouldn't go any further. So, like, it would just stop at where the last one you saw in the list?
Because, well, I saw him in a gym. I think that's why his shadow's, on my Pokédex.
Okay. I'm trying to remember. What goes after Tyranitar? Is it that... Because one of them... Is it Gen 2? Gen 2 or 4 had, like, a weird pattern. I know maybe it was Gen 4. Had a weird pattern where it was, like, the Tyranitar or Dragonite equivalent was, like, in the middle, and then there were more after that. So it was, like, a weird ordering. But that's most. That is the correct order of, like, the ones that are there. I forget exactly when it ended. 250 sounds right. Or is it 3? I remember them advertising a bunch more. I don't remember. Gen 2 added, like, a good, healthy chunk. Gen 7 sucks ass. Only added
7?
Gen 7's the newest one, Sun and Moon.
I checked out after Gen 2, Johto. That was it for me.
I'm fucking in deep.
You are in deep.
I'm not leaving. Gen 7 only added 81, and most of them are fucking bugs. It's stupid. People are dumb with Pokemon, though. Like, everyone was freaking out because they had the Pokemon Direct, which is the way Nintendo, like, announces stuff now.
Yeah.
You know, Pokemon is not just Nintendo. They're a third of the company. It's actually Game Freak and Creatures, which does all the marketing. So the Pokemon Company is a different entity than Nintendo. They just own the fucking, like, name. So that's why they can show up like Smash Bros. And stuff. They're not actually they're not like Mario. No. They're not the same thing. Yeah. They're a different entity. People don't understand that, so they're always like, oh, because E3 is coming up this week. They're like, oh, Pokemon will have their big stars, like the rumored next game that was going to be on the Switch. And they're like, oh, it'll be at the Nintendo press conference. And they had this Pokemon Direct. And they're like, well, that's weird. Why would they do this early? And it's like, Pokemon has never announced anything at E3 ever. Like, I know everyone hasn't been focusing as hard as I have for 20-something years. Yeah. But, like, come on, guys. It has never happened.
Have they ever had a Pokemon-type game that's not, like, a fighting-based game? No, how do I put this? Like not like Pokemon Stadium or stuff like that. Have they ever had a game like they are like Ruby or like the handheld games? Have they had that on like a console yet?
Yes, Pokemon GX for the GameCube and Pokemon or GX XD and Pokemon Coliseum actually had a story mode where you ran.
Oh
around
yeah, we had
on
the GameCube.
They have like story modes that are like more closer to that, but no, the only other way you could have done that would have been with the little loader you could put on the bottom of your GameCube.
Yes, okay.
So that's the only other way you could really play one on a TV.
So I think that would be pretty cool.
People want it with the Switch because like it's a handheld and that, but like Game Freak has made it very clear that they don't want to make anything that is for a main console system.
Because I guess that would be a lot of work.
It would be, yeah.
The whole world, you'd have to roam around and like go through like the bushes.
And they already run like fucking shit.
Yeah.
They do not run well. If you do a double battle, it is just fucking like a slideshow. Just chugging along. It's not going well. And it's crazy too, because that's the main competitive mode, is double battling. And so it's like, how the hell did you fuck up the one thing that 90% of people who are going to watch this, like, are going to play this, like, after the game's over, are going to see, and you like, it doesn't run well? Like, how did you, I don't know, it's super weird.
What is Detective Pikachu?
Detective Pikachu is a thing that's been rumored for, like, not rumored.
Because that movie's official.
Yeah, it might, is that all it's going to be? That might all be.
Because Max Landis was going to write the Pokemon movie. He pitched it a bunch of times, and they're like, yeah, we're just going to do Detective Pikachu instead with someone else.
I didn't know he followed that enough. Does he know enough about Pokemon?
I mean, he wrote multiple scripts.
That's fucking rad. Yeah. Max Landis is my fucking hero. My God, I didn't know that. That's sick. Yeah, that was leaked. I don't know, fucking... Oh my God. It hadn't been leaked in probably 2012, 2013 with Pokken, the fighting game.
Okay, yeah.
Because they were linked at the same time. There was a screenshot of Pokken, and people thought it was going to be the next, like Stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was just a Lucario, I think a Charizard, like hanging out in like a cityscape, and they're like, oh, that'd be cool. And then that never actually happened. And then I want to say it also leaked at the same time. Or no, it didn't leak. It had a trailer, and it was like a little game. Or was it a game? I think it was like a little downloadable game. And a bunch of people were like, I want Danny DeVito to be Pikachu. I'm like, that would be fucking awesome. Because in the trailer, the Japanese voice actor is a very deep voice.
Really?
Yeah, for the Pikachu.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, well, that would be fucking awesome if that was fucking Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
I don't think that ever happened. There's a bunch of people who were just posting on like Twitter and other social media. They're like, it fucking happened. It got confirmed. But I don't think it actually happened. Mm-hmm. I hope that it actually happens. I know I don't. It's been like I remember seeing an unfinished screenshot of a Pikachu in a little hat, and then everyone else was like the blank white models, like on it was like a conference, and they were like at a TV in an office building. They're like, this is what the next thing is. So someone just took a picture of that, and like that was floating around forever. But I don't think it's gonna be anything more than like just a couple of small little things. Mm-hmm. It's very cute though. It's very cute. There's like in the trailer they showed someone was laying on the ground and it looked like they were covered in blood, but it was ketchup because it like pans over and the ketchup bottle was broken. Yeah. I was like, oh, what a fun time this will be. So I don't know who's involved in it though. I don't know if it's like the
movie.
Yeah, I don't know who's involved in it, but it's pretty. It looks like it's gonna be pretty cute.
Yeah, Max has been involved in a lot of stuff, but then it's like been taken away from him, like Power Rangers.
Oh, he's involved in that too?
He was at first, but then they didn't take his script and went in another direction, like the same type thing.
It's so weird.
And the funny thing is, do you know what Chronicle's about, right?
It's like a superhero thing, right?
Yeah, they find like this rock underneath the ground, and it's like gets like really bright, and then they wake up with powers. That's same fucking thing happens in Power Rangers.
Same thing.
So they hired the guy who wrote Chronicle.
That's amazing.
Fire him, and then just make Chronicle with Power Rangers.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know. I'm surprised he doesn't get more work because his dad's so famous.
I mean,
or was. I think his dad's dead.
Because wait, what?
Isn't his dad John Landis?
Yeah.
He's dead?
No, he's alive.
Oh, he's alive?
He is alive.
Okay. Well, he's so famous. I'm surprised
he doesn't want work because of his dad, though, because he gets a lot of shit for that.
For not taking work from his dad?
No, before his dad being in the business, and that's why he got there.
Oh, okay.
But he's doing fairly well. He sold the script to Netflix for like, I think, a couple $1 million.
On what?
Bright, I think. Will Smith is in it. It's coming out in like December.
I remember hearing about this.
Yeah.
That was him?
It's like his Lord of the Rings, I guess. That was him. That's Max Landis.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
That's cool. That would be really cool.
I'm
just surprised no one trusts him enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess because like now he has I, Frankenstein and American Ultra on his like with his name on it, and I don't think those did well.
No, American Ultra was very weird.
I don't think it was all him though. I think it was also one of those like I Frankenstein things where like they took the core and changed parts of it.
He got to at least visit the set and like worked with Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, okay.
So I think that Chronicle was like an anomaly. It was his script.
Wow.
Like him and the director Josh Trank just had a great relationship, I guess. And like that was as close to a script getting to screen as it could be.
Okay.
Ultra was kind of close, not exactly, and then Frankenstein was just completely different.
Right. Yeah. Because I remember people being like, "Yo, that fucking sucked." He's like, "That wasn't me."
Yeah.
I remember reading that on Twitter a bunch.
And that's the thing no one understands about the film industry, about like the
yeah.
screenwriter relationship to like the final film.
Right, yeah. You have to be, if you're not on set, if
you're not like a producer or have like another role in the film, like it could end up being something completely different.
Right.
And it'll still say written by your name, but it may not even be like what you
because
wanted.
you technically wrote part of it or something. Yeah. Like a lot of times, like in these comic book movies, the creator of the character gets credited as a writer.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they wrote the world, they wrote the characters. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's like producers. Like, Scream, the TV show, had Wes Craven as an executive producer, even though he never did anything with the show.
He just came up with the idea, right?
Yeah, of Scream, yeah.
Is that a good show?
It's a guilty pleasure of mine and Jordan's. Yeah, on the surface, it's probably not a good show, but we just love Scream so much.
Ben's a big Scream fan, so he was talking about it, and I was like, I've never seen a Scream movie.
I mean, the Scream movies are awesome. I definitely recommend them. Yeah.
I do enjoy Scary Movie 1.
Okay. We just had that conversation with Nick Prescott.
Oh, really?
Jordan and I were saying, yeah, Scream is great. You should definitely watch it.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll definitely have to look into that.
Because I think it was at least Nick who had seen Scary Movie 1. Yeah.
Scary Movie 1's a good movie. Oh, God, that movie's so funny. Even on TV, like when they censor it, it's hilarious. It's so good. I love it when movies take their censored like thing kind of seriously and like fuck with it, or like they'll re-record stuff just to have like the censored thing be even funnier, or like have a thing where it's not just completely.
Yeah, some of them when it's not even like the same actor, it's like a completely different voice, like comes in with a different word. It's like, what the fuck am I watching?
Because I know the Snakes on the Plane dub that everyone loves so much. That was actually Sam Jackson. They filmed that twice, like right in a row. They're like, all right, we'll also do the TV thing.
That's awesome.
So like they just had, so that's still him saying his words and stuff like that, which is great. That's just how you should do it. All right, should we wrap up?
Yeah, what are we at now?
We are at 324.
324. Wow.
This might go down. I don't think this might go down that much. This was good. We were good.
Yeah,
we had a good flow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's well, thanks for coming in.
No problem. Glad to be here.
This is exciting.
Very big, massive studio we're in.
Full of my
gold and silver and
not a single anime thing at all. Not a one.
No stuffed animals right next to me.
No shelf of stuffed animals that a grown man bought with his hard-earned money.
No, they're definitely not in here.
I actually went to a convention to buy some of those with Mike and Angelina, and Angelina was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And Mike's like, "What? Just a grown man buying stuffed animals?" What's
2017.
Oh my god. I actually just counted half of those are gifts, but some of them I purchased. Like a lot of the weird ones on the other shelf, those are all.
That one's interesting. The one with
Pikachu as Charizard Y.
Was that like a wait? What is that?
That's Charizard Y. So in Gen 6, they added Mega Stones, which allowed a certain amount of Pokemon. I want to say it's like 13. Could evolve a fourth time, so that you could turn into Mega whatever, like Mega Kangaskhan. The little baby popped out, get attacked twice. It got a new ability. Stats rearrange. And it's not like you can only one Pokemon on your team can Mega Evolve that battle. Oh. So it's better just have one Pokemon have the Mega Stone. And some ones like Mewtwo and Charizard over here have two versions of it based on the version of the game you have. So that's Charizard Y, and he kept the typing. He was still flying, fire. I want to say he had Sunny Day as his ability, so not Sunny Day, Drought, so he would create like the sun, so fire moves are stronger, so he was like that. And then Charizard X is black, and he has like flames coming out of the side of his mouth, blue flames, and he's Dragon type.
Yeah.
I think his ability is Tough Claw, meaning making claw abilities. And Mewtwo has Mewtwo Y, which is psychic based, and Mewtwo X, which is psychic fighting.
There's a lot more going on with Pokemon nowadays.
Oh, it never stops. Never stops. Just keeps going. And they've kind of retconned Mega out, and so they in the newest game, Mega's like brought up, and it's like, oh hey, we have these again. But like they didn't add really any new ones. They added, what do they call them? Z crystals. So everyone has like a super move now if you attach the crystal to them. But you can also, same rule set applies. You can only do one move per the Pokemon. I forget how it works. I think it's per the battle, or maybe it's just per the Pokemon. Doesn't matter. But like some of them are still like the new Fire Starter. His final evolution is a Wrestler, and he's Fire Dark because he's a heal Pokemon.
Huh.
It's fucking delightful.
That's pretty funny.
He's a giant tiger, and his special move is I think it's called like, what's it called? Something moonsault or something like that. Even though it's more like a frog splash or whatever. But
Cool if it was like Stone Cold.
That would be amazing. In the fighting game Pokken, there's a Luchador Pikachu. One of his moves is a stunner.
That's hilarious.
It's fucking awesome. And it's like a tiny little Pikachu, and he can do things on like Charizard and Machop and stuff, or Champ actually, and stuff like that. And it's adorable. Such a delightful little series.
So is that Charizard eating Pikachu? Or?
No, he's wearing a Charizard Y skin.
Oh,
they had a whole set of Pikachus. They still make them of Pikachu in silly outfits.
Uh-huh.
So there's a Pikachu in Mega Slowbro, which is the tail kind of, it's like olive Slowbro. There's one. They have a set, and I really want them, but I don't have the money or really the space to keep them. But they have a Pikachu in every enemy team's outfit. So the Team Rocket Pikachu is a Team Magma to Pikachu, Team Aqua, etc., etc. So they have all these different Pikachus in the different outfits, and they're adorable, and I just want them, but I don't have the space for it.
One day,
when I make infinite money on this glorious podcast with all my fat ad revenue checks,
we'll remember this episode.
We'll remember this one, and me and my 7 Pikachu dolls will laugh. All right, so let's wrap this up. So thanks for coming,
no
Jason.
problem.
Do you want to plug anything like yourself?
Follow me on Twitter at Jason R. Lang. I think that's pretty much it.
All right, cool. All right, so with that, love and kisses.